All right, let me try the ones from yesterday that we had. Okay, who did we have yesterday? That wasn't from this. Fortnite's making it possible to play the skin cup in between. Is that actually why they've done this? Have they done this because of the skin cup? Because I still can't figure out why they've done this. I still don't know. That can't be why, no. It literally starts now, same time. Gotcha, okay. It's very weird they've done this then, though. I can't really figure it out. Okay, Faki. Is anyone else playing lower brackets, Chad? We're mostly going to follow upper brackets anyway. It's more exciting, but... Okay, Jakenny 7. Jakenny 7. Who else have we got? Harass underscore FN. I'm finding him, Chad. I'm finding myself. I don't need no mods. I do need mods, please. Oh,
getting refreshes for me, getting all the maps. He's just doing everything.
Oh, it's 11 Flixie interview. I'm not going to the broadcast day, so I get to actually watch.
What's up, everyone? It's your boy 112K, and
My boy
I am
112K.
in the lobby with the one and only Flixie. How you doing today, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Good to be talking with you. Let's jump into it. You are playing with Vico now, and you guys have been lighting up Major 3. You guys have been one of the better teams in EU so far this season.
They have been doing really well.
It's been like playing with Vico for the first time.
Playing with Vico is like so much fun. Like before I played with Vico, I always like the 2 seasons before I played with Janice, so I was like kind of the fragger and Janice was like yelling, but now I can just lay back.
It's interesting.
Just getting refreshes for me, getting all the maps.
I get to lay back. I've never heard someone as the IGL describing laying back.
You're both super aggressive. You guys will fight anybody in the lobby. Have you ever had like this much confidence in a teammate when, you know, fighting before?
Before I played with Vico, I've never had that much confidence in my teammate. Every time we get in a fight, I know if I'm low or something, I can just...
To be fair, if he's used to playing with IGLs, that makes sense.
He's primed up.
He's used to being the fighting power.
It's even better for him because he's talking German now. Last season he talked English, and in German comms he's just playing way more confident. He doesn't need to think about anything.
Talk to me about the preparation.
I wonder if that has an impact.
How are you going to make sure that you are going to be in the best position possible?
What country is he from? Flixie's German.
For semi-finals, I'm pretty confident. I feel like we can just do what we did in Cash Cup finals. What our goal is for every game is to get the forecast tower early on, try to get as much search as possible, and then go for a bunker, and then we can just try to win the game. So I feel pretty confident for semi-finals, and I think we easily can win a game.
Is there anything about your playstyle right now that you feel like you need to change going into grand finals and semi-finals?
Like right now in Cash Cups, Surge is pretty low, so we don't need that much damage, and we can do our
okay, Cash Cups, yeah, I was like, what?
Right now. But in Grands, we're gonna need to play more.
I mean, even in semis though.
Side, so we see more players, get more Surge, and we need to change our game plan a bit.
It's interesting you mentioned Surge, right? Because I feel like that was an area you and Janice struggled in the past.
True.
What made you decide to stick with Reckless Railways, even though, you know, Surge can be so hard to get from there?
At the start of the season, me and my coach, we looked for a different spot, but then, like, I didn't not place because of my spot, I placed because I played the spot wrong. So I feel like it's not about the spot, it's about me. And I still think Reckless isn't the easiest spot to get search from, but I feel like we can definitely cook something up and get a good strategy. Yeah,
you put in that work and it's paying off. This has been In The Lobby with Flixie. It's been an absolute pleasure, man. See you in the next one.
What's up, Coop? Thanks for Prime for 23, dude. I'm doing very well, man. Doing very well. All right, how did our drop map look? I haven't looked at the drop map at all. I can't imagine it's changed too much from yesterday. Chapatini's still unconned. Swizzy. Oh, we got our Swizzy Vanya unconned. We have Mustache Malabuka conned. That is different. That is very exciting too. Oh boy. Mustache Malabuka contested by Noah Riley and Aqua. Bring back Siphon himself. The man himself. All right, then we got Snazy and Podesai versus Yasin and Mid-X. Amos and Stillion. Then we have Yanis and Pixie uncon, Hydro and Kaido uncon, Cool Kid and Voltiax, Firen and Philip Monk, Huddy and Kovacs. Oh, Huddy qual today. That's right. I remember that. Then we got Mappy and Kiro, Chapatin, like I said. We got KD1 and Flobby, Della and Fanayan, Skivvy and Tiano. We have Axe Force and Clown versus Hizix and Dan DePuzo. Fastroki, Robin, uncon, Pigeon and Henry 30J on the Kanata split unconned. Interesting. First time in uppers. They made it through lowers yesterday. Nebs and Kiddo uncontested at Grim Gate. Okay. Curvet Hedgehog versus Ricey and Yo-Yo, kind of, I guess. Slove and Nate unconned. Experio and Caffendic unconned. Dexy and Eclipse versus Kentic and Finn. Volko and Cringe unconned. Clement and Buzz versus Jerdy and Heine. Predage and Radeon versus Splash and Trash. Neuer and Tarps unconned. Queasy and Thomas unconned. T-Chips and Aceptos versus Gooden and Forzen. Olden and Kolb unconned. Vico and Flixie unconned. CZB Nathan unconned. Eltenzi and Panzer unconned. Arian and Winther versus Verns and Nakes, is it? Article and Shakos unconned. And then I think that's it. Oh, Pixie and Raxi as well. Oh, and Rezon Vidil versus Stormy Gwick versus Karama Werix. Oh, God, no. Rezon and Vidil triple conned is brutal. That is very unfortunate. All right, let's get a prediction going. All right, we got bookmarks, predictions. My voice will warm up a little bit as well once the day goes on. All right. Who wins this game? Let's do Swizzy and Vanya. Dude, I'm loving the dubstep Fortnite. It always gets me hyped in the morning. Let's do, let's do Noah. Let's do Noah and Aqua. And let's do Mustache and Malibuka. Come down to the spawn fight, huh? All right, let's do Chapantini. Who else have we got here? Chapantini. Let's do Thomas and Queasy. Let's do Volko and Cringe. I know Cringe is a bit of a fan favorite these days. Let's do CCB and Nathan. They did so well yesterday. Anyone else? One more. Nebs and Kiddo is probably a good one. I feel like Nebs and Kiddo is a good one, especially for a win. Vico? Oh, yeah, Vico. Of course, Vico. I can't not have Vico. Yeah, Vico and Flixie. Sorry. All right, chat. There you go. You got 9 teams and none of the above. Remember, if you vote none of the above, you're a pussy and I hate you. Not really, but actually. How'd you call the 21st birthday party? It was great, man. It was actually really nice. I'm glad I went. As tired as I am right now, I got back even later than I wanted. I'm running on about 3.5 hours sleep. I'm happy I went though. Nice, Matt. Aqua has dealt the most damage out of any player in lowers round 1. The GOAT is back. That is actually crazy. Most damage of anyone in lowers. Oh, yeah, I'm going in. Yep. Simi high top is what I need on no sleep. Wait for the drop. I'm going back to sleep. Fuck this. She's almost 8 months old out pack, like 7.5.
2 of the FNCS Major 3 semi-finals. I'm Frankie Ward, and the action we saw yesterday was
so
blazing hot. So I can't wait for even more Fortnite. And joining me to discuss the action is, of course, Mini Miner and Levin 2K. We couldn't do this show without them. Levin 2K, talk me through the look today. We're going very classic. It looks like you're paying tribute, actually, to Carter.
So actually what I did is I looked back to see what I wore last season, and I'm just matching that day for day. Last season, day 1 white top, day 2 black tops. So
thank you, Masters, the T-Armor 20. Thank you, Dave, with the Prime. Thank you, bro.
Grey top tomorrow.
Thank you, Compton. Appreciate the T-Armor 20, bro.
For tomorrow. And then,
no, not OG tomorrow. Liquid chap, Compton, no.
A Mini Miner.
This is a new chap. Actually, funny enough, yeah, the reason why you might not know who chap is, Compton, is because last season was his first ever grand finals and he came second. And he is now a favorite to win in his second ever grand finals. It's a very cool storyline.
Usually it's just either a black or white or grey. You know, I'm like Levin. I like to keep it simple, but I thought, you know what? Let's mix it up a little bit here. Let's go for a bit of dark red.
we've really given the people what they want today.
Yeah.
Top banter. I'm sure.
Didn't even win last season. Shaking my head.
You know what I'm loving? I'm loving the fact that we're getting the 30 best duos from the lower bracket yesterday.
Thank you, Sapson. Sapson is it with a tier 1? Hey, thank you.
Today. Starting with Nebs and Kadira Miniminer because they had a fantastic day yesterday.
Yeah, they did.
Nebs and Kiddo did for sure.
An amazing day yesterday, coming out on top in that lower bracket.
The fact that Nebs and Kiddo have come out of lower bracket then got Uncon Grim is very interesting.
A different class to the rest of the lobby from watching back some of their games as well. They just
played
really well. They were able to take advantage of those games that they did make it to endgame. Of course, landing at Grim Gate as well. We saw there just winning off spawn more often than not. And today they
did I totally forget there is a who's this guy again, Chad? What skin is this?
Really good day
that Nebs is wearing right now?
Nebs is one of those players, Levin, that can just literally pull anything out of the hat at a moment's notice.
What's his name again?
I think when you
Hamilton. Yeah, did I just totally forget there was a Lewis Hamilton icon skin? I'm like, this is Lewis Hamilton, right? I didn't want to get his name wrong because I spaced on it for a second. My brain could only think of Max Verstappen, which is pretty much the curse of Lewis Hamilton's career, I'm pretty sure. But like, did I forget he got an icon skin?
They're going to have to be super aggressive, and they definitely can do that. But again, it's about bringing it in this lobby, coming out of Grim Gates.
Yeah, it came out a while ago. I just totally forgot it existed.
So I reckon they'll do well today.
I feel like it would be rude to talk about Kadiro, not talk about his ex-duo partner, Kiro, who's now teamed up with Mappy.
Talking about exes on the broadcast.
They made it out the lower bracket 11, but they haven't necessarily had such a great major so far.
Yeah, it's been a bit rocky for them at times. I think when you look at when they came together last season, it was a duo that not many people had high
expectations. Is his dog Roscoe? That's so cute.
Quickly changed that by performing fantastically. And then going into grand finals, everyone's expected them to top 10. Everyone thought they were going to do really well. They come 21st, and it really just felt Miniminer like this was a team that had a honeymoon period and carried that through the season, and it sort of wore off.
I love how we're talking about exes and honeymoon periods. Like,
success a lot of the time last season was them just having a very solid game plan that allowed them to get to end games consistently, and from there those guys would cook and be super aggressive together in getting refreshes. They need to do that again today.
Yeah, they definitely do. I mean, even last season, just before Grand Finals, they had a first place in the Duo Cash Cup just before that, so they were looking on form. This season, their best Duo Cash Cup placement has only been 21st. They had a lot of sort of like top 3,000, top 4,000 placements together. In fact, Matthew's second best Cash Cup placement was with Diox this season, not even with his duo. So it seems like there's a few problems going on here. Hopefully they can fix it sooner.
My stream room's not that far away quick already, but we had my stream room soundproofed.
5 duos.
And Charlotte's a very good sleeper.
And put their space in the grand finals. But it'll be interesting to
talk
about
with the Prime?
Who perhaps
you feeling alright? I'm feeling pretty good. For 3 hours sleep, I'm feeling good. We'll see how I feel by the end of NA though.
And to be honest with you,
I'm going to be getting a good night's sleep tonight.
My Miniminer is Cringe and Volko.
Yeah, Cringe and Volko, we expected big things from yesterday. We hyped them up at the beginning of the show. We talked about their strategy, their ability to play Surge, their ability to win off spawn more often than not, and just their overall game plan was really, really solid going into yesterday. Unfortunately, though, when it came to yesterday, they struggled so much. It seemed like Storm Surge was a big issue for them. Of course, they're landing at Lavish Lair, and so many
Lavish is so brutal right now, bro. I was talking to Muzz last night, and damn,
to get some
trying to get Surge out of Lavish compared to teams that are just trading on cactuses is just crazy.
So more often than not, they were just getting caught, like we saw Volko doing there, just caught out in the open, which is very uncharacteristic.
We ended between you and NA. Wasn't my plan. We'll see how we go, man.
So often with a really, really solid
Skilly with the team over 27.
Every single game.
Yeah, look, it's no surprise that they struggle.
Do you have merge memorabilia? Not at the moment, but I will in the future, Pepperoni.
The reality is,
what's up, Sins?
Good on Surge, head south, sit on a cactus. You know what I mean? You're gonna be all right. And they have the ability to do that coming out of Lavish there, right? We saw teams from the north quickly looting up and rushing down to the south, right?
That is true. Queasy and Thomas do claim a plant in the south.
Have the ability to do that,
and they're dropping classy
further south from Lavish. So we'll see if they switch.
They could maybe do something like that.
I want to see another duo switch things up drastically, 11 though. I want to see Reason and Vidil get a victory royale, because this was a duo you had high hopes for yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. It was weird. It felt like a very uncharacteristic day from them.
Triple con though.
A lot of the time you look at Reason and Vidil this year, and they're not necessarily going to be, you know, the team that looks the most stacked or looks the most like best set up in any given
Oh,
position.
don't hit the replay on Vidal. What are we doing?
This is a bit of an unfortunate.
Why are we hitting the replay on the full damage death? Come on.
Is part of the genius of this team is that when they get in those situations, they're one of the best teams at getting out.
Is Savage Mongo win a game today? Probably not. No.
Or, you know, being able to pick a fight and
but if they win, I think at least 3 of the spawn fights, I think they'll stay top 25.
Really clicking for them yesterday. The penny wasn't quite dropping, and so there were a lot of fights where you typically would expect them to win, and they just simply weren't, and it meant that, you know, they couldn't really solidify any good end games.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I was looking back at a lot of their games yesterday night and just trying to figure out what exactly went wrong for them. And it was those fights just outside of Sandy Steps, usually one of them going down. Then they had to go and reboot. It caused them a lot of problems later on down the line with Storm Surge, like we highlighted earlier. And it just caused them to have their strategy set back a few minutes with that big reboot. I mean,
that's the whole format.
Better placement than 17th yesterday, and that was
not great new whip, but we vibe, bro. They sit for the gift, bro.
To make it into those upper echelon of placements if they want to find more success today.
The problem is triple con today, right? Yesterday they had it, you know, they were a bit con sometimes by Tidy.
Frankie's face with triple con.
But like this time they got Kawama and Rerex there, another duo that like it is not an easy situation, or an easier situation for them today than yesterday. It's going to be harder, so they're going to have to really step up.
Well, let's see if they can stand their ground, because game 1 is coming in just a bit. But right now, let's actually check in with Takata and Jacob PR, because I'm interested to hear their thoughts on the action today.
Thank you so much, Frankie. Look, there's a lot of interesting things going on. I know Levin, Mini, we're talking about Reason Vidal, but there's also Queasy Veno, or there's Queasy Thomas, sorry. There's Murstache Malabuka, there's Cammy and Seti. These are 4 duos that have won matches previously in day 1 of upper bracket semifinals, but none of those 4 duos won a game yesterday, Jacob, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's just a whole drastic shift in how the
I don't know, Alex. We're not really sure why they made EU so much earlier today.
Season, and everybody is beelining those like a magnet to a fridge. They run down
like a magnet to a fridge. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Map, and that's why I
a
like
magnet to a fridge.
From the Class C courts, almost the far north that you can get, and you still find them using those nitro rings to get down to the south side of the map. And that's what we've seen throughout the day yesterday on both of these regions. And I'm kind of thinking whoever can adapt the best will do the best and win one of these games.
Yeah, so it's a similar format to yesterday where winner kind of takes all. You qualify directly to the grand finals if you win one of the 5 matches that are being played out today.
Jim, for 18, dude.
Lobby. 30 duos qualified from the lower bracket. You got names like Nebs Kiduo, Aquanoa, Mappy Kiro, a lot of big names that are going to be competing today for the first time.
Insane with the prime for 22.
So we'll
Thank you, dude.
At home, but first, there's more to break down on the desk, so let's head back to Frankie, Levin, and Mini.
Sup, Simi?
Thank you very much, guys. I love it when we get to throw to those guys in the pre-show, because they're so much better at explaining this semi-finals format than I am. Now, I wanted to talk to you guys about...
Is it early for NA? It's early for NA, but only the same amount earlier that EU is. So the gap is still as long. It's still like a 3-hour gap between the regions. I'm so confused.
Oeuvre, should we say? I don't even know what that word means, but it sounds fancy, so I'm using it anyway. And that
I don't know what that word means.
How has this become so
I don't know why Sam is so much early. That's all. We roll with it.
Yeah, I mean, look, we saw it in Major 1 this year, right? The Crash Pad Juniors. We saw how strong they were. They've been added back during the break, so we hadn't seen them before in FNCS, and people just sort of had to pick them up during the break and figure them out. But Mini, they're pretty easy to figure out, and they're pretty strong to say the least. It's been good for people because it's a bit of extra mobility outside of just
one less hour during the break.
We've had.
Still makes no sense.
A lot of them as well. Of course, green rarity, that uncommon rarity, you can carry 6 of them in your inventory. As you saw there, combining with the
levels, appreciate the prime for 6.
So far in early, mid, and late game as well. So they have
like to see last season as well. No, I don't think so.
You can use that crash pad, and that's why so many teams are carrying them.
It's not because of the Skin Cup, chat.
It was really interesting yesterday to see Swizzy and Banyak in particular just really exploiting the crash pad to great effect. And I have to say, I think it's one of the reasons those end games were so entertaining. Mini, do you want to take us through an example of the crash pad in action?
Yeah, well, let's take a look at some
Calc with a prime for 29. Big day Calc.
You can use this to your advantage if you're a team doing it. A couple of examples here. Polish doing it very, very well.
They're exposing my
elimination.
degeneracy hoops. Is that what you're saying?
To get that final elimination. Even Levin being able to dive bomb onto players just unsuspectingly, because you don't get any audio when there's a player doing this to you. So for Artist right there, he had absolutely no idea until it was too late.
Yeah, those crash pad bombing plays are some of
Crash
my favorite,
pad bombing.
Right? My all-time, one of my all-time favorite clips in an FNCS is a clip of Thomas from Major 1 doing it to a player in a bush, right? And it's like he takes out both players, and you just can't see it coming if you're the team on the receiving end of it. And so those plays are so prominent in the early mid.
Loyal degeneracy. We'll go with that, Hoops. Is that what I have? I have loyal degeneracy to Fortnite.
It is so strong, but it doesn't end there, right? Because the crash pads still have incredible use come the later stages of the game when the distances are even smaller in the lobby. So why don't we just take a look at some late game examples of where people are using.
Sargento! They're salty, they're sweet, balanced breaks can't be beat. Fruit and nuts for you, natural cheese and crackers too. All together in a pack, the delicious balanced snack.
Sargento, we're real cheese people.
What are you doing?
Yo, Sean, put him on game.
He's locked in on prize picks. Just pick more or less on at least 2 players and lock in for the game. Enter a lineup for as little as $5 and get $50 instantly.
Plus, you can play in almost every state.
Download the Prize Picks app today. Enter $5 and get $50 instantly with code TEAM. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Oh, you already know, bro.
And where it's
the high ground takes on crash pads have been so fun
main ways that teams
to
are
watch,
using them in
maybe not
game.
to play.
More often than not, it is just to rotate horizontally to get to the front side of zone. We see Swizzy doing that right here. You don't even have to use Flowberry Fizz sometimes, because sometimes it genuinely sends you too far. So you just have to use the crash pad. But I think one of the other main ways that we were seeing it yesterday in particular,
thank you, Sins, with the 5 gifts. Thank you, Sins. Appreciate it, bro. How is that now? 22, bro. Thank you.
On the high ground team, and just the
James,
ability to get
Bologna, Italian cheese, damage, and keto. Welcome. Please give Sins a big thank you if you're in chat. Thank you, Sins.
As Swizzy and Vanya yesterday. So
it just has so much power,
so much potential.
Who got one in EU currently? Not sure, man. Not sure.
Easily, and that's a big factor as to why we saw.
I think Chav and Swizzy both win a game today.
Yeah, that was like the key factor.
But I said that yesterday.
The games that we watched yesterday, everybody just going up with them. You see, just a quick look up.
Oh.
Flowberry Fizz,
these end games are mad exciting, bro. Not going to heal off was so nice.
Here, as a solo, having the power to take down a duo. Now, to be fair, not everyone can do this. This is Malabuka we're talking about here. But again, it's just so easy for him to just go out.
It's so interesting. It's like, I know obviously the burst SMG is better for it, but it's not until BloodX said something in chat that, yeah, it's such an interesting kind of aspect of the meta, which I don't think they'll talk about in the broadcast because it kind of like makes it too much about drop spot priority. But if you're a team like Clix and Venom who need DMRs to carry their surge, unless they get a refresh coming into endgame to switch the DMRs for SMGs, they basically just can't make that play. To make that play, you need some kind of a burst SMG or maybe a Deagle, or if you have the mythic AR. So it's super interesting to see because you just can't crash pad take height with DMRs. It's just like basically not possible.
As I think I actually said on the show. However, we do have quite a lot of duos who have not taken a victory royale so far that we would expect to. Obviously, Burst Dash and Malabuka, Queasy and Thomas.
If you want to get the best aim, doesn't matter. You have the best aim, you still can't do it against these players because they all have the best aim.
Do you think it's going to be the big names taking a victory royale today, Levin?
I think it'd be very easy for us to go down that route and say exactly that, just because of how good a lot of those teams were yesterday and how close a lot of those guys came. You'd think that with some of the better teams moving out of the lobby now, it gives them a bit more room maybe to do, you know, and come through and get a win. So the likes of a Vico, Flixie, Swizzy, Vanya, of course. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some underrated names maybe sneaking in, right? I remember this time last major we had Dexy.
Alex Make obviously did. Yep, Alex worthy enough us today.
Dexy was calling it on Twitter beforehand and stuff like that.
Yo, Fix, thanks to TL over 19, bro.
Teams like that just sneak through and pick up wings as well.
I mean, for Mustache and Malabuka, they're landing red line rig. They're actually contested today by.
They are contested. I wonder if that helps them though.
Up through the lower bracket, so that's an interesting off-spawn battle that I'm going to.
I wonder if that helps them for the win, not for their overall placement. You know what I mean? Nah, we only get 200 surge. Doesn't mean shit in DMR meta, does it? Really sucks that being con means like nothing in this current meta.
In the semi-final round of the competition, so I think these guys can definitely have what it takes because we know Aqua. He's always on height, and at the moment, if anyone can hold height, maybe it is Aqua.
Yeah, Alex calling Grands? Yeah, of course, bro. Unless Alex or Worthy have mad performance issues on NA, they're good enough to do it.
For damage dealt. Like they were #1 and #2 for damage dealt.
Yeah, exactly. Wait up. 200 ain't shit.
Of the lower bracket specifically, of course. And when I saw that, I said Aqua in leading damage in 2024. Like,
yeah. That's crazy.
That clearly, so Malabuka and Mustache.
Yo, Kanka, thanks for over 3.
A good duel on their hands today. We'll see how they deal with that.
Levin, you're my goat.
just leaves that hanging. Levin, you're my goat, and then just leaves it.
I'm only kidding. We're gonna head over to Carl Jacob here. I'm not kidding. You're both my goats. We're gonna head over to our.
We're starting the Jacob Levin beef yet again.
Game underway. First of the day, 6th in the semi-finals. Meh.
Thank you so much, Frankie.
Wait, did Jacob just make a goat noise?
Let's focus up.
Wait.
This is similar to yesterday.
Did Jacob just like, just like a little? That's like just. Wait, what the fuck? Was it Jacob? I couldn't see who did that. Or was it someone still from the casters there, the analyst desk? Because when they throw, the mics are still hot.
Head over to our casters now to get first of the day, 6th in the semi-finals. Meh.
Thank you so much,
Frankie. Who the fuck is that?
First of the day, 6th in the semi-finals. Meh.
Who is it? It's neither of them. Was it Frankie? It's someone on the fucking analyst desk. It wasn't either of them.
One thing
did Frankie do it? Did she?
Some players, that's a blessing. Others, getting that early storm surge due to the fight is absolutely.
How do you guys know it was Frankie though? I wanted to like. It's gonna be Frankie though. I think. Man, in the background.
And that's where a lot of those.
The voice, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, we talked about it. Mustache Malabuka were the most contested duo the previous 2 seasons, I believe. And then yesterday, they were on Con.
Oh, this is a terrible drop to Con.
So hopefully now that they're contested,
they're
kind of
surely
more back in what they've been used to recently. But like you said, the cactuses
surely we're going to show Aqua versus Malabuka, right?
Damage that you need to get to not get affected by that storm surge later on. But these early game fights.
Does Frankie also broadcast FIFA? She broadcasts for a lot of games. I'm sure she's done some FIFA here. I know she does a lot of Counter-Strike. She's a very, very well-known host in other esports as well.
You don't really see those all too often, but when you don't expect them, they could definitely.
Coming kill on purpose? Oh no, sorry. This is what my face cam was to not block Frankie's face.
Kind of disengage. You don't want to go ahead and put everything on the line in this moment. Neither one of these teams got a beam, an early shot, anything to start.
Surely we watch Aqua. Did Aqua not drop on them? Maybe
stuck in this situation, forced to make a choice. Do I stay? Do I try to fight? Do I get surged? I have no loot, or do I go?
There we go.
To try to get that.
Bring back Siphon. Bring back Siphon. Aqua's still fighting a good fight, man. This is why he's our goat.
This is what we were talking about. The Mustache Malabuka up against Noah, Rayleigh, and Aqua.
Dude, we actually do need to acknowledge that Aqua did more damage in lower bracket semifinals yesterday than any player in 2024. Chapter 5, late Chapter 5.
31 HP. Can Malabuka clean it up? Yes, he can.
It's Malabuka versus Aqua.
1 versus 1.
The OG goat versus the new goat. Oh my god.
31 HP isn't too much of a worry. It's the time it's gonna take.
And very unfortunately for my 30-year-old ass, it's the new ghost.
Oh my gosh.
The new blood cannot be stopped.
Was insane.
The youngins are too quick.
So possible because they didn't try to heal up. It was a trade. He thought
good shot by Mally. Good shot by Mally.
50-50 and Malabuka. That's a fight he wins.
They made that really close though.
Where he was uncontested. You saw them throughout the day down on Surge. This is how you start the day off hot.
I don't know though.
Pillow, grab a blanket. Noah and Aqua are gonna have to take a quick nap before they're ready for game 2.
That was actually kind of clean though. That was actually clean line.
Who were taking some shots. I'm not sure at which duo exactly, but nothing too aggressive so far. They've got a decent loadout. They've got their shields.
Yeah, Future, they see over 3, bro.
To go before they're set for the mid game. Ooh, Della.
The proper reason Epic doesn't broadcast small reach. It's not worth it, bro. It's just not economically viable to do so.
Absolutely necessary.
The problem is though, like 100 damage.
Through this center of the
that's only 200 damage they gained there, and with the amount of time it took, that's definitely not worth it for their surge. Their surge probably look even worse now.
Heals as possible. And so for these teams that might not necessarily be there, that's where these early game skirmishes are just a little bit more important and impactful and kind of dictates the rest of the way you kind of get to play the game.
Box up here in the basement of Pleasant House. What are we going for here? They're not even fighting someone. I guess they might think the team's still on top of them, maybe.
Now moving closer and closer in this direction. There's a lot to be had over here. Bunker, forecast tower, and because it is so wide open outside of those contested fights, there's a lot of room for any teams to roam and steal away that loot.
Is it that expensive to run the broadcast that's really not worth? Wow. So you've got 2 casters, 2 analysts, a host, probably 5 observers, a producer, a manager. That's at least 8 PCs required as well to run things just from a technical standpoint.
In terms of the surrounding areas.
So yeah.
How many duos are kind of
You can run it. You can run probably 2 solo victory cups on every single region for one broadcast, one 3-hour broadcast.
Yeah, I think we saw.
There's still 10 observers knocking. They are still going with 10. Well, there you go. Fucking even more, dude. 10 observers and 5 broadcast staff and a producer. Yo, I love Foster. Thanks to Tier 1. And Sims with 1,000 videos. Thank you, bro.
More teams as the day went on moved over in that direction. But they're kind of sticking to that loop path for Howard Combeck. They're under siege right now. One of them's full. Just low HP and a nice shot by Yanis yet again, backing him down, switching targets, making sure that they don't have a strength in numbers. Neither one of the guys can convincingly help each other up until now. They finally managed to get into the same box, but Pixie Yanis still attacking from 2 different sides, and they're playing safe. They're backing up, making sure that if they're going to fire a shot back, it's either going to miss or not be a strong shot that they need.
The pressure continues, though. How long will it take until they break?
Combeck and Pahava is the kind of those players that you hear, like you see them a lot, but you don't know much about them.
Be careful, though. Shot from a third party. It's going to crack Yanis, now forced to play back. Pop some minis, pop some heals. Will the opposing duo continue the aggression? If you look at the minimap, though, they were quite far away. So
we're pushing back off that. Okay.
Even though they're not going to be pushing
slow start to EU today.
That crack was enough to stop that aggression.
Yeah, now they know the potential for third parties is all around them, which makes it more and more of a risky fight to take so early on in the game, especially for what's at stake. We talk about win a game and you're into the grand finals, but it's 5 games worth of consistency that's going to keep you in the upper bracket side of things. So you don't want to fall in the hole too early on here in game number 1.
CZB and Nathan, who actually finished.
They played so well yesterday.
Not including
CZB and Nathan played so great yesterday.
People ahead of them was Vico and Flixie. They were incredibly consistent yesterday, but they just were not able to secure that victory royale.
Oh, I hate answering those ones, Sins.
It's the big question.
It's too hard to answer, bro.
As we
think Andre with the Tier 1, big bro.
Devil, Flixie and Vico, our #1 duo from yesterday on the leaderboard, who did not secure a victory royale in the upper bracket.
Oh, nice, Flixie. With the Enforcer, too.
That's what's interesting.
Hey, Brad.
Yeah, they were so close yesterday. 2nd place in that last
good loadout, too. Rezon takes down Giraz.
And Prism kind of stole it away. I thought he was healing off for just a couple of
plays. Oh, no. Pigeon's having a rough start. Looks like Henry's down.
But nope.
Henry's down. We're getting keyed. Oh, no. Never mind.
You see kind of what the game plan is all
oh,
over
no.
the map. The
first game of uppers, not looking good for Pigeon and Henry.
To regenerate a lot of the health. Luckily, there is the underworld, not a lot of teams, so a lot of scraps, fire pits, bandages.
Well, more of the EU guys doing player face cams than I thought they would.
You stay on this north, especially northwest side of the map.
Maybelline, New York. May I take your order? Lifter liner and gloss.
Make it a combo.
Sculpt with liner, shine with gloss. Fuller, lifted looking lips with hyaluronic acid formula. Lifter liner and gloss from Maybelline, New York.
What are you doing?
Yo, Sean, put him on game.
He's locked in on prize picks. Just pick more or less on at least 2 players and lock in for the game. Enter a lineup for as little as $5 and get $50 instantly.
Plus, you can play in almost every state.
Download the PrizePicks app today. Enter $5 and get $50 instantly with code TEAM. PrizePicks, run your game.
Oh, you already know, bro.
Far away from the cactuses when the zone is pulling, it's gonna be much harder for you not only to stay alive but get surge for later on in the game. So even though we're seeing these 2 guys here,
it's rough, Huey.
His teammate back, the job is far from over because now they have to get to zone, get loot, and when they finally get there, they're more than likely going to be below the storm surge threshold.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough in the feed. Vidil also picking up an elimination. But like you said, there are cactuses. There are a lot of environmental mobility options you can choose from, although those are on the southern side of the map. So,
all right, come on. So, surely, if Swizzy, Vanya, and Chapatini both don't go through here, I'm gonna be so surprised. Surely they both get a win today.
I'm surprised they didn't take a victory royale.
Me too, Tokata. Me too.
To be fair,
very surprised.
We'll see if today that will change.
I'm glad you said that. I'm not the only one that's a little surprised they didn't get in.
I think everyone's surprised.
I think yesterday it was just such an aggressive day.
Oh, Panzer and El Tenzi versus Vico and Flixie.
More aggressive, and we saw them kind of lose their loot, going down to teams like Snazy and Podesai early, and others that kind of really took them off guard, especially with most of the zones going towards the north side of the map, which is unfamiliar from what we saw.
Is it Vanya or Vanyak? It's Vanya, but he doesn't care if you call him Vanyak.
Today might be a little bit more prepared that the zone can realistically.
No, I didn't try. God, no.
For Stroke and Raban, though, no problem for them. It's more of a south zone. I might have spoke too soon, as it could have potentially pulled back north, but yesterday we saw a lot of north zones, which actually kind of works out for the teams that play around the south side. However, I'd like to see a bit more of those south zones.
Ooh, Pixie and Yanis, another kill.
Back over.
Well, I saw they already had a kill. Oh, I guess they're in that long fight with Combat, but didn't actually kill him. Never mind.
From their original engagement, but they've picked up an elimination.
Yeah, only one, so don't know what happened to the.
As soon as he wins this FNCS, do we have to start putting him in the GOAT convo? That would be 4 FNCS wins, 3 on EU, 1 on Asia. I think it depends on his land placement, Nobs.
And unlike the position they were in earlier in the game, they were taking the fight. This time they're at the edge of zones, so they have less and less potential of teams third-partying in that direction. So feeling that full confidence.
Oh, Cammy's loadout is shocking. What are we looking at here? This is... Ugh.
When it comes to these FNCSs,
Gray Gatekeeper,
like
1 mini. Green DMR with no scope. Good God.
Like
we're in the slums.
Finals at the bare minimum through consistency, because
Penguin?
they are one of the more consistent duos that we have in EU, and they're not known for their aggressive and their powerhouse fragging ability.
Yeah, I think it was Levin that called. He said, Cammy City on con today. They're going to take game 1. We'll see if that was true.
What's going on here? Oh, Flixie wins it. We missed that, but Flixie wins it. Oh no. Oh no, we're getting keyed though. Wait, they don't know if Vico's down? They might not know if Vico's down.
And it looks like an opposing team.
Oh no, CCB and Nathan are keying. We got a 1v2.
To start pushing towards Flixie, but Flixie.
If anyone can do it.
Gonna let that one slide as he goes for the initial connection.
Shit.
Getting a huge crack.
Bro, if Flixie pulls off this res, he's the fucking GOAT. Oh my God, he's doing it.
Hold this off like a one-man
army. Oh my God, he's doing it.
And pick his duo back up.
Wow, Flixie is good.
It could be huge.
If that was just Tarps and Noya, that would have been an easy fight. An easy decision to make, but as soon as they started to close the distance, in comes Nathan and CZB. In comes another team to over the top of Reckless Railways, and that was the defining moment.
Nice,
where he
Flixie.
said, I actually
when you get to watch the 1v2 though, did he kill the other two? He's got the 2 kills against the other team, so.
For them, than it would be to go for that single elimination, especially after you got that damage. So a blessing in disguise for Vico and Flixie being able to stay alive, and because the med kits and everything that they've gathered here from Reckless Railways so far, it's almost gonna look like they never went.
Cammy said he has 2,000 competitive games together. Damn.
In these upper matches, it is the
2,000. That's so much. But then again, they have played together for so long, and they always play together. Like every tournament, even small tournaments, they play together.
And even time that it might not even be worth it to fully commit to that 2v1. So if you get a big shot connected onto you, like what happened to Nathan, they can quickly come to the side.
Bacon, thanks to Prime, dude.
We'll just keep on rotating, focus on.
When you're rebooted, Thomas, when you're rebooted, yeah. Oh, Hydro's deep in zone 2. Hydro needs this. Hydro's taking a fight. He must be down on Surge.
Especially when you're so isolated.
Yo, Kurama hasn't said anything since we've tuned in. Homie hasn't said a single word to his teammate.
They know they have a straight up 2v2. Nobody really in the distance. They started at full health, obviously in their zone, taking tick by tick of damage. So it's not going to be that easy.
Want a turd?
Be on the clock, but they have
I think he's Zadman with the team over 30. 2.5 years, Zadman. Thank you. Kurama's controller. Yeah, Kurama's ex-console. Most well known as a console pro, so.
Because I'm not sure they have the resources. I'm not sure they have the material to keep a prolonged fight like this outside of the zone.
They're doing a lot of face cams today, bro.
Even if you make it there, that's Swizzy and Vanya.
They've actually got a lot of face cams today. Hell yeah.
Keep you out.
You can see the little arrows too, kind of looking back, just waiting for the right moment to strike. Which is why Hydro and his duo partner might want to take a bit more of a wider rotation, especially if they've already seen Swizzy and
Trixie, the tier 1?
I'm sure they have.
They want the V-Bucks.
More on the east side.
So this is semi-final day 2, Gross. Semi-final day 3 is tomorrow, and then grand finals is next weekend.
Spend a bit more time in zone, but then have more of a safe.
I think he fled with the tier 1
into it. So nice little nitro found. Going to continue rotating on through.
Well, I see Rift Island there in the distance, just outside of Shipwreck Shallows. which means I think the zone is going to continue to pull towards the south.
As you can move your mouse, please. Ah, that's you, bro. My mouse isn't on the screen right now, man. Oh, no, yes, it is. It's in the very top right corner. Wow. Okay.
You need to start thinking that and having it in the back of your mind. It's not 100% of the time, Takata, but a good majority of the time it does pull away from Rift Island. The team's already there, probably can stay positioned, use those rifts, use the launch pad.
What's up, Estonio? Yeah, there's always so much competitive stuff going on at the same time.
Is going to be vital. Even though there
is
straves around, there's so many teams stacked up on that south side. If that's where you're trying to rotate, you are going to get caught.
Shipwreck Charlos is that new POI too that was just released. It has a little pirate ship on it with cannons and cannonballs that I believe you can even use.
Wait, is that what's now called? Shipwreck Shallows. I didn't even know that. Shipwreck Shallows. Yeah, how did a fucking boat get here?
In the air like a cannonball.
How did a boat get here?
But it's gonna be Nevs and Kidduel that have kind of made their little tiny surge base here. We've seen bigger ones.
This is 2022
throughout this tournament. Yeah, this kind of
Shipwreck Shallows is not a bad name,
but they've got more than enough damage, so no need to waste too many materials. Especially
Eggman with the Prime,
with the odds being that they will have to rotate.
God damn, you can tell the casters are even bored of Surge, DMR, Meta Ray. Maybe it's just because I'm tired, but I swear to kind of sounds tired today. It's like, my man is not here for these mid-games. I don't blame him. There's only so much filling you can do with these mid-games, bro.
55 eliminations, so they've already proved they deserve to be here in the upper bracket side of things, but that is only half of the battle overall. Now you need to either get that win,
bro, the fact that Thomas and Queasy claim a Surge plan from Classy is hilarious to me.
Here in the finals.
If you're wondering why is Queasy not using his shields, his big pots, Thomas has big pots. Well, you have
these bails the Prime for 3.
That Queasy and Thomas are boxed around that after a period of time,
dude,
they will kind of replenish and you can pickaxe them.
Literally nothing's happening. We're just like the broadcast is trying so hard, bro. The observers are like, bro, what do you want me to show? I don't know, fucking pick another team in a Surge base. Look at them. And then we go to them and fuck, they're not doing anything. Find someone else sitting in a Surge base.
Recuperate that HP once more.
We're literally just going from team to team, camping on a fucking cactus.
A lot of the other
players ready? Who's gonna be the next team camping on a cactus? Wait for it.
So Surge.
Oh, not on a cactus.
To get is quite significantly higher than in previous seasons.
We are kind of looking like we might fight. That's exciting.
47 and his duo partner. Edge of
Never
zone.
mind. Back to looking out.
I'm actually a
little Surge base.
surprised that they're almost 400 above the damage threshold. So you got to think of that last fight.
Look at LPS of the Prime.
H30 go down. All the damage must have been on Faded Pigeon to be able to get it. He gets his teammate back. So you can kind of see it was actually after the revive came in, just
here we go.
above the damage threshold, continuously fire
X-Buzz
shots.
1, 2, 3, Zratata.
Separated
W name.
a little bit too far from Clement, and that's exactly what happens. A second of
Reason Deal is still doing well here for a triple con.
A team will notice that and take advantage and try to isolate.
Oh, 26 like above for Tiano. We're gonna have to fight this.
Ooh, Tijinho has to be careful though. Only 26 above.
Oh, we are not. Never mind. 236 below. Never mind.
Look at that.
Fake Surge.
Jacob, from 26 above to 236 below. Start sweating in an instant. As you can see, the Nitro sprints coming through.
Oh, Vidil and Rezon. This could be big for them, though. They've still got good loot for Rezon Vidil if they can take him out, too. Oh.
Can you connect that initial shot?
Where is Skivvy? Skivvy's really far away from Tiano for that play. No, that was not the right play.
Duo partners left alone.
Yeah, I like the idea to get proactive. They have about 20 seconds at that time before Storm Surge activates. Makes it tougher and tougher. They fell so far below that damage threshold, so he felt like it was an all or nothing, but I'm not sure I agree with that one
either. It's not greedy. He just got two. He just jumped the gun a bit. He needed to jump in or needed to play aggressive. He just mistimed it. It's not a greed thing.
I think only 3 players or so do need to go down, though, so he thinks that it might be better to come back for that reboot card now that zone
I think he just jumped the gun.
Yeah, 6 zone, 50 players being the threshold.
Maybelline, New York. May I take your order? Lifter liner and gloss.
Make it a combo.
Sculpt with liner, shine with gloss. Fuller, lifted looking lips with hyaluronic acid formula. Lifter liner and gloss from Maybelline, New York.
At apartments.com, every time a new listing is added, we get this alert, so no. Or, yeah. Now, of course, after hearing it millions of times, I barely even notice it anymore. Okay, everybody goes, everybody goes, everybody goes, everybody.
What's happening?
Ooh, that's not right. Apartments.com, the place to find a place.
Nobody knew I existed
But look at all these people.
People believe Arthur Fleck to be some kind of martyr. Well, he's not.
You don't think this is me?
Rated R.
Oh, it's still so below.
Ways to go, which is why Scavia is so far below. I even saw CZB in the feed go down, one of our top.
The music at the Nitro Drome is actually not terrible music. I know it's loud and irritating and obnoxious, but the actual song itself doesn't sound awful.
Games, as Scavia is going to go right back to Reason and Vidil, but the 2v1, you can see 727, now 938 above the threshold, feeling more than comfortable.
No, he's improvised, Milad. It'd be too hard to have an on-text guide, you know what I mean? No, casters just say what they want to say, man.
Damage, Storm Surge, even looked like he was trying to trade shots. There are cactuses around that area, but you got to imagine how many other teams are boxed up, and there's only so long you can find Storm Surge. It just needs one more player to go down.
557 above and 3 elims with a full loadout while triple cons. If Rezon and Vidil could pull a win out here, that'd be so big for them while triple cons. They got to make every game they make it off spawn count.
Seconds before he has to go at it again.
Crash pad getting made or put to good use here. You can see marking where they want to kind of base themselves up. Might even be right beside Thomas and Queasy here. Good pulls from them.
Nice healing right there.
Asvaya's good victory was good. Maybe late end game? I would love a mid-map late end game, bro. I know no one's going to do it, but I want to see someone use the cannon in end game. Oh, team on low ground getting active over there. I'm not sure who that was. Wait, what's up with this fog? Wait, maybe I don't want a mid-map end game. Oh, Kiro and Mappy must have storm reveal. They must have zone reveal. They were so sure zone was pulling here. Kiro and Mappy definitely have forecast.
For that storm surge around where Rift Island, so 3 zones ago.
Jacob, I have a vision.
Oh,
I have a vision.
Who's in the
sword? Become a reality.
Cannon.
We have the potential.
He's gonna say the cannon
of moving zones to pull right through that ship. How crazy would it be if someone makes a high ground play with the cannonball?
Yup, there it is.
But I don't want to speak too fast as Thomas HD and Queasy now have been put into extreme danger.
What happened here? We had Surge and everything. This could have been the win.
All eyes are on them as Thomas HD is forced.
This could have been the win.
Every last material he has to stay up. It's Merstash Malabuka. It's half the lobby taking shots from every single angle possible. And Thomas HD and Queasy from looking so healthy.
Oh, nice Oz.
And confident for this late game.
Glad you liked it,
bro.
bro.
Go down just in the 7th zone.
That's one of those things where you kind of take a picture.
Oh, Shaco, bro, Shaco's and Art Skill are sitting in their same Surge base this entire game. They have not moved.
Adapted. They've done so much better up until that point, but it's not enough to be up on Surge. Where you position yourself is so important because there was multiple teams that weren't up on Surge. Then you had Vidil and Reason also shooting off in that distance. And once you become the focus of a lobby, it is
Oh, we got my pirate ship end game. I don't think we're going to use the cannons, but God, I hope we do.
Points are going to start setting in for all these teams and begin to cascade with each
and every one of those teams
that go down.
8-8 above, forced to pop some minis here. As the zone keeps closing, the pressure is on from the duos that have already based up or even rotated earlier. Nitro Splash is going to come through for a bit of mobility here.
That's how I feel, Lennox.
Just inching their way into zone now. Have made a solid
How do we have 6 kills and we're 23 above? What the
fuck? Making edits and peeking.
6 kills,
these players that are
23 above should never exist as a sentence. Dude, what is this Surge meta? Oh my god.
Where this next zone pulls is going to be so drastic.
Cammy and Seti go down too. We saw their loadout earlier.
Seti and Cammy's run here in game 1 has come to an end once again. Just
he times the tier 1
out of the lobby. 419 above though for Kiro and Mappy. Just like a few other teams in this lobby, all they got to worry about is positioning, getting from point A to point B. But as you've seen, it's not the easiest thing in the world, especially with so many teams all around. Another fight breaks out. Hydro, Kaido on the other side.
Pulling south here. The zone's not too crazy, but it's going onto the ship. Please, someone do something cool with the cannon, please.
Stay alive here and get ready for that next rotation.
This is actually going to be a sickening rotation for a lot of these players. Especially being on the water.
Good pre-fight there by Kiro.
Unfortunately enough, Fast Jokey was able to get out. Good for him though, as they're now going to pop another Nitro, continue moving on forwards as they're almost into the zone already.
Man, they are full king him here. What the hell?
Low. No more shields left.
I think they might be going a little bit too ham on this. His ended up getting it. Oh, they got the loot though. Never mind. I was wrong.
What? Joining the action.
FC. He's going to get a decent amount of loot for that. Options for more med kits.
I wonder how many teams are going to be playing med kits in early and mid-low early. Because so many teams managed to steal wins yesterday by just playing early med kits.
Got a free rotation for now, but as you look how messy the high ground actually is, different layers congested with multiple players, and we found one that is still below the damage threshold.
We have 6 elims, and we're below.
They need to figure out a way to push themselves just a little bit further here.
They should need to push themselves further. How is this not enough?
There's the same duo that was 66 above just a moment ago. How quickly the tables can turn.
Nice.
6
is that enough?
As well.
7 elims and we're below. I mean, that one was only a 50 tag, but still, yeah.
How is this even possible, Jacob?
I just got to imagine it's eliminations like that. It's weak players, slivers of HP trying to survive. It's great for your point total for the leaderboard, but it's not good for your
I wonder if the
damage.
surge
Now
thresh is
they're
going to keep going up and up. I swear teams are going to just start like... We're going to have some crazy collusion going on at this point, bro. We've never had a meta that rewards just teaming more than this. Yo, Mendez, thanks to over 42, bro.
Solo trying to continue that elimination trend. They've already secured so many points just on elims, but they still need to get more damage.
Malabuka mustache on the high ground. This is big for Aqua Noah. Really big for Aqua Noah.
Building up.
We saw him come so close as a
maybe all they did need was to be contested. The Malabuka mustache classic, they level up when they're contested. They always have. Oh, and they've lost Aqua. Never mind.
In the way, and one that you didn't expect, Lamine and Flobby on the high ground. It wasn't enough.
Oh, wait.
For them to go ahead and keep
it. Wait.
They gave it up.
Big chop from Mustache, though. Huge chop.
Because they took down high ground. They chopped it down. Timber. Everything's going to come
falling. Beautiful chop. Mustache and Malabuka take it back.
Falling down, and Mustache Malabuka are back on top as they continue to apply pressure below. They cannot let these duos now on second height go for that retake just as they did. Good amount of materials, good amount of loot.
Nice. 38 builds on Malabuka. Not bad.
That conscientious decision to disengage from the high ground. It's a decision that is going to pay off for them because they cannot longer.
We're going back towards the ship again.
There is now being contested by Pixie and Yanis.
Rezon, wait, Rezon of a deal win here would be so big while triple cons.
For them, they're keeping their feet out of the mud.
Continuing Tarp a bit above, trying to not get too low of a layer. I'm curious to see if they want to try and make a play here in the late game, but so far Medkit's going to be popped.
Pixie Yanis running out of mats. Need a refresh.
As well as they look for more.
Vanya and Swizzy are still here as well, though. There's some really big teams in this lobby.
And he's going to be able to survive just for now. Vico's going down. Cool gets two.
Oh, Rezon of a deal looking for high ground.
Move through these builds. They have their eyes on the high ground. Malabuka and Mustache, you gotta watch out. We've seen so many late high ground retakes, and they do have the Flowberry Fizz, so another one is definitely possible.
This is why they were elevated.
Oh, they're going to go for it. 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 But Artskill went for it first. Artskill and Shaco's go through it first. Mustache goes down. Wait, Rezon and Badil are going to win. I'm calling it right now. If Rezon and Badil go for it now, they take it and they win. I'm calling it. Shaco's and Artskill are shambles. Mustache and Malabuka are dead. This is so good for Badil and Rezon.
And there goes another team. They still have their eyes on the prize. Even
here we go. They know their shambles. They know. Oh, it's another team. It's Coldback. It's a new team. Did they know it's a new team? Rezon doesn't fucking care.
And finally, he comes crashing down. Rezon and Badil will not give up. They will not go down, and they will not be denied.
Big refresh because they were a fresh, healthy team. They get a way bigger refresh off it.
Unstoppable, staying ahead of zone. Perfect moment to strike on that high ground retake. I believe it's just a solo above. They should be able to re-heal up here.
Oh, Pachava's a solo now. Malabuka's still in this. I didn't see Malabuka still up. Only Mustache went down.
Who's on top of them? Malabuka as well, left as a solo. The battle for height
we're playing medkits a minute early. Did we mean to just do that? Did he mean to just do that? Because he's in fucking Narnia now. My man is not close to zone. Did Pachava mean to do that?
This one goes all the way to edge. It will close, and whoever's left alive will have to battle out because it doesn't look like there's a lot of heals to go around.
Wait, he's actually, I think he meant to do that. He's playing mad early heal off. Does Pahava have like some kind of flopper base I don't know about?
But Reason's been lost. The seat
falls
down. Vanyak as well dropped the 4 HP. The pressure's on him. Opponents tried to get into the box, but can he escape? No, he cannot.
Badil and Rezon can win this. No, Badil solo.
Reason as well. Badil stuck by himself.
Wait, with how shambles these teams are. Never mind, he went down his zone. Pahava went down. Wait, low ground gets the free win. Dandapuzo and Hizix get the free win. They get the free win. 2v1. Surely they win this. No builds though. Wait, imagine Badil clutches this.
To do is clean up Badil.
Nah, there's no way.
Trying to chop him down, start the heal off early.
Dandapuzo and Hizix, 11 elim wins.
It's not enough. They steal
big win for Dandapuzo.
An advanced
Wait, is that not Dan Puzzo's first game as well? Did he not make it out of lowers yesterday?
We had our eyes on height, but what mattered in this last match was securing the low ground and being able to finish it off as a
Let me
duo,
see.
and that is
So,
exactly
wait, so
what they were
EU...
able to do.
And that's the moment that we're talking about. All that high ground is breaking down 3 teams, 4 teams, solos.
Lower bracket.
You, me, and us together.
Jumping in, standing still, bro.
Spectrum TV Stream Latino te trae la mejor selección de canales en español.
Obtén ViX Premium con anuncios por nuestra cuenta cuando elevas tu entretenimiento con mi plan Latino TV.
Y con Spectrum Internet súper rápido, obtienes las velocidades más rápidas del país.
Cámbiate ya.
They think that's the best way to win the game, but you see them down low. Hizix, Puzzo, they are just going through. They're taking down every solo that's down there.
Puzzo and Hizix just crawled in a single game. They came 15th in lowers yesterday, one game of uppers and quals.
Was sent right back to the lobby.
Impressive.
Meanwhile, high ground, they battled it out and they did the rest of the job.
Very impressive.
Dandy Hizzy were looking unstoppable.
They're randoms? No, they're not. I know who they are. Might be randoms to you.
HP and shield. It wasn't even close when Vidil got chopped down. We also saw earlier on Bahawa. He was on height, but he said, nah, I'm going to crash bet into zone. I don't know how many medkits he
I don't know why he went in zone so early. Yo, Red Banner, they steal on for 30, bro. 2.5 years. Thank you, man. Thank you, Neko Chan with the 29 too. Mendez, John, Titan, Edwin, LPS, Bales. Thanks for subs, guys. Seb Gotti, what's up, Seb? Thanks, guys. Yeah, I know who Dan Puzzo and Hizix are. It's just, yeah. So you gotta remember, just because you don't know someone doesn't mean they're random. It might be a you thing. TK might be getting traded for someone for ESL and Dignitas. He just tweeted he can't go to Saudi anymore. I did just hear that they extended the roster lock. So we could see more players getting dropped ahead of Riyadh, which I think now, you know me, I was on the team of like, you know, I was on the team of it's like traditional esports. Like as long as the players are being treated properly, like some kind of compensation, you know, I'm okay with, you know, roster swaps. But getting a bit much now. If we're doing them this now, like now we're getting like it's the tournament's in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Like now it's getting a bit much. Is anyone in endgame? Ooh, we got one team in endgame and lowers. This is lower bracket. Mark my words, dig Veno. Oh, I mean, that would be huge. Imagine. That would be massive. That would actually be so big. A roster swap because someone can't go, though, is valid. Oh, for sure. But is that why TK can't go, or he can't go because he's been replaced? Sorry, maybe I misread your message. I thought you meant he tweeted he can't go because he's been replaced.
Non, il faisait quoi ici? Bien joué, gros. Bien joué, bien joué. Comment j'ai pas...
Reback? I mean, could be reback, honestly.
Ja.
That could be
Wir
reback.
brauchen nichts, wir sind Cap.
He was on PlayStation. Yeah, I mean, we have some console players competing, chat. You gotta remember, we have some console players in finals.
Wir können auf die Brücke crash-padden, wir haben ja einen Spare.
Ja. Hier liegt auch noch ein Crashpad.
TK tweeted, I can't go to Sound anymore. Yeah, so that makes it sound like he can't go because he got... Maybe he can't go and that's why they're replacing him. We'll have to find out later.
Bin hier hochgegangen, ne?
I mean, Cooper could make sense too. There's lots of good choices, man. Lots of good choices.
22, 24. Ich hab 50 Search gemacht. Gib mir einen Biggie. Der war cracked.
Hast du Fizz?
Ich hatte Fizz, ja. Und Tons? Und Tons, dein Pickaxe.
Komm. Geh da raus.
Na raus.
Bei dir. Warte, komm her.
Die haben keinen Search,
Ja. Are you extinctional? There's no more lower teams. There's no lower teams anymore that we care about in EU, right? I'm sure there's some, yeah. I mean, there's a few that I care about.
Everyone's fine.
Pop the heals, yeah.
Just pop back. We went the lower drop jetzt, maybe. Die fighten komplett.
Yeah, on top.
Not as many as... It's not like yesterday, though. I honestly probably will just focus more on the Oppas broadcast, honestly, at this point. Yeah, Marius is in lowers again now, which is pretty big. Yeah, QB Hellfire, Nipsey Vortexes. You got Faki in there. You got Marius in there. Definitely some big teams. iDrop, yeah. But lowers get eliminated today? Lowers do get eliminated today, yeah. If you don't get top 30 today in lowers, you are out of FNCS. Prodoxy, Twos. Wow, that is some big teams, actually. Holy shit.
Hello and welcome back to FNCS. This is day 2 of our Major 3 semi-finals, and we kicked it off yet again.
You make finals with 0 wins? Yeah, on day 3.
On the high ground.
Yeah, 40 of the 50 teams make grands tomorrow. Tomorrow's the most important day.
At the end of the action, and they have booked themselves a spot
Lemix, the team on the
grand finals next weekend. Although Minimine, I have to say, I didn't have my eye on these two to take it, but they deserve the win.
Well, we didn't see them yesterday. They were in the lower bracket yesterday. They didn't perform amazingly well. They haven't had an amazing season overall. They didn't make a single round 4 in the qualifiers this season either, but they turned up when it mattered most. There was so much action, so much drama all the way
got the win when it really mattered.
This team on low ground just rode out their materials, found eliminations where
Think Savage will win a game? No, I think the way Savage quals to grands is not winning a game today,
it can't be understated,
but qualifying tomorrow. Their set lobby placements are so good. They'll make it tomorrow, but I don't think they'll win a game today, no.
Impressive the way they played low in towards the end of that game there. So good on them. Again, this is the nature of this format, right? You get teams that sort of sneak in there and they pick up a win maybe where you don't.
Yeah, as long as they stay top 25 today, they'll easily qualify tomorrow with how good they are.
Sneaking around though was Reason and Vidil. They were determined as soon as they found themselves on that low ground to challenge for height. This was the game plan. They were going to stick to it 11, and to be honest, they nearly pulled it off.
I mean, courageous, right? Because we saw how chaotic height could be.
If you're in uppers today, can you jump to lowest tomorrow? Yeah. If you get bottom 25.
They made it a mission to get involved, and like you said, they started on low. They got a couple refreshes. They thought, okay, this is a win condition.
It did. Good luck in your wrestling claim. Extinction. Thanks for sub, dude.
They did really well, Mini, for the most part, right? They were very patient. They kept looking for beams on Manabuka Mustache. While they were going for beams, sometimes another team would jump up and play height, but they stayed patient. They waited for the opportunity, and when it came, it still wasn't enough because height is just so chaotic.
Oh, here we go.
And they still have.
So remember, Chad, you got these teams are going to try and stay top 25 today.
You can see more of that from Vidil and Reason as the game goes on.
If you're a good team, lowest 2 is better, right? It depends. As long as you make it to uppers tomorrow, that's all that matters. If you think getting a top 30 in lowers is easier than a top 25 in uppers, then yeah.
Having a lot more enjoyment, a lot more fun in this lobby, even though they are double contested, like we spoke about earlier on. They're a team that can pull something magical out of the hat as well. Even Janice and Pixie there up in 2nd place. They had a really strong game as well. Look at that, 9 eliminations. And it just seems to be like this is one of the teams that just snuck under the radar a little bit, trying to play for height here and there, but they just found eliminations after elimination.
Yeah, Pixie was really impressive in this game, right? Taking the lead, taking initiative, finding opportunities to sort of keep them pushing in the game. And even though, again, it didn't quite work out towards the end, Janice goes down and now he's solo clutching.
Like Savage really Edge, you get messy with bow drop in the lowers, potentially. If they go even today, if it's like,
to lead like that in those end games,
it's going to be messy.
Happen. Even if they don't win a game, they're going to be a team that come tomorrow, you expect them to just make it through on consistency.
11, this is going to sound like a silly question, apologies in advance, but are you expecting to see Janice and Pixie have such high elimination games?
Ooh, I mean, it's
a good question,
right? I think Pixie in particular has been a player that's shown in the past couple seasons that like he has a lot of firepower, right? So, you know, they're not the team that you expect to be out there getting a bunch more often than not, but definitely something they can do.
A lot of them.
It's a good look for them, right, Minnie?
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, I was going to say that a lot of the players that ended up moving to NA had Pixie on their radar as a potential teammate. You know, the likes of Pink, the likes of Taste, and they were all sort of taking.
True, they did actually. They did have a look at Pixie.
Could be a player that
that's a good point.
Up here potentially as their best option on EU. Ultimately, they moved over to NA, but it's one of those where he's been on the come up for a little while now, and of course, Janice being such a prominent figure in the scene is a reason why he's picked him up, and it's a reason why we put them as one of our sleeping giants on our list yesterday.
And his X0 Flixie is playing a blinder with
How do calls work tomorrow in both brackets? Exclamation mark format. Dude, you can watch that whole video, but uppers and lowers don't run back to back tomorrow. Tomorrow's the most exciting day. Tomorrow's gonna be fucking sick. I'm so hyped for tomorrow.
Collecting a lot of the mats, getting a lot of the refreshes, which I was quite surprised to hear.
I'd wonder why, because Vico is that guy. He's been doing everything this season. He's been one of those players that, like, individually, his level has just reached new heights. And I think.
Did you like him more when it was back to back or this now? What do you mean, Elba?
For me, is that, like, we've known Vico can play like this, right? When he bursts onto the scene, right? This is what he was known for, being super aggressive, being a great fighter, being someone that can be decisive in key moments. But it's
before it was 4 rounds in lowers, was it?
Important moments, which is grand finals, and so last season in grand finals, his level wasn't quite this high.
You handled the tier 1
now next weekend.
I don't think so. It's been this format the whole year.
And Pink as one of their FNCS champion potentials for last season, but it didn't quite work out. So that's what I want to see as well. I want to see Vico doing his.
Maybe you're getting confused where it was 4 semi-final heats, but they weren't lowers and uppers. It was just 4 heats. If you mean that, then yes, I'm very much missed that. That was the best format.
Go Vico, go, and we have got to go actually because it's time to head back to our casters as we head into game number 2. Levin, don't look so embarrassed, okay?
This is a great chance here for these teams to really pick up the pace. It's very, very similar to what we saw yesterday throughout the day. Early aggression, Storm Surge really dictating the pace
you're all good, man.
and how players get to play. And so if you don't reach one of them cactuses early, what would you think is a good plan B, Takata?
It's difficult, Jacob, because we saw, I believe, day 1, it was in 6 zone. You did like 470 damage or something like that. Next zone, 700 damage.
It's
so
so
if you're not
much.
using those cactuses, you're going to be
No,
using a lot of
C5s. I
minis,
was going to
bigs,
announce what's going on with the subathon today, but with all the craziness yesterday, I didn't end up having time.
Plan your kind of strategy and route beforehand, especially in the southern side of the map with all these cactuses. You should be pretty good, but if not, it's definitely going to be difficult.
Luckily for us, the game starts now. Let's jump right into it, Takata.
Game number 2. It is just 5 matches that will be played out today. No 6 matches like we're used to in grand finals.
How much sleep did you get? Like 3 hours? I'm sorry if I'm not as energetic today, chat, but it's all right. I might take a break between EU and NA today. I'm not sure. We'll see how I feel when EU ends. But tomorrow I'll be rested. Either way, I'm getting a lot of sleep tonight. Don't worry.
Vidil and Reason. In Sandy Steps, according to the drop map, there should be technically 3 duos dropping here, except for one of them. Yeah, you can see Kurama is a little north of Sandy. So
here we go. All right, Malibuca Mustache won this game 1, but it was not a convincing win, honestly.
Up against Noah and Aqua. Who's taking it home this time around, Jacob? What's your predict?
Right now, I gotta go ahead and I'll say Malibuca Mustache yet again. The floor back to the top, though, is gonna go to Aqua and Noah, so they have a little bit of advantage here early on in the gates, but I still think with the familiarity that Malibuca Mustache have in and around this POI, they've landed here just a little bit longer. And
With Flonase, allergies don't have to be scary. Spray Flonase Sensimist daily for non-drowsy, long-lasting relief in a scent-free fine mist. Psst, psst. Flonase, all good.
For just more times.
Oh, they secure the boss. This is big for Aqua. Very big for Aqua.
They don't even want to fight them for it. They just want to take it right away. And
Malibuca has a shotgun though.
Throughout this entire exchange.
Malibuca knows
this spawn fight is actually really fun. It's a very interesting spawn fight.
Just a millisecond late, and I believe was that Aqua that connected that shot?
No, it was an NPC. It was an NPC.
Basically, it might have been.
I think it was an NPC.
Malibuca now has been cracked. Mustache is going to be the only one with shield of the duo, but just like Noah Rayleigh, also does not have any shield.
Oh,
for now. Just for now.
The loadout is really good. I'm realizing Noah and Aqua both have good loadouts, man.
As possible. We talked about the importance.
Oh, was it Noah? Oh, it was Noah, was it?
And saving the shield so that way you can use them later. Kind of the same premise here with this medallion.
This one's dragging out. This is really bad for both teams.
Slower.
This is really bad for both teams.
Game 1, this fight ended quite quickly. But I'm not even sure if this fight is going to end. I mean, depending on how much time they take, they have to make the decision to just push each other or even just disengage and potentially find another team or continue with a separate loot path. But that's not really going to set yourself up for success in the late game. So we'll see how this one does end up playing out. But in the meantime, Gunbury and his duo partner, Emil, are they in a 2 versus 1 or is this a 2v2? I think it is a 2v2 actually, and Emil's gonna have to be careful here as he's been knocked down.
Heat chips and Desi. Didn't even realize they were in final. They're in uppers.
Everything turned sideways very, very quickly.
Oh, we got another team though. We don't win this. We got another team lurking. We're dead anyway.
A little bit late.
They're coming in. We're dead.
That tardiness.
Does he not realize? Oh, now he realizes. Oh no.
Oh, going down. Another team rolling in. So you're not going to be able to breathe here in that moment.
Older got the fuck in.
Quickly, Kolb over taken down, and now they get 2 teams worth of loot.
Okay then.
Gunbury played it so well too, annihilating both players. But you got to be aware of your surroundings. That's part of it. The homework you put in to know what duos are dropping around you, and if there's that potential for a third party. And just like the duos that capitalize on that
I have not
situation,
seen this skin in a while.
That some of the duos
ponytail pisses me off.
are fighting, then it's a good chance to kind of head on over there and stop your loot path. To
see lucky with 2-on-2.
Third party. Clips and Dexy looking quite scuffed, to be fair. I'm wondering what happened to their drop spot.
Yeah, especially since I thought it was uncontested towards the north, but they probably, like everybody else, are just trying to rotate as far south as fast as possible. Especially if the zone does pull there. But already you can kind of see the first zone a little bit telling, showing how much time they actually have. Dexy and Eclipse still wandering around because there's a lot of loot.
Oh, Nebs gets an Elan.
In and around the underworld. There's a lot of chests just kind of
scattered around. Taz been playing for 18, think he did.
Spawns. There's a lot of shields.
Who won Redline Rig this game? No one at this point. They're still both alive.
That's exactly what they're doing, planning to get their surge just a little bit later in their game.
Speaking about surge, the day 1 average for 6th zone was 470 damage. And the previous match today, it was 649 damage that you needed.
Wow.
So almost 200 more damage. Seems like these duos have either been adapting to kind of the cactus surge meta, or it might have also been because the zone did pull south, meaning that a lot more players could.
What do you mean by adapting with the cactus meta? What would that entail, Tokata? If I was to adapt to the cactus meta,
so
what would that entail?
How much effect they have on the lobbies? Not only based
do you mean teams are potentially realizing that they don't actually have any intention to fight each other whatsoever? They'd rather trade infinite amounts of shields.
It wasn't only me that mixed it.
With no desire to fight. Something we banned players for 60 days for in the past. Now the whole fucking map is doing it.
They maybe fight somebody if they get contested. Some shots along the way, but they beeline it straight on over here towards the forecast tower. I was talking about it yesterday. This one specifically on the map has an 80% spawn rate. So more often than not, if you play all 5 games out, it will spawn in 4 of the 5 games. So it kind of makes it a huge.
It is not Neil. They are, yeah. They are part of the trophy system, bro. It's gonna be very fun.
Launchpad on top, and this is how they simultaneously.
It's not teaming if everyone's teaming. Hey, if we're all one big team, baby, no one's teaming apparently.
The forecast tower.
Dude, that's like when you convince your friends at school, bro. Like, we can't all get kicked out.
So
they can't expel all of us.
Opponents kind of are used to it at this point. So
we all do it together. There's nothing they can do.
The Chapantini are
kids
on
realizing
that mountain looking for tags, and they're going to be trying to cover themselves as much as possible. Yanis Pixie here now. Looks like Malabuka Merstash, as we were talking about earlier.
To be fair though, the difference, like, it's so hard when it comes to surge trading. Like, the main distinction with surge trading that's like okay and not okay is just like DMing and having like prior, you know, communication surrounding it. But in this meta, with DMRs and surge plans, you just kind of, you can just do it without even talking about it.
Now kind of recuperating a bit of what they've lost from the early game.
Which isn't a bad position for Pixie because you look, they're literally right by their drop spot, so they know what loot they left behind. They also know if the zone pulls towards the north again, they can go back to this location, gather.
It's so nice, Luke.
So it's not necessarily the worst position for Pixie, and eventually.
Why do most pro players throw the nitro on their feet and not just pop it? Apparently, it's an audio thing. It gives off less audio, and also it helps you from accidentally popping 2 in the lag.
To try to trade off these surge, especially if you have one of those cactuses right beneath you. If you're not taking these opportunities, you're going to consistently start to fall below that storm surge threshold. Even with Cammy taking a shot, he's really not scared, not really backing down from this opportunity.
Yeah, like you said.
Blue combat of a green gatekeeper is very rare.
That is true. The good news is, like you said, you can play overly aggressive and not really get penalized as much with those cactuses. So I'm curious to see how
overly aggressive. Is that what you call it, Takata? I would not be calling this overly aggressive.
Were by duos that were uncontested, but
Lindsay with 2-11.
The first game today was won by a duo that was contested. So maybe that's good news for Merstash and Malabuka. Only time will tell as Tarps and his duo partner might be put into a little sandwich here.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Vico and Flixie are one of the ones literally right nearby. Luckily for them, they're not going to follow up on that damage. They probably see that they're missing a huge chunk of
party was good. It was good.
Backtrack, especially if they do have some gold to use in that mending machine.
I'll be catching up on a lot of my sleep tonight.
So not necessarily the worst spot to be in for these guys as well, especially if they did have that early game surge, so they can go ahead and play a little bit more lackadaisy, flexible in their game plan, wait for a couple more of these.
Kurama versus Chapatini with another team looking in. This is bad for everyone involved. This is bad.
Now
there's another team just set up. Like, look at this, man. They got a firing squad, just eyes on him.
I'm not sure if they want to fully commit to this, though.
Is all these same times tomorrow? Yeah, but I don't have a party to go to. I'll be going to bed tonight at like 3 p.m. Legit. Like, I'm not kidding. I will be in bed asleep at 3 p.m. That's my goal.
Wants to end up doing here.
I'll be able to do it too.
You got to be careful, because even if they do disengage, there's another team waiting on the outside. And once you pop out those builds, if you peek out towards the west,
oh, there it is. It's Cafendi?
That's exactly what they've done. They're starting to focus on the other side. Bunker is now opening up, and you see.
Oh, Teeny Chap, got to be careful here. Yup, he gets tagged as he jumps in by the third party. That's brutal.
Just runs into a tough spot. 69 HP. Chap is just dropping.
Your cousin's party's probably still going on. Yeah, it is actually.
Because now the third party has been turned into worse with one of
them. Yeah, I do the team 5.
Lyrics might go down, but for Kurama, he has a chance to get the reboot card if it comes down to it.
Thank you, Wassy, with the tier 1.
3 pickings for the third party, though, with the amount of HP.
Bit of a strange question. What's your ops on pajamas, bro? I'm a full sleep naked kind of dude. I don't get how people sleep with full pajamas on. Maybe if it's like a little bit cool, I might rock some socks and some underwear. Maybe a very loose top, but even then, I'm naked like 99% of the time I sleep. Hence why you'll never see me do a sleep stream.
After yesterday's games, I
think it was Nindo with the Prime for 9.
Yo, we're still claiming our spot, and we're WP.
Bro, nice ass fresh sheets.
He's a man of his word already, because he's already
room cold. So that's as prime optimal sleeping conditions. Fresh sheets, a super cold room with big ass heavy blankets, naked as the day I was born. That is optimal sleeping conditions, and no one can convince me otherwise.
That was started by a whole nother team, and it does look like they solidified.
Thank you, Carl, with the prime for 11.
Oh, Kentic.
It's just unfortunate.
Gonna go down. Yeah, unlucky. Malabuka, Elim onto Pixie.
Thank you, Eclipse, the team for 7.
That got away from them eventually. Didn't last too long, though, as he's been hunted down.
Someone breaks in the house, they be fighting 2 weapons. There's no way people sleep with clothes on for the fear that they're going to have to fight naked. I'm sorry. If you break into my house, I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm sorry. At this point, like, it is what it is, man.
For just a quick moment.
It's going to be distracting.
Deal and Reason. You kind of see them peeking up. Very, very similar rotation. There is a launch pad nearby that they can use.
No, yeah, no one wants to fight someone naked. It just makes everything so much weirder.
They can try to gatekeep it out if any teams are trying to use it as well.
So yeah, you're right, Losses. I don't know what that's going to mean for when Charlotte gets a bit older. We'll see.
I really do like this.
You break in my house, I'm coming out swinging in 2 ways.
To where they're kind of forced to move down here.
Yo, Wednesday, thanks to team for 37, bro.
Shots, so they are weak with an earlier fight, or at least trading shots for Surge, so they need to kind of stagger themselves just a little bit to make sure they get that shields up before they rotate out.
Oh, shit. What a power play.
Fiery menu, 5 items, 5 levels, so you can do you. Level 1's like, level 5's a bit, it's fiery. At BK, have it your way.
No wonder it's all smiles around here. Early dinner deals make for the happiest hours, with classics like crispy hand-breaded chicken, rich home-style meatloaf, and more, starting at $8.99. So come on in, early and often.
Now this is a surge base, Jacob. Look, we've seen the
24.
God damn it, I hate these surge bases.
This is 2024. This is an up-to-date, cutting edge Surge base, Cactus included by the Nitro drone.
Do you know why, though? Do you know why we had to upgrade for 2024? It's because of the crash pads. In case you guys are wondering at home why the crash pad or the surge bases have evolved for so much. First, you could thank Trulex and Chicho. They're the ones who kind of started it. And then from there, with the crash pads, people were
I think it's crash pads and being able to hold the edits.
So now you need a roof in your surge base. You needed at least 2-bedroom apartment surge base at the top now. That's why they extended so high. It's at least 2,000 V-Bucks per game to rent that.
2,000 V-Bucks per game.
Takes us a couple cannonball shots from the new POI, and that surge base.
Oh, really, Keith? Nice.
Haven't seen that happen yet, though. Cammy and Seti.
It's good. That's what I like, Ripple. It's nice when they add stuff like that. That's the kind of shit you need. Well, for the main point out, again, today, I'm sorry I'm not doing it too much. Again, I'm going to be straight up honest. I just don't have the energy in me today. But for Grands, I'm going to, don't worry. If the mid-game start getting boring as fuck in the mid-game, and we aren't getting like some good storyline development, I got you. I'm gonna pull out the document. I'm gonna get you all the storyline. Don't you worry.
That's actually a good question. And anybody?
I'm doing a whole bunch of prep on a bunch of players coming into this Grands and also ESL.
Than Seti and Cammy. I'm gonna be looking at.
I'm gonna do it like I used to do when I was on the broadcast. I'm gonna get the spreadsheet out.
And you can see there's a lot of space at this portion of the map that is kind of filled out because everybody has their surge towers. Nobody's really boxed together other than that northeast side of the map, but they're just trying to rotate. You see them kind of boosting through. You know they have to.
No, I know you're making a joke, Archer, but Chad, have you ever found yourself completely butt-ass naked except for with socks on? Why do you feel so much more naked when you have socks on and you're naked than when you're completely naked? Like, being naked with socks on makes you, like, realize how naked you are. It's fucking weird.
I remember when I was competing, always had kind of like
first time I was naked with socks on, I was like, damn, I'm like, I feel really uncomfortable right now for some reason. But if I'm just full butt-ass naked by myself in my room, I don't care.
It's always so difficult to find. And you don't want to waste a lot of time kind of pickaxing things.
Proper Winnie the Pooh energy. Nah, I don't know.
4 or 5.
Maybe the girls in chat or the gay dudes will disagree with me, but maybe I'm only speaking here as a straight guy. But girls, naked with a t-shirt, cute as fuck. Dudes, naked with just a t-shirt, definitely a very different vibe. Because girls is kind of like an oversized dress. It's kind of like a cute vibe to it. Guys, I don't think butt-ass naked with just a t-shirt is the vibe for guys. Kind of like a little bit of peekaboo action going on, you know what I mean? I like that you call it the Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, them being able to get that medallion out of Redline Rig, I think has bolstered their game plan overall. They can combine that with the cactuses to make sure to stay above that Storm Surge threshold. And we saw where Rift Island was. It was
Yo, Gon, thanks for Tiama 3. What's up, Gon? Welcome in, bro.
So
congrats on qualifying yesterday, my dude.
The zone is going to pull over here towards Sandy Steps, or at least continue to move towards the south. But Fadil's already down. Reason now stuck by himself, and they're in the center of the zone, so getting a reboot.
This is the shit these mid-games got us talking about, bro. This is what DMR Surge Base is doing to me, man. No one's mad about it, though. Just tuned in what's going on? I don't know, man. I don't know. We're filling the mid-game with what we got here, okay?
The game 1 winners in terms of the leaderboard, just 8 points behind Yanis and Pixie. So having Vidil gone down so early,
welcome in, Ellie.
Be detrimental to Reason, but you know, Levin talked about it. If any duo,
the other 5 who goes through, anyone who wins a game goes through to Grands. Anyone who gets top 25 but doesn't get a win stays in uppers. Anyone who gets bottom 25 drops down to lowers.
Reason is gonna have
lower bracket is pretty intense today. Top 30 goes to uppers. Anyone who's not top 30, their FNCS is over. If you're in lower bracket day 2 and you don't get top 30, you're out of FNCS.
Too hopeful, but
pretty brutal.
Anything can happen.
And the zone gave him a chance.
Yeah, Rezon solo is brutal
right
here.
On the edge, everybody's going to have to move towards the west if they want to get that safe spot.
Queasy also solo. Damn.
Early on in the game, maybe 1, 2
what is this skin? What in the abomination?
So I would actually be more surprised if we don't see Video back in this game.
What is this skin?
Jump on board.
That's
Thomas
a thick boy.
Gone. Another stressful situation for him to be in. 22 HP and continuously dropping.
I think he's sumo with the prime. Oh.
He does have the med kits, but no time to pop them. The dashes go in.
And this team is still below. Well, they're dead. They're 21 below in zone with no team around them. They're dead.
21 below the damage threshold. Queasy was already weak, so he didn't really get much damage counted towards the Storm Surge due to that elimination.
Yo, R3, thanks for the prime, dude.
Queasy gonna be going straight to socials after that one.
He went 2 games and up. Well. I love how Queasy's reputation is just complaining on Twitter. Queasy will be straight to socials after that one. So kind of just basically calling Queasy a whining bitch.
There are some players close by.
89 above. Remember, they started off with elimination today, which wasn't a lot for Surge. Trading gets overzealous. Reason's going to take one down. A chance for him to fight back. They're trying to drop him into the box. And
yeah, once you win a game, chat, you stop playing.
And that's a good amount of loot. That was just one.
Is he wrong though? Hey, if you want to hear Queasy's opinion on why he complains on Twitter,
so many half-broken
Hotline FN on Spotify or Levin's YouTube, you go back and watch the last podcast.
Try to survive, but it's good to see
it's a very good podcast.
Chance with the revive now secured.
Just 2 HP.
He wasn't wrong. Wait, has Queasy tweeted? Wait a second.
So
was Tokata wrong? Let's see.
68 players up now. We can hear that little sound.
Queasy has tweeted.
Church sound, meaning that these players are going to have to get aggressive. They haven't done enough damage.
It's just a smiley face with a replay photo.
Day 1 average was 470.
He has tweeted. He has indeed tweeted.
Game 1 today.
Wait, did he tweet about game? Wait, did he tweet about game 1 as well? Let's see. Wait a second.
During this zone.
Are we on game 2 and we've already got 2 Queasy tweets?
Couple elims.
Oh shit, we got 2 Queasy tweets.
That's a full 200 HP elim. But yeah, no,
above us. In a box, in a box. Dead. Joe. One more. In my box, in my box.
50 wide, 50
I can't. I don't have anything reloaded. Nothing reloaded. I'm getting out. Our back.
Okay, that is why they died, and now I feel really bad. We didn't know why they died earlier, but that is brutal.
As much of the game as you can, and that way when Storm Surge hits, you still have that
oh, really? Auto bit. That's good.
Adaptability, so you can kind of make the choices that you want to make, just like Axe Force and Clownski here.
Right, people were saying Peterbot purposely didn't win the first few games because he came second twice. But it's just how the high ground meta played out. If you want to check out my most recent main channel video,
their shoulders.
I talk about whether I think they were
still up.
trying not to win or not.
Healthy. But while some duos are healthy,
thank you, Poggies, with the Prime. Pogsies, I should say.
Tight situation.
Aiden again with the tier 1. It's the subs, guys.
As Kovacs is going to use a nice little crash pad.
Well, this is what Kovacs looks like. I've never seen Kovacs' face before.
Quite safely, but I might have spoken too soon, as everybody else had a similar idea. Now forced to kind of take a step back, refocus up, and then rotate back in.
Yeah, it's unfortunate they didn't.
It was good, Fuzzy. It was good, bro.
With that crash pad, they definitely would have made it in zone. Because now, if you look at the edge of the map, everybody is stacked up. They're gonna have to use a lot of resources to make.
Looks
it
Norwegian. I think Kovacs is German.
Focusing that direction, making it harder and harder for any survival possibility. Same as Cringe.
Ooh, Cringe not looking good.
So it's a much tougher situation for him as he finally goes down.
Oh, Danish. Oh, he's Danish. Of course, he's fucking Danish. Why did I think he was German? I think I've done this before where I thought he was German.
They got that knock to try to clean up as much of that loot as possible. Their loadout looks okay at best.
I forgot my own rule, Chad. If there's someone crazy or not nationality, I just fucking guess they're Danish. Just safe bet at this point.
Quite see where the zone.
The Danes strike again.
Oof, okay.
Despite the small population, there's a very high chance that if there is an insanely good Fortnite pro and you don't know the nationality, they are Danish.
Gonna have to rotate together on this congested side, but players like Volko aren't even gonna be thinking about the rotation.
Oh, this is bad. Oh wait, we're getting keyed by another team below Surge. Oh my god.
Pushing you. Now forced to play defensive.
Oh, 400 above. Never mind, we're chilling.
Until that storm starts closing.
Tarps and Oi are down on Surge. This is what I was talking about. You really don't have too much.
Huddy goes down.
Just kind of play your game out. They're going to go ahead and make this rotation quick. Hopefully they can look.
I'm glad the crash pads are working way better now when you run into them. I think it's because the lag is so much less.
That need that storm surge damage is going to continue to increase. Now Malabuka and Mustache have to watch out because Volko is now starting to target them out.
Nice rotate.
There's still more of a rotation to go.
Esports team is respectable in Denmark. Yeah, I've talked about it a few times, man. I think it's having a huge impact because the Astralis team. Astralis is the most legendary Counter-Strike team of all time, and they're Danish. And apparently, from talking to Danish people, they were like actual celebrities in Denmark, like very well respected, very well received. So I think that's had a huge impact on, like, you know, fostering a positive view of esports.
Yes, they do. It's a 2v1, but Volko cannot miss a single shot, unfortunately. He is going to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy, Maris. That is crazy.
Actually started. I thought it was Stormy, his duo, that actually got the elimination. It was
He True gives the T on for 28.
And you can see why they didn't have the awareness to actually
Oh, Camiseti looking healthy. We might have the Camiseti win. It's taken long enough. It's taken long enough.
On that mountain, put themselves in a whole different spot, and that's where you see a simple decision, a small choice, left instead of right, and how it impacts your game.
Flixie Vico got a good loadout too.
You can see the only duo basically that wasn't on the congested side, I think, was Cami and Seti there. A little closer to the middle side of the zone.
We didn't see what happened to Redline Ring Chat. It looked like Aqua and Malabuka split it, which is so weird.
Flixie Vico kind of planning out.
Maybelline, New York. May I take your order? Lifter liner and gloss.
Make it a combo.
Sculpt with liner, shine with gloss. Fuller, lifted looking lips with hyaluronic acid formula. Lifter, liner, and gloss from Maybelline, New York.
This isn't a hostile takeover. This is a merger. You need me.
You need me, and I need an answer.
Then it's Peanut Butter Group and Chocolatey, 50-50.
We'll iron out those details later. We got him.
The business world was rocked today by the merger of the Peanut Butter Group and Chocolatey Corp.
It's peanut buttery, it's chocolatey, it's going to change everything.
We're bullish for Jif PVC.
We did it.
No, you did it.
Out their rotation. The issue here is, depending on where you go,
you can stream later. Yeah, of course.
You're either going to land onto 20 other duos, or you're going to go very early and have all the duos land on top of you, or you can go late and try and get a bit more elevated, but then have the potential of the duos to look back and take shots at you.
I almost think it might be worth to go late, because if you see at the far right of where the zone is going to be, there's that mountain range that we just saw on the overhead
You get that mountain, that'd be big.
Perfectly. Use the crash pad with the Flowberry Fizz. That is instant high ground, because not only does it go up towards that spot, you see there's just a whole river, a lot of water underneath that mountain, where a lot of duos will have to find some comfortability, whether they like it or not.
Nice, Tino and Skivvy. No material though. We are shambles.
Loadout, but a good position to hold off. Just one refresh could be all that they need. That impact frag to put them back in the game, as Vanyak's going to take out Video in the feed. Players now making their way towards zone with just 10 seconds left until the next one appears. If it pulls towards this hill, Jacob, that is going to be dangerous for a lot of these duos down below.
Yeah, hopefully they punch their ticket.
Ooh, Chapantini, big refresh. Come on, I got to see a Chapantini win here. Nice. When I said they're going to win game 2 or 3, chat, I didn't say which day. Actually, maybe I did.
Let's go up to 8 eliminations. Storm Surge not a worry
for
them.
Vico, Flixie take the mountain.
Flixie, they waited, they timed it perfectly. They got the mountaintop that I was talking about, but then it pulls off. It pulls a little bit off that mountain. So once again, if they delay and time this one perfectly, they can maintain their position above everybody else.
I definitely meant day 2. If I didn't say day 2 yesterday, I meant day 2, obviously.
This is actually huge for Vico and Flixie. Like you said, they're not even going to have to use too many mats to.
Ooh, Malabuka Mustache here in healthy though. We got so many good healthy teams in this. This is going to be a sick end game.
Capitalize on this position to close it out. Make sure that those duos on second height and close to them know that they're looking down below and they are healthy. As even with 390 damage above the threshold, they do not have to worry.
Thanks, chat. You guys all knew I meant day 2.
Yeah, the only big worry for them
Watch them not win now. It's on day 2 either. It's a double curse. I've extended it.
Plus, if it goes down this mountain, it's going to be harder to connect to some other teams.
Oh, Mustache's loadout not looking great, but hey, the fact we're even still in this after splitting Redline Rig, like,
300 above the damage threshold.
How do we even make it this far?
One of the worries that you have,
and we didn't get the Mythic AR.
Malabuka makes it. They reunite on the other side, and this is where I feel like champions are made. Moments like this.
Mappy, Kiro looking to see if they can connect some shots as well, but up above, the pressure is still being applied by Flixie and his duo partner.
Daniel, Swizzy's loadout on the other side.
Looking healthy,
looks much better.
Solid top tier duos still looking like they have
this could be really good endgame. Doesn't look like it's going to go to heal off either. I think this mountain's killed out the lobby a little bit. We've only got 25 alive, and holy Skybase.
He's just trying to go through unnoticed, floating through the side of the mountain.
Vanya's got the DMR though. It's going to be really hard to take high ground with the DMR. Oh. Meanwhile, Chapantini, 10 elims. We're doing it. We're doing it. This has got to be the win. I meant game 2 today. Definitely meant game 2 today. Oh, Vanya, Swizzy. I said they can't go for high ground with DMRs, but they are.
He said he knocked out of the match 10 elims as Vanyak Swizzy now. We saw them looking for it, and they've done
What is going on up here? This is so grief.
You gotta be careful. The battle is not over as Nebs looking to see.
We're okay though. We're okay. We're okay. Malabuka just went down.
Now all they gotta do is hold on.
Chapantini versus Swizzy Vanya would be so high.
He was getting attacked. Down goes
Wait, Vico Flixie's still here as well. This is such a stacked endgame.
And they have the position as well, but Vico, Flixie, they're waiting.
Oh, there's Chapantini taking it. They got such a good loadout.
Yesterday, as team after team after
Wait, they got chopped from like what? The whole thing just got chopped. What the fuck is going on? We're back up. Never mind. We're back up.
Looking like a zone wars match. There's 3.
What now? Vico and Flixie are up here. What is going on?
They thought they had it.
Full fiesta on high ground. I love it.
Back at at it again. And Vico up above. 3 eliminations, looking to get 4. Can they hold on?
4 builds though.
Teeny still just 1 layer down.
Yeah,
4 builds is not looking good. Teeny goes up for it again.
This is where the low ground teams, we saw it in that last game. They get Elam after Elam, tearing
Oh, Chap, no, they're going to drop. They got no mats. Chap and Teeny. This is so awkward though. If Chap and Teeny get dropped down, they're going to die. They run out of mats. This is so weird. Vico and Flixie have no mats either. No one has builds. Low ground has the most material.
Down to a layer to where it's easy to
Oh,
find, easy to contest,
Chap gets hit so hard. They trade. It's Teeny versus Vico. 2 of the best fraggers in the game.
Flixie's down, but Vico, can he pop
Vico has no builds.
Make it happen? Teeny is
cracked. Oh, the main kid dropped. The main kid dropped. Teeny gets it.
But he has no match.
Low ground wins yet again. Wait.
Connecting the shots up to 4.
Oh my god, the crash pad! No, that was so close. That would have been so sick. What the fuck am I watching? What's going on? Oh, Mappy Kira win. Mappy Kira win. 2v1. They played the main kids early.
Mappy out of nowhere. They were one of the teams that challenged for that high ground. They made that decision to disengage, give it up.
Mappy Kira got to win this, right?
Later, and we will take it by force. And now with a 2v1, they have it all.
Mappy Kira, but wow, what an endgame. Dude, when I saw that many good teams in endgame, I thought it was going to be crazy. I did not think it was going to be like a 9-way hype battle. That was sick. That was such a fun game to watch. The mid games are so fucking boring, but damn, the end games make up for it.
In the first match of the day, that last duo,
Mappy and Kiro, well played, well played.
Come out in the last moment. They have the player.
This is the play though. You gotta stack med kits, make it to deep end game, play the med kits early, and then come back in. Like it's 100% the play. How it keeps going.
Yeah, just even a little heal, crash pad, just in case he jumped out. That crash pad from Mappy actually forced him out of the box into the air.
Good game,
Easy
good game.
Targets for them. These guys
Height rarely winning. Height is like never winning at the moment. Height won the first couple games yesterday, but now that everyone's just full sending it, it's just, yeah. Fun to watch though, fun to watch. Also, chat again, we will be doing the V-Bug giveaways next weekend for Grands and the bingo board. And if you guys have just got here today, I talked about yesterday, but I am doing a 6-day cap subathon next week, starting with Grands. It's going to be very fun. We got some cool-ass goals. I was supposed to post it today. I'm sorry. I had a party to go to yesterday after the long stream, so I had no spare time. I'll hopefully have them for you tomorrow. It's going to be fun, though. It's going to be very fun. 2 winners are people from lower brackets? That's true. Both the winners so far came out of lowers. Very interesting.
Tira un nitro. Tenemos nitro ya. Ven. Bájate, Ibit. ¿Puedes venir a mí? Sí.
Yeah, I think Kira wasn't supposed to be in lowers, though. We had some bug or something. I did see something about that. I don't know the full context, but... And Mappy and Kira are a good team. Like, Mappy and Kira, I wouldn't call them a lowers team. Did my man just start fanning himself? Wait, he's got a Fortnite, like... Oh, my man... Oh. Is that for his hands or for his... I don't know if he's nervous or if he's just hot. Oh, that was Kiduo who had that bug. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was Kiduo. Sorry, yeah, no, you guys are right. Come on, KFI, get it together. Saying like I didn't just say the exact same thing. Idiot. Was he every subathon? This might be my last one? No. The last subathon I did, I said this was my last one for a while, and I haven't done one for over a year. Okay? Don't pull that shit on me. I did say I will not do another subathon for a while, and I didn't. It's been like 14 months, okay? I think that definitely constitutes a while. It's because it doesn't feel like 14 months ago, I guess, as well. Think Mongo Savage have a chance? We have a chance of winning a game. I don't think they will. I think they're going to quall off consistency tomorrow, but they could win. You ever do an uncapped subathon? No, I don't think so. I mean, I said I was never going to do like this long of a subathon. I said I was never going to do more than 3-day subathon, but it's because I don't want to... I hate AFKing my stream. So my brother's going to take over every night while I sleep, and the timer's going to pause, which I think is a good compromise. But to do an uncapped subathon, like one that lasts that long, you're basically committing to just having YouTube videos or like AFK like games running while you're like just not there, which I'm just not a huge fan of doing. I need to get some food, so I need some brekkie.
Va chill ya. Tira hacia atrás.
So yeah, it should be fun. I'm excited though. Oh yeah, Mpen's subathon went longer than I think he expected. So towards the end, he had to just do what he had to do to just survive. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not judging if they want to run subathons like that. Like if their audience wants to and the people subscribing don't care, then you know, I'm not judging. It's more just not how I want to run mine. How long did you get to sleep? Like 3 hours.
Top 17. 4.30 de madera. Tienes 2 balas.
Surprised he's still alive here, honestly. I kind of counted this dude out. I thought he was just dead to rights. Yeah, swag. It was a rough one, bro. I think he nabbed you with a T on 5. Yeah, so Echo, one of my favorite streamers, Flotsam. He's one of those very rare people who can function completely normally and well off 3 to 4 hours sleep. He gets 3 to 4 hours sleep every night and has for the last like 10, 15 years. Has multiple degrees, like super good vibe streamer too. So he's not like just getting through life being miserable. Like he actually functions well on 3 to 4 hours sleep. I'm so jealous. That's like a full cheat code, I swear. My bad, there's no brainer moment. Since the 6-day subathon, I feel we'll keep subbing once time to reach 6 days. It's just stop going up. What do you do subathon for 6 days? So yes, the subathon could end before 6 days. And honestly, I think it might. Like, I've got some cool goals, but keeping a subathon going for 6 days is hard. Like, very hard. I will say, I was talking to Merits about this. I do think subathons have lost a lot of what they were meant to be with a lot of people doing them these days. Like, people are now, like, really surprised if a subathon doesn't make it. Like, I'm making it so if we make it to 6 days, it'll be, like, extremely impressive. I've got some sick-ass goals to make it worth it for you guys and stuff and have fun with it. But if we don't make 6 days, I will not be surprised. Like, it's meant to be hard. But yes, if once we get to the cap, if there's any subs over that, it doesn't extend the time. That's the point of the cap, yeah. I did Conanize, shut up. What's up, Conanize? That's crazy, Mad Jax. I'm so jealous.
Challenge for high ground.
I'll give 2 subs. My boy Edgy.
But what seems to happen is
you ready for today, Edgy? It's gonna be a fun one, bro. It's gonna be a fun one.
Settle for second or even third. Because one of these sneaky duos.
I try to defend you a bit in my YouTube video, Edgy, but I don't think it's going to do much, man.
Or just kind of biding their time on the low ground. Does manage to take it in the end, Levin. Do you think that we're going to see more success from duos who play it this way?
Ready for the threads? Oh, yeah. Your socials are going to look very interesting.
Because of how crazy height is right now. Like, you can play height almost perfectly and not be rewarded for it just because, again...
No, so the timer caps at 6 days, Hunter, yeah. But I think that's the same thing.
This season, I'd say, have been sort of Vico, Flixi, Swizzy, Vanyak, Chapentini, and all 3 of them were battling it out for height towards the end there, and it was spectacular to watch, right? Because you're thinking, who's gonna come out on top? At one point, Chapentini looked like they really had the edge.
And Pens go for months. It just depends how much time you add per sub chat. Like if I made it every sub is 1 hour, then I'm streaming for fucking eternity. You know what I mean? But that's the point. You kind of got to pick an amount that makes it where getting to the cap is like really hard. So it's like exciting, you know?
Drop down, and then they let them go in front of them.
Master Booty, thanks for team over 2, dude.
Off of them, but as you said, Levin, it just seems like going for height.
Maybe, Matt. I might be able to nap between EU and NAC. We'll see, though. I'm feeling pretty good right now, honestly. And I haven't eaten yet, so I feel surprisingly good.
Everyone else wants to go for it too. There's so many problems that are being caused.
That was such an exciting end game, bro.
Ended up taking out Axe Force, which won Mappy and Hero the game. So I think it's just a difficult situation for anyone that's trying to go for height right now. But this is the kind of time when you need to go for height. Wins are what matter. 3 games left on the day. This is where height is actually coming into play. So lots of decisions to be made for these teams.
And actually, if you look at the standings, so look at Vico and Flixi, Swizzy, Vanyak, Chap, and
Ooh, Clown and Axe Force in first. Let's go.
Within the top 10 standings now. It doesn't matter
Chap and Teeny dropped up 28 places.
They're securing their place in the upper bracket for tomorrow. And probably they're going to be good for the grand finals. I can't imagine these guys not making it. And when you get to the grand finals, you know, you don't win a victory royale and automatically win the Axe of Champions.
By the way, Adelanto, what's up, homie?
You need that consistency and you need that 5 firepower and aggression that we're seeing from these teams as they try and take high ground.
I mean, you just cooked up a crazy good format, man. Let's see that. Let's just have an FNCS Grands where game one, whoever wins, that's it. You're in the championship.
One game.
Yeah, one game. Go on.
You clock off
Hey, you Gabe with a prime for 2?
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. I mean, nah.
I wouldn't mind.
You see, you know, that sort of aggression.
I wouldn't mind.
You know, Mini's right in that, like, when people in a format like this where the win's the most important thing, like you want to play for height naturally, that's how it's always been across formats like these. But the combination of the Crash Pads Juniors with the Fizz this season just make it so much more difficult to secure it once you have it.
Well, Vico and Flixie, they did naturally take height at the start of that end game when they bided their time on the mountain. They risked it, and it really paid off for the Mini Miner.
Yeah, I thought they set up really nicely here. Of course, they land next to the forecast.
Yeah,
tower,
both the 2 winners so far came out of lowest.
Where that zone's going to pull, so they can get in that favorable position. But again, they just fell victim to what seems to be the problem for high ground teams this season in this current meta, is that they just can't hold on to it for long enough. And unfortunately, no matter how early you set yourself up, no matter how many materials you seem to be able to have, no matter how much pressure you can apply to that second height team, there's always going to be a team that's going to sneak up there some way or another. So I think for these guys right now, maybe it's time to stop looking at height. Maybe it's time to play those mid to low grounds.
They're gonna people are just gonna have to start dropping back with med kits, man.
They know how to fight in these layers, so I don't think it's out of the question for these guys to not go for height.
I mean, the problem as well that they're facing is like they might get a refresh on hype.
Hey, Rock.
You just end up build fighting and wasting all the mats trying to like hold on to it, right? Whereas like again, a team of Vico and Flixie's quality, they could just frag out on mid and low and then like
that's what Chapatini were doing. It almost worked, but it's hard to keep going.
Words, maybe they should actually be playing the same game that the duos that we've seen take victory royale so far today have been playing. You know, just.
I just realized, is Frankie's eyes gray?
Bide your time.
I just realized that's fucking crazy. Does she have gray eyes?
Take that victory royale, steal it in the final moments, Mini Miner.
Yeah,
that's actually crazy.
If everyone does that, then one team's gonna.
That's really fucking cool. It must just be like super light blue, so it almost looks gray. That's cool though.
I think everyone's trying their luck every single time to be that one team.
So does Mini? I'd say Minis are more blue, but maybe it is just when you have blue eyes and you put really bright lights on them. They've got like really bright face eyes
for grand finals as well. So
that's cool though.
There's gonna be a lot more high action on the way.
I love a bit of high action, so I'm happy to hear that, Mini Miner. Let's
so does Levin.
Jacob PR and
I don't think Levin's got grey eyes.
Game number 3 on the way.
Thanks, Frankie. I'm also all about height action, but what's interesting to me is that both matches today have been won by
My child has gray eyes. It really looks cool. That's sick.
Reminder, top 30 of the lower bracket yesterday qualified to today's upper bracket. Just like
my eyes are weird because they look super brown, but they're actually mostly green.
Today we'll play in tomorrow's upper bracket, and the top 20 from today in the upper bracket will move on to the upper bracket tomorrow.
My eyes are just brown.
Let's get
That's how it goes sometimes, you know. Really auto bit. Interesting.
Time is quickly running out, and so are those auto qualifications to the grand finals by winning a game.
Red line rig already fighting.
I want to say this is going to
Red
be
line
the
rig, the hot drop
to get into the grand finals, but from what we've seen
come on,
so
broadcast.
far,
Come on, you get
on the high ground, the destruction that happens down below, it looks far from easy.
Once again.
Yeah, that's it, Elim. Yeah, I've got a ring. I've got brown on the outside, but I've got green on the inside.
Game 1, this engagement ended quite
Don't call them brown. Say they're hazel to sound super extra. Definitely didn't do that. Yeah, I've done that before too.
Didn't even end up fighting each other. They took some shots in the early game, but kind of both went their own ways further on. So we'll see if
I care so much more about the Malabuka fight, but it's fine. It's fine.
Meanwhile, Clement and his duo partner.
See if XBuzz123 Zratata wins.
Early in that last game, but
it's actually a tough name. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of love this name. So fucking troll, but I love it.
Pisses a couple of shots in there, and he gets both of those eliminations with the pistol, essentially in the Thunderburst.
W Heine.
What a good way to start off the match. 2 quick eliminations.
He goes Zratata
to continue forwards, but we saw that's not going to be enough, Jacob. We've had players with 7 eliminations before still be below the Storm Surge threshold. The job's not done. They're just getting started.
That's tough. You really don't have any builds to hold the wall. Your teammate's already trying to heal. That was actually played picture.
Getting freaky on the broadcast. What's up, Dane?
Snazy and Podesai uncontested yesterday, running into numerous opponents.
What is happening here?
Olympus. They're trying to use the advantage to break through those builds, but he just took too many shots repeatedly from both Snazy and Podesai. I like the effort for thinking outside of the box, trying to innovate there, but just didn't work out for them.
Oh, blocking the kill feed. Oh, sorry, chat. Sorry.
Yes, girl. I finally found the one. It was love at first sight. Oh my gosh. Hey, both available. Just saying.
Now that's what I want. Something 100% genuine.
You're good there, buddy.
They're talking about the BMW.
Right. Find your ultimate match. There's used, there's certified, and then there's BMW certified. Come in to see our entire lineup of vehicles at the BMW Certified Sales Event.
Nobody knew I existed, but look at all these people.
People believe Arthur Fleck to be some kind of martyr. Well, he's not.
You don't think this is me?
Rated R.
I gotta keep moving my face cam. Sorry.
Mount Olympus.
Maybe I just turn it off. I'm just gonna turn it off during the leaderboard now. I won't move it because it's like
testing each other.
Yeah, it's a little koi pond,
I'm
right?
not
It's
sure
sick.
if that trend's gonna continue throughout the whole day. But Snazy and Putasai was one of the duos that was going to be dropping there.
I totally forgot hot drops are a thing still.
We saw their domination on the high ground in the last game, but it was alongside multiple duos that just
No, the teams won't know if they're on the broadcast or not. I think they were just trolling with each other. I just happened to be on the broadcast.
Although there was so many
Muzzy Bear was team for 6.
These recent matches, he thinks it's going to stay the same.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Like one, I think the lead singer of Rise Against has that, where one eye is like blue and then one is brown. It's so cool.
Games have been won by that duo on low ground that decided to take it a bit slow. So
Vidil died. Yeah, Reason Vidil at triple con, bro. It's brutal for them down there.
Approach overall, and that's kind of the mix-up that you're seeing.
How do they get the cams by Discord? Yeah.
Necessarily be too worried.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Even if they don't win a
What's up,
game
Crib?
today, you got to think they're a lock-in through consistency tomorrow. It's two different.
It is so impressive that Aqua and Noah can still hold up this well against the region's best team, or one of the best teams. Like, they still got it, man. Chat, Aqua did the most damage of any player in lower brackets yesterday.
They also know that the medallion has not been grabbed yet. You still see it there.
My man is very back.
So they're just gathering some intel, information. What they do with that information.
Do you want to win this game?
It's all about how
I want to see one of these two teams here win, Crib, because I want them both to qual.
They're both duos.
But then again,
Noah and Aqua and
I don't know.
Merstash are still incredibly healthy. They might be thinking, hey.
Clicks is conned by Carillion. I don't know if he is, though. Carillion said he was conning Peterbot in the Duo Cash Cup finals and then swerved, so he might just be using it for clickbait, bro. He seems to like to do that. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm not saying he's not contesting him, but just because he says he is doesn't mean he is. He's known for doing that.
Playing aggressive now. All it's going to take is a solid push, but Merstash, what's gone wrong? He's been knocked down.
Malabuka 1v1 against Noah. The new GOAT versus the OG GOAT. There's actually two such good fighters. And oh, the left-hand peek. Noah's 1 HP.
Even though they did take some
Malabuka wins yet again. A tale as old as time.
But now he has to worry about getting Merstash back. And with
the
all
young
that
blood come out on top.
I think Hydro and Kaido might move into this location, especially if they see the names in the feed, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Instantly are trying to close the distance. This could be a very disastrous situation.
He's died with a 2-on-4-2.
And that's why you see him quickly trying to disengage, but he gets cut off on the other side.
We ain't rebooting this. Unfortunately, we're both going down. We're both going down.
And just take out every opportunity for him to try to escape. And I think this is where.
Oh, wait, Malabuka. Wait a second. And he shoots the crash pad. Wait, Malibu gets out. He's so good. Wait, they don't know where he went. They don't know where he went.
Not going to be able to follow us.
He's hiding. Oh, my God. Malibuka's so good and so smart. So handsome.
At the wrong direction here.
Wait, Malabuka actually pulled that off.
Not missing a single edit. Crash
such a good disengage. And now they're getting pushed by another team. Now Prede just pushing in, which gives Malabuka time to maybe pull something off.
That wants to be invited to the party as Malabuka is now making his great escape. 2 eliminations on the board from Aqua and Noah.
Hey, Chris, the prime for A?
I believe so.
Nice play by Malabuka. Wow.
He even has 2 med kits. You can see bandages in the surrounding area, so more than enough time to play zone here and recuperate the HP that he's already lost. It's going to be a slow early game.
If they win this game, I mean, hey, we've seen Malabuka do it before. We've seen Malabuka win with multiple reboots.
From where he's going to now.
Man, the bush is so much bigger on the broadcast. So much fuller when you have DX12 on.
Pixie, Cool, Voltiax, they're both uncontested, so they're probably looting up their drop spot. Maybe if they hear the reboot.
How is Vanya's busy not won yet? I guess it is just how crazy height is. Doesn't that lake heal? Not in competitive. No, the Oasis lakes don't heal in comp.
We've seen in games past. They're adapting as each and every one of these games go on.
switching on over to Podesai and Snazy.
Game looks so good on the broadcast. Still shout out Resub for that one. The GOAT, Mr. Resub.
In the surrounding area of Mount Olympus.
Pointing out to Epic. I don't know if they did this because they listen to Resub, but Resub pointed out the reason why the broadcast looked so shit wasn't actually shadows, it was lumens. And then when Epic finally turned the lumens off, oh my god, it's so much better.
I can't imagine it's a
I thought we'd never
massive
see the day that
amount of
Epic
surge
would have the
doing
broadcast
early
not
game
run
fight.
on max
It is definitely
settings.
enough to give them the confidence to kind of loot up, be more flexible.
They do heal you. Wait, do they? Wait, the Oasis does heal you in comp. Oh my bad, sorry. What did I think didn't heal you in comp? Was that which map? I swear on one of the seasons on the map they had the water not heal you in comp. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of the fucking water bending mythic. Sorry, I think I'm thinking of the water bending mythic. Yeah, my bad, my bad.
Quite a lot of aggressive starts to this match.
I should call it a
compared to
dweeb. I should
previous
call it a
ones.
dweeb.
I wonder.
Why am I more offended by that than anything?
Thomas and Queasy too have not been having the best day so far. Getting eliminated a lot right before the end game.
Yeah,
begins.
sitting in a one-tick water heal is not really worth the time it wastes anyway, though, to be honest.
On them. Hopefully this time around, RNG can be a bit more on their side.
You see how quick we were talking about it throughout the day, how quickly they rotate out of classy courts to try to get in a position to the south side of the map so they can go ahead and try to grab some sort of a cactus position for one of those surge bases. And luckily for them, it's a rotation that's going to work out for them.
Conan, I was telling Chad the other day about your Digi outfit. How's it going?
So not only they get
how's the Digi fit looking?
They're going to be ready for the next couple of zones.
I might go get some food now. I was kind of trying to find the best time to get some food. Maybe now's a good time. Let's be real. I'm not going to fucking miss anything. It's DMR surge meta. Chat, fill me in when I miss. I'm going to be 1 minute, 1 sec.
End up pulling like we saw the effect, especially on this season. When zone pulls south, the amount of damage you have to do is significantly higher to if it pulls north. So these duos that are capitalizing on the cactuses earlier on in the match before the zone continues to pull further from them will have the advantage in terms of how much damage they're able to do.
Yeah, the zone moving over in this direction. The 2 elims with the surge that they got in the early game. They're just making sure to farm up. I think you mentioned it earlier, some of these walls, the amount of material they actually get for them, 9, 11, 13. So it is going to take them quite a long time to find a farm up. But even then, there's not a lot of metal. There's not a lot of wood in this direction either. So as soon as they kind of feel confident enough with the amount of brick and the material that they have, they will try to move over and grab the next. But Firen's there. His teammates just a little bit too far away, but they just basically know that we have eyes on you. We know you're there, and every move that you make is going to come with a little bit of risk.
Red Edge and Radion. Brutal beachhead. Uncontested drop spots have been quite beneficial throughout this weekend. I mean, every single match in these upper brackets, except for one, has been won by a returning duo that has been uncontested. We talked about it earlier as well. Cammy and Seti. The duo that's played the longest time together. Basically the most tournaments as a duo. I was thinking about other names, maybe like King Phaser. I don't know, on NA. But here we have Volko and Cringe in an intense box fight.
Yeah, and I like that Volko not getting greedy after firing the first shot. Holds the wall. Making sure to play safe. Not getting a little too overzealous, biting off more than you could chew in any one of these moments, and making sure that they own all the space. They do have the cactus that is in this location, pushing Jerdy, Heine off of it. So even if they do continue this fight, Volko and Cringe will have the luxury to be able to trade shots and not have to use the resources in their inventory if they do need to heal up.
Look behind them as well for Nine and Della in their surge base with
shit,
clear
looks like
vision.
I missed all the
onto these
action.
opponents
Oh
in the box
no.
fight.
Was it mad hype chat? Was it crazy?
Zone continues to move towards south. Kind of make a guess.
Was it mad nuts? I missed all the content, all the excitement.
Sandy steps,
Didn't miss shit. Yeah, sounds about right.
Ridge style zone. As Volko and Cringe continue to target out their opponents.
Dude, we're so lucky the end games are exciting. Can you imagine these went to heal off end games? Like, can you imagine after all this we went to straight fucking mid to heal off?
They have that decision in the back of their minds. And I do think they do. It's probably not worth the chase here, at least not just yet, knowing they got to rotate in a couple seconds anyway.
Looking at Swizzy, Vaniac, and Camiseti. Vaniac's been fully cracked. I assume he has a cactus though, so this is deja vu
even
from last
Tokat,
match.
you can even tell
Same
Tokat is
exact
so bored.
position. They can overpeak like we've mentioned previously and just heal up with those cactuses. So trying to do as much damage as possible here. Just kind of take shots, receive shots, take shots, receive shots, heal up. Nathan and CZB though, one of the most
Mikado seems to be really
second place on the leaderboard, not including the players that secured a victory.
Getting closer to subscribing. Take shots, heal up, get shot, take shots.
I believe CZB and Nathan are currently bottom half of the leaderboard today. 0 points after 2 matches. So hopefully they're going to be able to get a victory royale, because if they don't even get top 25, they won't make upper bracket.
I feel like at the
tomorrow.
same
They'll be
time,
stuck in lowers, which is 3 matches as their only opportunity to make.
I feel like if the
grand
broadcasters
finals.
have to multiple times each game,
It's almost like opposites.
discuss
Vico
why
and Flixie
players
and
are
CZB and
like
Nathan.
not worried about
CZB and
taking
Nathan, as
damage,
the
it
day
might be a
started
problem.
Yesterday, they were performing actually pretty well. 3rd place, 4th place, and 9th place after. But those next 2 games, they slowly but surely kind of fell down. On the other side, 23rd, 15th, and then they started to pop off with a 6-9.
He's got an NFL offer.
Don't play with me.
Think I'm gonna take it.
NFL. Aren't you a little too old to be playing football?
Wait, what?
They want somebody that can run a 40, not somebody that is 40.
New customers score this great offer and a month of NFL Plus Premium.
With Flonase, allergies don't have to be scary. Spraying Flonase daily gives you long-lasting, non-drowsy relief. Psst, psst. Flonase, all good.
9th and 12th for Vico and Flixie. So if they can continue the momentum of where they ended in day 1, how they
You're
started
going to the
here in
back-to-back
day 2,
6-month
I
gift
could
to
definitely see
Bongo
them
and
punching their
Charlie.
ticket
Thank
to the
you,
grand
Conas. Holy
finals here
shit.
today.
Thank you, bro.
It's also another team you can't be too worried about, especially with how consistent they're playing.
Take a look at this. Malibuca's done it. Murstache did go down in the early game engagement, and somehow Malibuca escaped the pursuit of Haijo and Kaido, so now they're back
The
in
fact that
business.
Malibu gets moustache up
200
again is
effective
crazy.
HP and shield. Rift Island in sight, very close to
I always
them.
go with 7 lads. I'm one of those guys, man. I'm a prime number
Let's
guy.
see how this one plays
Oh,
out.
good shot.
It's over towards
Wait,
Brawler.
Malibu, I can't believe Malibu got out of that
Should go
spawn
towards
fight.
the west side somewhere, whether it's south or north of that west side. We'll find out in the next couple of zones. You see how important it is for teams as they quickly go up towards that Rift Island. It doesn't give you points anymore, but you get a good amount of loot. You get Flowberry Fizz, you get that mythic hand cannon, which we've already seen since its inception that it can deal and pack a punch. Some players even opting not to take any sort of AR or scoped weapon because they deal so much damage, especially if you're one of those players that can hit shot after shot with it.
Making use of the materials on Rift Island. Always want to be doing something in these matches.
what did
Whether it be
Conas
farming,
do?
looking for tags, looting up, anything you possibly
Oh my
can.
god. Damn it,
Chapatini.
Conas. I knew you were involved, but I didn't realize you were giving out
Once
subs
again,
for it, bro.
We know that they like to play for that forecast tower.
Yo, Aspect,
Now,
needs to prime for
though,
11,
staying
dude.
a bit further back in zone and seeing if they can.
Who are those game on winners? Like, I've never heard those names except
645.
Hizik, which I've heard like once. They're just, yeah, I know what to tell you, bro.
Kind of
I know them.
or not.
Enderpoozo and
They
Hizik's
do
are
have
really
a
good, man.
launch pad, so I guess they're trying to figure out if it's worth it or not with the amount of duos that know that they're going to try and launch pad. But take a look at this. Malibuca Murstache right back in action.
Yeah, they already got a knock on one. This is
Why
how
do
you
I
have to
feel
pick
like
me up
this is the game that
performance
Mustache
after what
Malibuca
happened in the
wins?
early game. They're 561
Like, this would be
above the
such a
damage
Mustache
threshold.
Malibuca win, too.
And they snatch away that body trying to get the loot. Let's continue to inch forward. They get the information where that player's at, but I know them. They're not going to get too greedy here in
Yo,
this
Vinta,
situation.
thanks for prime, man.
Fall back
Yo,
for
what's
the
up,
loot, reassess
PG?
the situation
Congratulations,
before they continue
PG.
to push forward
You're
in this game.
officially... What,
They have
actually,
multiple
weren't you already an
options here.
Elden Lord?
They
What
have
does
the
this make
Nitro
you?
rings all around,
Either
the
way,
Rift
chat, if you
below
don't
the
know,
island, and
Deadly
if they feel
PG just
daring
managed to
enough,
beat the
you know
Elden
they're
Ring
one of the teams
DLC
that will
with voice
go up
controls.
towards Rift Island
My
eventually.
man beat
They can't use the
Radahn
launch pads
after
up
getting
above.
Radahn to like one hit twice as well.
Quick replay of how Malibuca was able
How
to
many
close out this
deaths
fight
was it?
quickly.
PG.
Nice couple shots connecting, just enough.
I did, PG.
Take out his opponent. Yo-yo. And
Very
Rookie
impressive, dude. Good shit,
deciding to
man.
play kind of the slower route in zone, but they have just picked up a couple eliminations as well, so they have to rotate in now, though. Issue is, if you look at the corner of that zone, the edge of the zone, there are duos kind of based up, and if they're aware of the positioning, they
What's up, Soham?
actually look back at them as they try and rotate in.
650, bro. That's some mental fortitude, man. Good
The
shit.
zone has pulled away,
Major
so
respect.
those duos on the edge will have to rotate in. but so will they from the zone, so it's going to be difficult either way.
Yeah, I think this time around it might be including just a little bit of Rift Island.
Yo, RLDB, thanks for tier 2 for 7, bro. RLDB.
Go ahead and use the Nitro Ring going around and make sure they go the right direction as well. Just a little bit of a hiccup there, no worries. And this is going to ease the pressure of their rotation. See how quickly they're flying across the land. And they're going to even overtake a lot of teams on this rotation, which benefits them because now they're going to be able to look back, try to target out anybody that can. Gears and Charis are trying to do the same to them while they have that opportunity, because there's more teams that are following suit, 2, 3 more teams right behind them that they're going to have to worry about.
A lot of teams around here. It's going to be a very interesting zone, all in the open, all desert zone. I wonder what that's going to mean for the winner.
75 players are still up here in the 5th zone.
I mean, Surge is going to be super high.
From Storm Surge does come in 6th and 7th zone, though, so a little bit more time to think about it. You can see how big of a change there was. Nibs and Kiddo, what were they, like 420 above or something? And now instantly dropped to only 124 above. They've quickly positioned themselves around a cactus, though, so now they can go out, peek some opponents, and even if they get tagged, they can heal right back on up.
I feel like the only thing they have to worry about is the team is below on Surge, boxes up next to them. And you see them trying to rotate on out. They make a quick pit stop before they make it to zone. And that's a good refresh because they're already on their way there. They have the Nitro because they went through the
cheering
ring,
on.
so
I'm full team Malibuca Mustache in game chat. I'm full fanboying.
Next couple of zones, 74 above.
Malibuca Mustache win this game.
Not a full feeling of confidence, but at least they know they can get
another Malibuca reboot clutch
and positioning first before they're now forced to worry about that Storm Surge.
Just 51 above. Big pot is going to be put to good use here, as now they're going to have to start looking for tags. Although they're above, it's still a desperate situation. As you can see how fast it can change. Down to 3, back up to 40.
Now you're good, PG. It's really weird that with the current meta PG, everyone is full cycling each other on height. Meaning there's usually underrated teams who just play medkits early who then steal the win. Like you've got like, you know, you've got like your Vico and Flixie going against Chat, TD, Swizzy, Fanyak, Malibuca Mustache, all just griefing each other on height.
I don't know how you
and then usually an underrated team just comes out and takes the win by playing slow on low and mid. So pretty soon these top tier teams are going to stop going for height, honestly. Because no one is winning off height right now.
Survive this, which isn't going to be easy, especially when the one team next to you is Vico and Flixie, who quickly get on out with that Nitro Ring. Just gotta hope that Cola is gonna be worth it because he's actively taking damage from Storm Surge. Uses the
385 below. Good God.
So that way he can try to push into their box. But even if it's one person, a solo, that's not gonna be enough damage. He has to hope he gets the elimination. And there's a bunch of med kids and heals that get dropped because of it. Might as well put him on the clock.
50 players. Literally a timer ticking down for Volko here.
He's looking for anyone, bro, and he can't even find. This is so sad.
Takes out 3 players in a matter of an instant, but anything's possible. Pickaxe coming through, looking to connect an angle. It was on Thomas HD, but he's disengaging now. Volko, 1 shot away, 1 tick away from getting eliminated.
They never communicate though, do they, Red Bull? Down. Like, I don't think the no communication.
I feel like that's been the story of like Thomas and Queasy. Either they're down on Surge or somebody else is down on Surge and goes and tries to fight him. Another example there as they fall 69 below the damage threshold. Forced to rotate, and they're one of the last teams to rotate in, and that's going to be beneficial because they land a sneaky shot onto Nathan, helping with their Storm Surge total. But you see it's not going to be a lot, which means they're quickly going to continue to fall down that threshold of Storm Surge.
I would love to see Thomas and Queasy win a game soon as well.
I don't even know if that's luckily, Jacob. Just a matter of time before they're below once again. And just like that, 7 below in an instant. Thomas HD forced into desperation once again, trying to connect
the
shot,
fact that Thomas and Queasy can't even stay above Surge.
Now Queasy has been completely cracked.
While getting a Surge plant is just crazy to me.
20 HP as they're forced to heal back up now and use the remainder of their shields.
Yeah, I think the thing they might be looking for is a cactus on the ground, anything that they can get their hands on, but blessings did come their way. Zone does pull in their direction. Half and half over towards Redline Rig, where a good portion of the lobby is already there, but most of the players still need to find their footing inside of the zone, and they need to do it quick because the sooner and more they fall behind, they're going to have to battle against every other player gatekeeping them out, and the zone that's going to start to hurt a lot of players.
Significant amount of the lobby has to rotate into Storm as well, or into Zone, better said. It's an East pull, going back to Redline Rig potentially. They have 1 minute now to make their rotation. as Storm Surge for this 7th
Pretty much,
zone is
P-Mook, yeah.
activated
Or you just have to be
once
way
again.
better
Even
at getting
more
your surge
damage
without
has to be
taking
dealt.
damage in return.
I like Chapantini's position, though. They have a great line of sight of the opponents in the surrounding area, even though...
This is a good rotate here. This is a great rotate, actually.
Yeah, 8 players need to go down.
Fantastic
in this zone,
rotate.
And then even after that, it's going to continue with 4
Cammy and Seti are
more. So you
weak
gotta
in
make
there,
sure you
too.
Continue to stay above the damage threshold. Chapantini, 116. They're focusing on their rotation. They do have the forecast tower. So that's leading a lot of their strategy.
Teams have the same issues with Surge on NA? Yeah. On every major region, they will anyway.
It's going down. That's Pohawa and Comeback making their rotation as well. Thomas HD and Queasy have been able to
Thomas is
recuperate
still below,
their
bro.
shield.
What?
A little low on
Oh
HP,
my god,
but
this is insane.
not too far behind on damage. A couple more
Thomas
shots
has
is
a
all
good
it
DMR with a
should
good
take.
scope as
Only
well, so they
44
can't even
players
like...
up now.
I don't know if what Queasy has, but this is
being used down
crazy.
below. That's a sign of weakness. And one of the best opportunities they're going to get.
These
You see
south
they're
zones are
not getting
genuinely
over-aggressive. They're
unreal.
not tunnel visioning on this damage. They're experts. They've been here in this situation before, but they got to start to act quick. 111 below the damage threshold.
Oh my god,
It's
this
not
is
a
so
position you
sad
wanna
to
be,
see.
especially now
How
that
much
Storm
damage
Surge
have they
is
done this
active.
game?
You've fallen 116 below. Once that avalanche falls, it will continue to get worse and worse and worse. And now
Oh
they
my
met
god,
against
this is so
Podesai and
frustrating.
Queasy. They're trying to get into the box with the nitros, but there's just too much health on the wall. And now with Queasy going down, Thomas is in just a worse and worse spot.
Queasy went all in, but there's still 6 below.
And we're dead.
Thomas
Wow.
now is on the clock, and Snazy's going to be the one to put it to an end. 6 eliminations
firing the
for
Queasy
Snazy,
tweet? I
but they're
mean,
just getting started.
Maybe. But he's getting a plant as well. Like
60
Queasy and
of them
Thomas
so
are hitting the
far.
nitro
Crash
ring and
pad
getting
play
to a
already
plant.
lining
So I
up
just
with the Flowberry Fizz, staggering themselves long enough so that when they do make it onto the other side, the zone has opened up and they can quickly continue to move
Cammy's
in
still going.
position.
I see no
Everybody
Seti.
else not
Teeny
having
Chap's
that
still
easy
healthy
rotation.
though.
We've seen a couple players going down on the
Swizzy
side.
Vanya
Bella's
will
gonna
be healthy
left
if
by
Vanya doesn't
himself,
die
and
here.
Swizzy and
They
Vanya
got the
getting
meds.
exchange with one of them down to just about 50 HP, but Swizzy is trying to alleviate that pressure, push that team further and further back, buy time for Vanya to heal.
This is 8th zone. We're going to move into moving zones here shortly. We saw a lot of
That
aggression.
bug.
Finally, I could eat my Stonefire Naan.
Naan? What's that?
The delicious fluffy flatbread?
What?
Tony doesn't know Stonefire Naan is delicious fluffy flatbread.
He's never had delicious fluffy flatbread a day in his life.
Enough talk about delicious fluffy flatbread.
Stonefire Naan. Bread you gotta know about.
For the high ground in these previous matches, will we see a repeat of that? Are these players?
I mean,
going to
surely
try
they're going to
once
stop
again?
giving up high
Swizzy
ground.
Vaniac
Surely they're
being
going to
one
start
of the
giving up
duos
high ground and
that
just chilling
played
and
for it
leaving
in
it,
the most
right?
Recent match, no success for that victory royale just yet, but this could be the one.
Yeah, Kiddo and Nebs, all that loot. They just picked up a big elimination onto Teeny, leaving Chap by himself. And we can see how that elimination came to fruition. Just a huge crash pad sneak attack. They
Teeny
boxed
down.
Teeny
Well,
up. Don't even give a
oh my
saving
god,
chance
bro.
for Chap to
It
make
is so
that.
hard to get these wins. Definitely annoying, but it's skillful. Nah, this surge meta is not skillful, bro. I'm sorry, man. It's definitely not skillful.
Northwest,
This is probably the least skillful surge meta we've ever had.
A lot of these players now have to decide what's their game plan. For Chap, though, he's lost his duo partner, so it's going to be tough.
Yeah, especially with that whole team. They spot you out. They see you're a solo trying to farm up scraps. Say, hey, this guy must be weak. Let's try to get in the box.
Uppers Aussie, what do you expect? Nah, bro. If you look at who's already qualified off these wins, bro, this is not what anyone would expect from Uppers. I understand how the format works. But the fact that we still have no Swizzy through, no Chap, no Malabuka,
but it will be zone
no
after zone
Queasy,
that he has to try to survive.
no Cammy,
here. No opportunities given just yet.
so many big
now that
teams.
he has to rotate zone on his back. It's going to get
Chap
even
shotgun
harder
doesn't
and more
shoot.
risky, but he found a quick drop onto Cammy. Misses that opportunity.
Less skillful
and now
last
he has
season?
to
Oh,
try
hell
again.
yeah.
Unfortunately, was not.
Chat, this is the least skillful surge move we've ever had.
Chap, though, still has a decent amount of material.
Without a
All
doubt.
he's missing is that little bit of damage, and even
It's
though
the most,
he
like,
connected the shotgun shot, still
map
87
based. Like if
below.
you
Pressure's
get the
on him
plants
now.
and you get the
Eyes on
DMR,
him
you get
as
the
he's
surge, you know.
forced
No
to pop a
Vico,
cola.
like no Vico,
Falling
like it's
further
crazy.
below that threshold, but if you look at the sky, Swizzy,
Oh, Swizzy Vanya.
Stacey, Podesai, even Nebs and Kiddu are waiting for that opportunity to jump forward. We've seen these high grounds battle all day long today so far and yesterday, where sometimes they wait for the 11th zone, that perfect opportunity where they think their opponent is out of mats to try to take charge. Vanya and Swizzy, they see it coming every opportunity. Podosai launching himself through the sky. They get a couple of quick shots, but nothing to start to feel confident on as the zone moves on over and they connect.
Chap is still going solo, bro.
Can't be too
so
safe
good.
on height. We've seen what's happened in the previous matches. Swizzy Vanyak are gonna try and hold on, but 11 zone is when retakes can't happen. Chap has done an amazing job so far as playing it out as a solo. Every single moving zone, he has not had his duo. 3 eliminations already picked up. 31.
He can still win this. He can win this.
He gets cracked. This could be the end.
Yeah,
I want to see what's happening on high ground, though.
Nice opportunity there, but he does have 55 on the Flowberry.
They must have done like a survey of like audience that watches the broadcast, and they said that they really like watching solo clutches.
Have a chance to replenish any of that HP, and with pressure from above, he's scrambling around. Malibuca and Mustache, they're just trying to bull rush their way through these builds, not necessarily for the elimination, but just to overtake people on position.
5 elims, 8 elims, they're not going to win again. Ooh, Snazy Podosai, 7 elims on Snazy. The Frenchies could be doing it. Oh, no.
Snazy, it's Podosai. Incredible amount of eliminations.
Harry just falls in.
Duo, but they just have to close it out. Jerry goes down. Giro's now left alone. Can Snazy and Podosai clean this one up?
We've seen duos make wonders happen from the low ground, especially.
I think this could be a win. 9 teams, 11 players. They wanted 2 duos. Wait, there's only 2 duos. Wait, they win. Oh, wait, never mind. Healthy Swizzy Vanya. Wait, this is going to be so good. Snazy versus Swizzy. It's got to be a 2v2 between those two, right?
Nothing to worry about at all. They have the 3 medkits, clear-cut win condition.
Gentle Maids versus Gentle Maids. Nikov is about to have a heart attack.
They're so high up. I don't think you can get there, even with the crash.
Nikov's about to be losing his mind.
What's going to happen on the low ground? We know there's a full duo down below. The players that are slowly going to run out of materials are going to come crashing down and fight Podosai and Snazy. But in the meantime, Swizzy and Vanyak have free reigning from above to
Oh, Vico's still there, though. We could have a solo clutch, but I think it's going to to be Vanya. Yeah, it's got to be a Vanya Swizzy, Podosai, Snazy, right? Oh, Podosai's so weak. We got 3 medkits though. Snazy wins. Surely Snazy plays the medkits. Oh no, Mats though. They're not going to win. Maybe? Wait. Playing the medkits early. Playing the medkits really early. 2v2. It's going to be our first actual heal off, is it?
2v2. High ground.
Oh, never mind. Swizzy drops down. He has no SMG, only a shotgun.
Trying to play disruptor. Great shot on the Podosai.
He misses.
Snazy in the zone.
He dies the zone.
A little bit early.
Wait, Swizzy can't get to him.
Swizzy is just trying to go ahead and
Swizzy can't get to him. Swizzy went the wrong way. Went the wrong way. Who has more medkits? I think Vanya wins. Gentle Mates versus Gentle Mates.
Who has more medkits?
Nikov is losing his mind right now.
For Vanya.
Snazy loses, the Frenchies lose. Vanya and Swizzy finally qualify. And we get our first heal off of upper bracket.
Do it again. They advance to the grand final.
Also, that means high ground works, though. High ground actually works.
It was going to be day 1, but day 2 is when Swizzy and Vanya take it home.
I'm not going to say I'm happy to see the heal off, but I'm glad one of the really good teams made it through. Look at that. When 10 teams don't go for high ground, look what happens.
Is what granted them that golden ticket.
Yeah, they ran out of builds there.
Oh, you're right. Now we can play the skin cup.
Last moments. They weren't
very smart timing. Swizzy and Vanya were just waiting until the skin cup started. That's smart. That's smart.
They get the first of 2 eliminations, and luckily they didn't have heals on the other
side. What's the reason on the deal? They get triple con, man.
What I love to see are these returning duos. The chemistry built between these players are what's leading them to the victories.
Okay, I love the green screen, like Fortnite background settings. Why did they pick some shitty building? Am I the only one? Like, I love when they normally do it and it's like cool ass scenic spots. Why are we just in the basement? Like, why do we pick some shit ass basement with like just a chest and some barrels? Like, we got so many places on the Fortnite map we could be, and we just picked like a basement. Surely we do it in like the pirate ship or something for the new update, right? Come on. I know I'm focusing on the wrong thing here. It's really not that important, but it's just like, it's kind of bugging me. That's Sandy Steps Tunnel. Well, chat, I mean, it would be kind of cool if we did some form of Fortnite geoguessing on the subathon. That would be a cool concept. Actually, Mary, so I asked you about that. Is there like a version of, is there like Fortnite GeoGuessr like Battle Royale like there is regular GeoGuessr Battle Royale? I know you responded, but I totally forgot the answer. Sorry. There is? Wouldn't it be really cool if we did something like that with prizes potentially? Wouldn't that be cool, chat? Wouldn't that be fun? Maybe give everyone a chance to join in and you win if you win prizes for doing well. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Is there a way that I can like spectate it if I get knocked out, or is that not how that works?
What?
Surely I can like spectate it out, right?
Hay que dar,
It's not knockout as a... There he is? It's just leaderboards? Oh, that's perfect. That's fine then. Wait. Wait, I'm confused, Amaris. Is it not going to work the way I want it to?
88.
Tenemos que rotar.
Tiro nitro.
No, espérate. A estos en cuanto.
It's not a knockout system. Oh, wait. Oh, it's just leaderboard. So you all play... Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. So wait, so you all play, but there is a winner at the end, right? It's just whoever gets more points? Because that's still... Okay, that works. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Creo que vamos a tener que hacer
Awesome, W. All right, cool. That'll work perfectly. That'll work perfectly.
Ukra, ponte Kami.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Aquí al meter,
that'll work.
¿vale?
That'll work.
Ven. Lo hacemos aquí.
Vete, Risket, vete.
Hay que sacar el surge, Ukra.
Yeah, and I can just... I mean, I'll probably guess just for the fun of it, but... Hell yeah. Because, yeah, Fortnite GeoGuess is actually fun.
Hay que sacarlo, tío. Otra puta vez.
Oh, my fish slides are coming on. It's 3 a.m.
Aquí van a volar.
Morning, fishies.
Cierra, bro. Tómate esto, ven.
Unfortunately, I haven't had time to fix the middle light of my fish tank. This middle light here is off. That's why it's kind of darker than usual. Only 2 of the lights are working. It disconnected randomly the other day when the electrician turned the power off.
Mi wall.
Time is good. It's 3 a.m. for me.
14 por encima. Dropea. Está aquí a la derecha.
Vale, cuidado, pues entonces tienen el pick, bro.
Estamos en sus
Voy
wheels.
a tirar atrás.
Cuidado que estás en sus wheels por ahí, bro.
22, sí.
I've never realized that's a fish tank. What? What do you think it was?
Atrás.
Ponte Kami.
Okay, I don't know why I keep watching Loas then boring myself. I'll watch this end game and then we'll go back to the main broadcast. The Loas for NA was fun, but Loas for EU is not as many names as I'm used to. Like,
Me he puesto full de todo, bro. Full de todo. Tiro nitro, ¿vale?
Espérate.
Aku's definitely looking amazing and sad he's being conned by the best new gen team. Well, he's choosing to con.
Ven por derecha, ¿vale?
I would say he's choosing to con the best new gen team. You got to remember, Malabuka and Mustache have already made LAN. So, like, if anyone's looking at that drop spot and saying one's contesting the other, it's definitely Aqua and No Rally choosing to contest Malabuka Mustache.
Un loot delante. Lo pillo.
He's doing well, Chill. He's doing well.
Cuidado. Están abierto, ¿vale? Están
Actually, I can't see Patrick. It means he's sleeping on the core right now, which means he's very happy.
¿Has pillado cosas?
Sí. Yo creo que me ha rentado. ¿Tienes más esto para ti?
Aquí están spameando a uno,
No abras. Párate.
Ok.
Dame mitad piedra.
There's like no one in Lows right now. It's so boring. Yeah. I'm probably back. Honestly, I think we're just gonna watch the broadcast. I'm just gonna watch the broadcast and fill time in between. Oh, I probably should have done that because once uppers ends, then there's lowers still going. Whatever, it's fine. We'll figure it out later.
And it seemed like
that'll be a later's problem.
Swizzy and Vaniac had the freest height of the day. They seemed to play it really well.
They did have the freest height of the day.
Height, nobody even had a chance to go up and crash pad onto them. So really nicely played more often than not.
Yeah, they sort of playing a high.
No,
Mr.
Brown, no.
People playing at the start of the season almost, where when we had fists in the game, or at least in competitive.
How long was the break till NA? The break between EU and NA today is 1 hour shorter, but it's still quite long, unfortunately.
It would have been pretty difficult for people to catch them.
The break between EU and NA today is.
There were a lot of teams who were like looking decent to be able to provide. Like Malabuka Mustache had good
it's still about 3 hours. 2.5 once all the games end. But yeah, 2.5, 3 hours.
Getting to the stage where they're like,
it's not that bad. I probably should stay live the whole way through, shouldn't I?
Already, so Swizzy and Maniac benefit from that. The reigning champs back in FNC.
Think you real up with the Prime?
Do you think that's why we saw a bit less action on
the deal reason landing brutal now? Ooh.
Because lower ground
they've switched their job to brutal. Okay.
These duos are now going, right, we're just going to fight each other undercover, not give the guys up top any opportunity to take shots, and we're just going to fight amongst ourselves, I guess you could say, as Snazy and Podosai nearly managed to capitalize on Levin.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, nice, Zay. Congrats on the new job, homie. Thanks for 1,000 biddies.
Pulls there towards the end, right, going in and out of red line. I think some of the teams that maybe would have went up for it just weren't stacked enough to. Some of the teams that were stacked enough to, again, just opted to play lower down below. Snazy and Podosai being one of those teams. And, you know, when we were talking in, behind the scenes, Frankie, you said this is the best I've seen them play in ages, right? And it definitely did feel that way. They were, playing like Snazy and Podosai of yesteryear, and it was fun to see them sort of cooking up there. But again, unfortunately, not to get the win against a very good Vaniac and Swizzy.
Yeah, and it's been a decent.
What's up to you, Liam? What's up to you, man?
They've kind of gone under the radar a little bit, but they've had some solid Cash Cup performances. They've been one of the teams.
Are you feeling good, Red Bull? I've actually only had like a few mouthfuls because I wasn't sure whether I was going to end after EU today and kind of like sleep and come back. But I think I'll just stay live the whole time and then just get a really big sleep tonight. Like I'm talking like 10 hours sleep tonight, hopefully.
The only way's up now for this duo, so hopefully they'll be able to find some more success in the last couple of games because they definitely have the potential to.
Well, they're in 11th now,
due to the prime for
so
29.
they just went up 21 places. If they can keep up the performance, have another solid one in the next couple of games, then we should see them in the upper bracket tomorrow. Or who knows, maybe they'll get themselves a victory royale. I have to say, a player who's really been standing out for me today has to be Malibuka Mini Miner, winning that 2v1 off spawn versus Noah and Aqua.
That was very crazy.
He was able to reboot Mustache, and he's had some fantastic solo endgame moments.
Of course, Shaky, of course.
Game,
never too old to enjoy some competitive Fortnite.
Really well. It's nice to see Malibuka doing well. He's always been one of those players that has the solo pop-off potential. If you look at all the players individually in this,
What's up, Frankie? It was good. Yeah, the party was good.
Best at it, doing solo clutch and stuff. We've spoken about it so many times, and this game was nice to see. It was nice to see that even though they had their backs against the walls at the beginning of the game, they still managed to clutch up, make some sort of an end game out of it. But in this format, some sort of an end game out of it is not enough at the moment. They need to try and find out how to win. Luckily for them, one of the high ground teams of Swizzy and Vanyak have already gone through, so maybe that gives them the green light to try and go out for themselves.
Would you like to see some interesting numbers?
Oh, I like interesting numbers.
Sure.
What does that sound like? Good? Good to you, Levin?
Yeah, I didn't hear you again like earlier. I'm not being rude. I'm not ignoring you, but yeah,
it's okay.
Wait, what is Levin just sleeping? What's
numbers
happening?
Sound tantalizing, and to be fair, I could have done a better job of it. But this is a summary from today's action so far in terms of stats. Headshot accuracy, Vanyak. That's
headshot accuracy 6%. Is that
Nebs with the damage
Are we celebrating
ratio?
that? I guess so.
Maybe more of a surprise to me. I don't know. Are you shocked by that number?
Got to put some respect on Nebs, man. This is
2.7 damage ratio is really good,
right? Like Mini said at the start of the day. Like,
well, that's because they're not dropping a plant, so they have to actually hit their shots without getting shot back.
Yeah, high damage outputs, and
everyone else gets to just trade. He doesn't get to trade.
So not too surprised with that one.
I'm looking at chat there as well. 12 eliminations. That means that Teeny has 4. They have 16 total. So chat today has been really performing incredibly well, much like Malibuka in that team. Even in the end game,
what's your go-to energy?
Up as many placements as
Red Bull every time, bro. I love Red Bull.
Ultimately, that's not what's going to matter to them right now. They're going to be secured for tomorrow. So they just have to play for this win. And I think the fact that Swizzy and Vanyak had a really nice game on height there was down to the fact that chat was a solo. I think if Teeny was alive, it would have looked a lot different up on height.
I was about to ask you just that, Mini Miner. Is it because chat was solo, so he was just like, I'm just gonna get some limbs here, but I'm not gonna risk things against the likes of Swizzy and Vanyak. However, as you point out, these guys are now in the grand finals. We're not going to see Swizzy and Vanyak again, at least this weekend, I have to say. So, Chap and Teeny, are they our new high ground kings of this lobby, Levin?
You'd put them up there. Yeah, there's a couple teams that have been vying for that spot, but Chap and Teeny will definitely be probably highest on that list, yeah.
Yeah, Bruce will reach out on Con now as well. So let's see who ends up going there. Maybe teams will switch things up. Maybe some of the north side teams will think, actually, you know what, we need to get on in the south side party here.
Get on the cactus.
Yes, basically.
Let's see who is going to
get
have
on a cactus
party in the end game of game number 4, because we are ready
to
11
seems
with Jacob PR after cut.
Thank you so much, Frankie. Look, we gotta take a second to talk here, Jacob. Right now, there's 2 matches left to be played out. 3 have already been played. So that means the cutoff to make upper bracket tomorrow is top 23. You know who's there right now, Jacob? It's Cami and Seti at 54 points. We'll see if they can do it. The battle bus is ready. Let's get into the second last match of the day.
Thank you, Rooks, to the prime 15. Thank you, dude.
Saying that right there, you just saw the worry on my face, the nervousness, the anxiousness.
Yeah, Cami and Seti dropping down to lowers would be big.
Make it through? They're literally on
that could be really rough.
2 games left, and it's a team that I feel like we all thought, even people in the chat, the community making their predictions, that they would be a lock to at least win a game. And now they're in danger.
Oh, Cami and Seti winning a game is always tough. They're more consistent without wins, depending on the meta.
First, Clement was tired of spending time in this early game engagement, going on the roof, farming the
8
chest.
points,
Said,
damn.
You know what?
Wasn't Clement having a rough one?
Nothing. Let's see who picks up those weapons first. And just
I
like
wonder if
that,
Reason
some
of a
quick
deal got
eliminations,
Uncon Brutal,
but
because honestly,
back
Reason
once
of a deal,
again,
Uncon
Jacob,
Brutal could win this
at Red
game.
Line Rig.
Surprisingly enough, I feel like Mustache and Malabuka have been doing just a little bit better in some of these games without the medallion, without the mythic weapon. They still haven't been able to push far enough to get that big win. High ground's going to go to Noah Riley and Aqua. Low ground's going to go to Malabuka and Mustache. And
probably Uncon, yeah, I don't think they'd be Uncon, but maybe.
That went in way of Malabuka and Mustache. Game 2, same, or game 3, I should say, the same results.
The only game that was like a very fast engagement was the first one. Since then, they've been taking a bit more time to actually complete this fight.
Oh no. Not good for Noah and Aqua. Then again, maybe.
Aqua's been
Shield has the shotgun. Noah could win this.
Malabuka both incredibly low, just one shot away from being knocked down. The issue is if Noah gives them some time to breathe.
Gets the tag on a Malabuka. 1v1 down. Noah can win this. Noah has the advantage, I'd have to say.
Initial knock, Noah now has the advantage.
Yeah, it's only 2 builds though on the side of Noah. Mustache is just scrambling around trying to stay alive.
We can't find Malabuka. He didn't see him.
For that elimination, but Malabuka is crawling away. That Siphon match, that is crucial amount of materials.
Oh, Mustache is looking all right here.
Meet Vita the Vet and her transforming vet clinic playset. The vet is in. With music and sounds and so many play pieces, you and Vita can care for everyone in the vet clinic. New Vita the Vet clinic playset. Batteries not included. Other sets and figures each sold separately.
Nothing scary about Energizer Ultimate Lithium, the #1 longest-lasting AA battery.
As a new mom of 2, I'm so glad that I found the world's first 3-in-1 child shield by Energizer. It's the only coin lithium battery with 3 safety features designed to keep our kids safe.
Real fruit, real joy.
Oh, Mustache, this is huge for Mustache. Oh, but Noah gets straight in. Oh, damn. Noah with the aggression.
Noah's take them down. Mustache and Malabuka are
Noah and Aqua might be able to win this game.
Back and forth between these two duos. You can see how difficult it can be being contested, which is why
Surge was so high last game. 1,557 damage was the Surge threshold knock-in. You had to do over 1,500 damage to not get hit by Surge last game.
Not including the winners. They're technically third place right now. But I might have just spoken.
Dude, I don't know how any team who isn't on the south side of the map is competing at all. I genuinely don't understand. Like, how do you manage to keep up with that without a cactus?
I was preparing to have a whole spiel of how much they needed it. They got 4 points going into this game, and immediately Kaido and Hydra. It's almost the same thing.
Reason of a deal dead in the kill feed? Oh no, I didn't see that. Looks like they were. Oh, yep, they were. Conda, Brutal, Beachhead. Are we dying to the boss? We almost died to the boss. After beating down Reason of a deal.
Swizzy and Vanya gone. You see another team moving over. Finn and Kenty trying to take Brutal Beachhead for themselves.
Looks like they're going to be able to do it too. I got scared a little bit. Maybe the NPC was going to take them out.
The problem is the harder the Surge trading gets, the more teams that like are going to start doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Should be a pretty easy cleanup.
There's going to be a lot of Fortnite pros who maybe were on the side of like, yo, I don't want to like.
You were saying, Jacob.
I don't know. We'll see.
CZB Nathan, our leaders from yesterday, basically down in 48th place. Noah Aqua in 46th.
So without Cacti, Surge will be nearly this high, right? Oh, not even close, bro. This is just purely because you can literally just get shot and shoot back and lose nothing. And they put all of the cacti in the same spot, so you just find someone else on a cactus and just sit there and trade with them. You both lose nothing. Oh no, Reason got stuck in the
on the crash pad. That's so
stuck in the head of the shark.
Right into the shark mouth.
The Megalodon.
And that's the thing, bro. They switched up. Multiple teams switched up their drop spot at the moment. Swizzy and Vanya won that game, got away from Brutal. But that's something that we talk about week after week, major after major in these formats, to where when one team wins, it does open up a spot. But when multiple
that
teams
is nuts when you think about it, Dollar. Like a 2.0, like a 2-0 damage ratio for Surge is amazing. So that means to be able to stay above Surge, you've still taken 750 damage.
And his duo partner here is Volko.
That's
and
so
Cringe.
ridiculous.
All it would take is that one decision to, you know what, let's get a bit of extra loot. Let's go up to the rooftop. There's some floor spawns. Little do they know.
It's not just the DMR flyer. Even if there wasn't the DMR, the Surge trading would still be crazy on the Cacti with any AR.
They're being cautious, though.
The DMRs do make it worse, though,
They're
obviously.
pre-building. You can never be too safe. And that's what you get from experience in these lobbies.
They did it for 2 floors so far. I just want to see them continue to be safe on the 3rd floor. Like, if they just walk up there and some big shots get landed.
Oh, no. Tops's play doesn't work. You know, honestly, I'm kind of happy about that. I like Cringe.
In everybody's house, you don't put anything important in the attic.
That's crazy, though. They went up 2 floors. And out of, I don't know if it's pure luck or what, they decided, you know what? We don't have to go to the attic.
Yeah, they were smart. They're like, yeah, we're good. We're not going to check up there.
The rotate. I don't think they had a clue that there was a duo up.
I think T-Mars are way better and more balanced than snipers.
Things only we're going to know now.
Not in this context, bro. Because snipers, you knock someone. With snipers in the game, you can't trade because you risk getting headshot snipes and they can push you. It's because you can't get one shot that the meta's so dog shit right now.
And if you're unable to do that, you have to get top 20 or top 25, including the game winners, on the leaderboard to maintain your spot in the upper bracket for tomorrow. If you're coming from the lower bracket that's being played out at the same time right now with even more duos, all you got to do is get top 30, and then you will also move to tomorrow in the upper bracket.
And we saw that threshold move.
Yeah, so you got to go through all your shields towards the end once you get off it.
Last game right now it currently sits at
that also puts like a really big emphasis on pulling zone, because if you pull zone right now, you get to stay on your plant for even longer, which is big.
110 points. You're a lock for tomorrow's upper bracket. And you can kind of play a little bit more loosely, a little bit more flexible in these last 2 games. Try things out, go for that high ground, get those big wins, because that's what we've seen throughout the majority of these games is the multiple players battling it out for that high ground. Sometimes the low ground wins out, but more times than not, we've been seeing some big victories come out of the high ground.
Oh yeah, there's so much beeline. There are so many things you can do with the cacti. Longer respawns, a cap on how many times they can respawn. Like so many things you can do.
Type of day.
Switch it up, you know, making sure to keep.
Thank you, Side, with the T1. Thank you, Rooks, Woom, Jude. Thanks for the subs, guys. Appreciate it.
We were talking about, you mentioned a few times as well, if the zones continue to pull towards the south or near these cactuses in general, it's just going to increase that storm surge threshold. And I feel like if you're one of those teams that lands towards the north side of the map and you're not like Queasy and Thomas rotating towards the south, you're putting yourself at a major disadvantage on these south zones.
And if you're new here, you're like, what are these 2 weird people talking about? Storm surge damage, what's going on? It's a mechanic here that's seen a lot in these competitive tournaments where there's a minimum damage threshold that you have to reach depending on the zone you're in. It's how much damage you've done to your opponents, and if you don't reach that, you're gonna end up losing HP per second. For Kovacs though and his duo partner, they might not have to worry about it if they can get some eliminations, but on the other hand, if
Cammy and Seti might be dropping the lowers here, bro. This is big.
One more shot, one more opportunity to qualify in the last match.
Oh, that was a much needed push towards the top. Huddy's just had a
That's the gifted
of HP. Getting nervous, running around. Now both of them are weak. Piece control goes on over. Vico continues to advance.
Yeah, for the fact that Queasy and Thomas gets that cactus first is insane.
His control, and he knows now he has to be careful. That third-party team has now moved over on into the distance, and they're fighting for a possible bunker here in the future. If you guys are wondering what is causing a lot of this commotion.
Shots continuing to come through, getting that real estate to make sure there's no surprises as you continue to push on forwards. But I believe Emil and his duo partner have already disengaged from the situation, so the bunker looks like it is going to be for Flixie and Vico. Or wait. Wait a minute.
But wait, there's more. They're just kind of hiding.
What the fuck was that?
I'm not sure Vico
Jacob, what the fuck was that?
Take the bait that they actually ran away. Yeah, you probably still see and hear the footsteps above, but
how was that so out of nowhere?
You have to know that the way this fight went down, you gotta know how much damage you actually put down.
Oh my god, you can tell the cast is so fucking bored with this meta.
You're at a massive advantage due to the damage differential.
The cast are losing their minds, bro.
Yeah, what we've seen happen sometimes is once players know there is a duo in the bunker, they can choose to kind of hold them on the outskirts of it, but they don't have enough HP to do that, in my opinion. It would just be too risky at this point. They don't even have as much loot as Flixie and Vico, so it's almost just asking.
You're the
to
birthday
get
party. I
eliminated,
did, BJ.
Which is why they decided to disengage. Flixie even got some shots onto them.
Has North teams been struggling this season? So, chat, in duo cash cups, like, you got to remember, chat, this is our FNCS semifinals. So, the meta is evolving now, like, in front of our eyes. Like, the surge threshold, Knockin', can you check? Knockin', are you able to check what the surge threshold was for game 1 yesterday compared to last game?
If it's a thermal and they want a 4x, or if it's a 4x and they want a thermal, they now have more than enough gold to go ahead and upgrade what they need. Probably adding an extra couple of shots to the Gatekeeper, the laser onto the Thunderburst with the recoil.
Actually, I'll check if
you
it's
see
even here.
where these guys are getting their loot off spawn and then just kind of packing a punch with those bunkers.
Yeah, did you send me the exact one for game 1? Okay, you did.
Those shots from afar. But it looks like they've kind of.
So where do I see how much you need in total? Was it 900? Is that it? 966? Game 1?
I'm wondering what the ultimate game plan from this is going to be.
Yeah, okay, so there you go. So game 1 of uppers yesterday, you needed 966 surge to survive. Last game, you needed 1500. So surge has already gone up by roughly a third just from game 1 yesterday. Like, the more this meta plays out in these stacked lobbies, the more the meta is going to evolve. That's why high ground's going so crazy. Like,
and then from there, they kind of rotate.
so North team's going to start struggling more and more from this point on. It's only going to be worse for Grands.
I do feel like they're lacking the forecast tower in this game.
There is a large jump between south and north zones. It looks like if a zone goes north, it's about 400 to 500 less surge required.
Pixie and Yanis.
Or maybe like 300.
We've seen quite a lot of them today.
What's up, Cheetah?
Still unable to secure that victory royale, though.
That's for the gifted.
15th place on the leaderboard so far, so they're kind of on the mid-range.
Actually, yeah, Knockin', are you able to check what game 1 of the duo cash cup finals was?
In true
just as a comparison of how much more surge you need in a cash cup finals compared to an FNCS.
Still not enough as they're looking to see if there's any players in the surrounding area, but they do have launch pads around them that they can use to rotate later on.
Yeah, because how well they played so far throughout these 3 games. I know they're in their 4th now. 92 points. They're well above that threshold for that top 25 on the leaderboard. So they have the upper bracket spot secured.
Was it Sorbas? Was it actually?
I want to see them maybe make a play for a high ground later on in the game.
Thank you, Aronani, with the 2 for 28. Thank you,
for them, but I don't want that to kind of scare them away from trying to contest it. Because we saw last game, nobody really contested that high ground, which made for an easy end game for Swizzy and Banyo.
Stillion here at Mount Olympus.
No, you better put on a happy face.
Arthur Fleck is a monster who knew exactly what he was doing.
Look around. Look at all these people. Who do you think they see?
You can do anything you want. You're Joker.
Rated R.
Vacation with Norwegian? Every day is a new day.
The rest of my life gonna start today.
You, me, and us together.
Jumping in, standing still, bro.
They've proved that so many times it's not cheetah.
They were on top of a duo, but it
Epic
looks like
did prove to us they can, with a flick of a switch, instantly change where zones pull, which surprised some people, but
part of the match so
these players got to go. Rapid is crazy, man.
Something interesting that we've seen.
So many face cams today.
These South pulls is players like Cammy and Seti, who were first.
You only see these kind of attic spaces in Europe, I swear.
Spent inside of the storm on day 1, and now all the way down at 28th.
I think it's that older architecture.
Zones close to their drop spot, which also might make it a bit more difficult to get kind of those freer rotates using the cactuses, using the storm. So it kind of shows that sometimes you might not even want.
Actually, you know what? Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's snow places. I just noticed it's because it's places where it snows, right? So you need like a very pitched roof, yeah? Maybe that's what it is. Because I'm like, why don't we have the attic spaces in Australia? Like, it's because we don't have attics. Because most of our roofs are like way more flat than that. There's just no snow.
They didn't get their bunker. They didn't get their forecast tower. So now we get a chance
like
to
Happy
really see them
Hamlet,
perform
sure. Like Happy Hamlet, why
less, but
not?
at the same time, you know, I was completely wrong, and I'll admit I'm wrong. The DMR, the Flowberry Fizz, that's a clear giveaway. Forecast tower. It's a clear giveaway. They do have forecast towers, so you know, proud to admit I'm wrong there in that occasion.
You know, you never know, Jacob. Maybe just got lucky, pulled it out of a chest.
Oh,
look at this.
Oh,
a lot of sneaky
cringe
plays
goes
that we've
down
seen throughout this tournament.
Yo, Spudbuster, thanks for T1, man.
What you've got to do. We saw Mustache Malibuka play towards the Rift Islands, but this time around, some new duos trying to claim the flag.
Oh my god, they're so bored.
Not too much going down all around.
I've never heard so much just like filling in like dead space.
A good number.
That's right. This is good. This is good. Hopefully, this is actually, you know what? No.
Use the rifts just like this.
Epic don't give a shit. They'll do another surge meta like
He has
this.
a good amount of information as he floats on over, and the fact that he's not taking shots has to.
You
give him
GM with the
more
gifted? Wait, no,
information.
wait.
There might not be a lot of
Then you
teams
GM with the
positioned
prime.
over here.
Cameron with
So
the
if he's
gifted.
looking for a reboot. Sooner is better than later, because the more this zone closed, the more everybody's going to be stacked around, and the less of a chance, even if he does get the reboot, that his teammate will survive.
Okay, Edgy.
2 eliminations.
Okay, buddy.
Colbert. I'm wondering if this is the same. They went up against the same duo we saw previously in Mount Olympus. There was a lot of action in this area of the map.
He floors the T1. Season 1 was so good. Yeah, Chat 5 Season 1 Surge Meta was lovely, bro. Grapples to get around the map. A lot of people scrapping and fighting. It was so exciting.
There was another team.
You're a scared lion. They did T1 for 25, bro.
I wonder if they possibly got crash padded on. Just theory crafting there, because now they get all that loot and some.
All right, come on, Thomas. Come on, Queasy. We got our surge.
Early rotation out of Classy Courts. They're still able to move past this portion of the zone, because you saw moments ago when I was talking about that solo, a lot of open space. The same thing could be said here for Queasy and Thomas. They not only need to plan their rotation perfectly, they need to time it right, because there is a duo
nice,
right above them
Spudbuster.
in
Thank
that
you, bro.
path towards the top of the mountain.
They can, Brady, yeah. So chat, bottom 25 from uppers today will drop down to lowers. The 5 winners will go through to grands. And then top 30 from lowers goes up. But if you don't get top 30 in lowers, your FNCS is over. So I'm not watching lowers much here on EU because there's not that many streams. On NA, though, we'll definitely be watching lowers. And we're going to have a lot of people dropped out today.
Matches for 9 and Della. I've been playing quite consistent towards the late game, but haven't quite been able to fully finish the job.
Teeny gets an elim, nice.
Down Nathan in the feed for 9, and Della just trying to get a couple more shots when it comes to surge. They're outside of the zone, but they also know a couple other teams are going to have to rotate along with them. And that's what they're using as an opportunity, but same thing could be said for them. Fanayan takes a quick little shot as he finally peeks out to try to rotate, but he gets into a whole nother team. But Della was able to get an elimination onto Hedra, replenishing some of those resources, and vital resources that they need. If you look at Fanayan's material count, so low.
Gotta be careful as now.
Yeah, I saw that, Dol. I wanted to give it like a proper response later. I did see that. It looks hectic.
To have the focus on them. There's not too many duos in the surrounding area. Gunbury actually getting cracked here. Kira seems to be the one. That's the fresh.
Clownsky and Axe Force still in first, right? On 30 points, not bad.
Clownsky and Axe Force.
And they're looking fun to watch. And it will be very fun to watch.
Island, the rifts, the launch pads to rotate towards zone, but only being 61 above, now 2 above, you'd hope that they position themselves close to other duos, which is exactly what they've done here.
This is just another one of those positions where you can't really build the full wall because of the environment that's already built there. It is a little bit of a half wall. You can kind of tell that it's edited, causing a little bit of struggles.
Jacob's so bored.
Trying to reposition themselves inside of that house, but they made it towards the front side of the zone, or at least on the edge. So a lot of those teams behind them, they're going to get
As you can see here, Cammy is based up on the side of a rock. That rock is going to make it a little bit awkward in that base behind him. If he wants to step into that box, he's going to have to jump over that rock. Currently shooting at a tree, creating some sight lines. As you can see, it's a bit awkward. He has to jump over that rock to get back in that box here. Bit of a rough situation to be in. That rock could really cause some issues.
Now with a lot of teams taking note of those forecasts,
drink one of his 2 colas. Only has 1 remaining now, so not going to have too many colas going into endgame, unfortunately. Going to have to hope that 1 is enough. Still going to watch out for that rock in the box, though. That could cause some issues again for them. So, like, fuck me, bro. God damn, we're so fucking bored.
They don't really have to play inside of the storm. Slove.
I mean, what else are you supposed to say? Like, really? There's not much else to mention.
With only 15
I like that
builds,
boulder. That's a nice boulder.
He doesn't have a lot of options to choose from.
Oh, Strike is so good, bro.
2 duos fighting a solo close by. But instead of going for that, he is going to choose to make it towards zone. A player ahead
of
him.
It'll be right for Grands. Like, I keep saying this, but it will be right for Grands because you can, like, build so much storyline out with just the players for Grands. It's a bit harder to do in semis when you don't know the players as well.
That one slide.
And there's just not as many storylines to build out.
Phase through the builds just a little bit. Luckily, Slove was not only able to get out, but get himself a full box on the other side. But now Zone is forcing him in. He doesn't have any HP in his inventory to replenish, so he has to get there rather quickly. And it's dealing a huge chunk of damage, 5 per second that he is deep into that zone. 62 above the threshold.
W-Flobby. W-Flobby.
And he enacts revenge.
Wait, that's his first 4 points. These are his first. Oh, might be point bug actually. Never mind. Wait, probably not. Thank you, Mookie. Mookie with a tier 1. What's up, Day? We've just defaulted to saying nothing. Did we fall asleep? I wouldn't fucking blame him, but like, what happened? Hello?
Just a neat little find there.
Wow, we actually did just straight up fall asleep. Holy fuck.
Those big ammo crates. 49 above. They do have some
literally like, bro, you have to talk.
Which means they could
Jacob's sitting there like, Takata, fucking say something, please. I've talked about everything. I have nothing else to say.
And then they can crash pad their way towards zone since they're not too far off.
Please,
And
just
it does look
anything.
like they have a solo in their line of sights. Trying to take him out before they're forced to go on their rotation. You can see where the zone is pulling.
Oh, Teeny Chap shambles. We shambles.
Ranges, different elevations. So the material count and keeping track.
Kicking the legs under the table. Yeah, fuck it. Your turn. Oh no, I can hear. Well, you can hear Takata casting. It's just not going through to the broadcast. Now you can't, but I could hear him. Okay, no, definitely. Okay, so what's happening here is Takata is 100% talking, and Jacob can hear him, but we can't. Because Jacob would have taken over now, assuming it's a technical difficulty. This is the worst this happens on the broadcast, because people think that Jacob's just being an idiot now. Or, you know what I mean?
Hoping that somebody's going too fast for their own good. But they do kind of break into a box on the other side. Emil goes
Didn't this
down
happen during one of the interviews, chat, and it was like super awkward? Was it with me? I think there was one interview I was involved in where apparently like the broadcast couldn't hear someone's answer, so it's us just being like
much lower than everybody else.
And just no one's fucking talking.
You see the zone pulling towards the south, but it is going to be an eastern pull as well, which means they have a clear line of sight with very few duos. They just need to be able to survive this lobby focus. Which
come on, Crazy. Come on, Thomas. Come on, Thomas.
Games like these, especially in the big moments. But Thomas,
come on, Thomas. I don't know how I thought we were 100% dead then. Get knocked, lobby focus, dead. Oh my god, come on.
Duo wipe out of the lobby. The pressure hasn't slowed down just yet.
It was you and Timmy and someone else. Yes, that's right. It was for the AO, Dana. That's the one.
The moment we've been waiting for. Can they turn
there we go. Takata's back. He's alive. He woke up.
Some issues in the early
Takata woke back up.
Able to fully make it to the late game. Thomas, HD, and Queasy now have one shot, an opportunity from 40th place on the leaderboard to now the potential of taking home a victory royale. That's the best part of these semifinals, no matter how bad they've been doing throughout the day. All it takes is one victory royale. Great crash pad, rotate into zone. Thomas actually got knocked.
Queasy's dead.
Queasy, do you have time? Please tell me you do.
Oh my god, W.
HP.
Let's go, baby. One tick. Not even close.
Now is going to be forced to use a med kit.
This is like
not even close.
All at once. Dream to stay alive. A nightmare of what just happened, but they still find a way.
Cammy, instead you're in a good spot. There. Wait, Queasy and Thomas are buried. Are they not going to die here?
How was everyone's day?
It was great. We made this taco crescent ring. I saw a weird bird. You came home. You came home. I rode the vacuum, and now we're eating dinner.
Rich melanin skin deserves new Shea Moisture antiperspirant deodorants. Evens tone, restores moisture to dry skin, protects against sweat and odor for 48 hours. Invisibly. Living in my rich melanin and protecting it too.
Welcome to Sparkling Ice, where we ask the juicy questions. Like, what if an orange and a mango got married? Sparkling ice, anything but subtle.
Here on out, but
aren't they just dead down there?
They're like stuck in a little crevice underneath the mountain. If it continues to pull up towards that mountainside, which is the south, the eastern part of the map, and even towards the north, it is going to be a hurtful situation to be in, but they get blessed. A little bit of a southwest pull, which means they have a little bit of pressure.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's good for Queasy and Thomas. They get to kind of rotate out here without going up the mountain. That's huge for Thomas and Queasy. Yeah, one more game after this has game 4 or 5.
It's ahead of them. It's Queasy and Thomas HD in the crevice. Both
in the
duos having
crevice.
To rotate as they
Thomas and Queasy in the crevice.
Damage and make it into zone, while Cringe and Volko now are in desperate need of damage.
I'm just hoping that maybe saw Cactus is outsoared towards the other side. Medkits as well from the battle that they've won.
Oh, you're gonna take more than a couple ticks to get up there when you're buried like that Iron Fist. It's rough, even with Crash Cheese.
Regardless, and they're looking for opportunities. Roban just comes charging in, takes down Cridge, forcing the medkit usage out of Volko a lot.
Nah, you're good,
than he'd hope to use it.
No crash pads, nothing to get him back into zone. He's gonna have to try and sprint in, but
we dead. Oh, we are so dead. Please, can we stop watching this blast, please?
This isn't even a heal off. This is just
survival. It
survival.
means nothing. He's going to die.
Yeah, the only chance he has right now, obviously,
we don't have to watch it. We can just know it's gonna happen. It's inevitable. Okay, we're gonna watch it.
Seconds are left, and he goes down in 19th place. Valiant effort for them, but they're leaving it for the last and final game to try to get their ticket to the grand finals.
So far, height is going to be claimed by Haijo Kaido. Thomas HD, Queasy still.
Oh, Vico and Flixie low ground though, looking good.
Up an elimination. Vico and Flixie as well, looking incredibly strong down on low.
Nice, Vico. How is Vico and Flixie not won yet?
Shots towards the side, catching a lot of
Queasy wins this. He might.
Pressure from above. They take no time wasted to back down.
This will be like the first end game they've made here with like decent loot. I'm pretty sure. Just got an elim. Queasy's got another refresh.
Very few teams are going to be on that side, but Pixie is down below the threshold. Even with the most damage done in game number 1, his job is not over just yet. With 3 medkits, he has that win condition, but now he needs to figure out where he's going to get the damage from with no choice but to scramble.
At least he's got an SMG, but it's still not looking good. He's going to try and make it and hope 3 people dies.
So the medkits have to come out now.
Heal off begins. Issue is, how long will it take for these players to get eliminated? Will he be able to out-heal the threshold? Will he have to look for damage? 156 is a lot of damage, Jacob.
The 2 people have to go down.
The zone's pulled back.
No, Queasy's down.
Just one more medkit.
We're not winning.
Now playing alone.
Only a couple more players do need to go down. Storm Surge deactivates.
Well, Hydro might still be on the high ground. We haven't looked up, unfortunately.
Down below, he got knocked. He had no choice but to leave him by himself. And we've seen some big
Thomas. Nice,
before,
Thomas.
now we need to see almost the
he doesn't get the refresh off though. I think that's one build. He needs to get the refresh.
Continue to go in. He takes his time, and now he's
oh, now it's what is happening? He still doesn't get the refresh.
The nitros to go through these builds, and he's finally found a way to escape.
20 HP.
Even with the elimination being cleaned up, he can't reap any of the rewards.
Oh my God, Thomas is so good. Thomas is so good. Wait, this is to stay in uppers as well. Wait, this is big. This is big. Even if Thomas and Queasy don't win this, they still need this for uppers. We could have Queasy and Thomas jumping down to lowers.
Can't take too many ticks. He falls down.
Oh no, Hydro's still on the high ground though.
Queasy have to go again in the 5th and final game of the day. And if you look in the sky, well, everybody's distracted down below. Hydro and Kaido have elevated themselves above the rest. And if this is
come on, Cammy, come on, Sadie, come on, come on. I'm loving the underdogs winning, but I really want to see some of these big teams get a W on the board.
Now as Raban is going to go down below, hits the initial tag.
Wait, this is so. Wait,
gets the finish, but
wait,
he goes
3
down,
medkits.
look who it is.
Wait,
it's Cammy and Sadie.
Oh my God, it's so much loot.
Taken out of the lobby.
There's even more medkits. They win. They win this. They win. They win. They win. They win. They win. They have to win this. There's no way they don't win this.
Is the difference from last game to this.
They have to win. Seti drops back and plays the heal off, and they win.
The inevitable happens, and they drop down.
That was like 10 medkits down there. There's no way Hydro and Kaido have 6 medkits. They win. Hydro's got 2 medkits. He's confident that's going to be enough, but it's not.
3. He beats them in terms of a heal off.
He definitely beats them.
When the drop down happens, are they going to go for the full?
Nah, Cammy said he's going to play the heal off. They know 3 medkits wins here. They're playing the heal off. Here we go.
It's all or nothing.
Yep,
Cammy's building for him. Seti staying behind, staying safe. Jumps in. Kaido takes down Cammy. Seti gets hit hard though. Seti might not win now. He's reloading.
Seti's still alive. 3 medkits in the inventory.
Seti still wins. Seti still wins unless Hydro kills him. Seti still wins unless Hydro finds those extra medkits.
But he has a big health.
Hydro went the wrong way. Hydro went down the low ground. The medkits are upper layer. Hydro doesn't find them. Wait.
This is literally going to come
Seti wins. Seti wins. Seti wins. Seti wins.
Final spot on the line.
Seti wins, baby. Sorry, Hydro. I love Hydro. He's a nice guy. I don't want to cheer against him, but W Cami Seti. Wait. Two slow plants. Wait. Two slow plants. Can he find more? 30, 20, 10, 0. Seti wins. That full refresh on low ground and Seti wins.
They qualify to the finals.
Took long enough.
It's been done. We've been waiting for this moment, and
boy.
they've done it. Cami and Seti qualified now to the grand finals with one of the most intense heal-offs we've seen.
How many points did Cami and Seti have going into that map? They were really low on the leaderboard. Like, Cami and Seti were a big risk to drop down to lowers too. So that's a huge win for Cami and Seti. They went from potential lowers to then winning a game as big turn.
Would have won Hydro the game, but you got to give it to.
Oh yeah, they went into this game on like 60 points. They had like nothing.
Pushed him over the top. I know we didn't see it, but he ran back.
Nice, Seti.
All those materials back there, and that's what allowed them to claim the space on the low ground and get the inevitable win.
Great shots at the end as well.
Inevitable.
Had me on the
all right, one more game, chat. One more game. One last spot for Grands.
Cami and Seti took home the 4th match of the day, but there's
how do you win that? They had so much loot. They went to that game on 23rd. Okay, they were right on the edge then.
Of day 2 of the semifinals, and we'll get to that right.
Red W heal off. Yeah, that heal off was a bit more exciting. Those kind of heal offs are a little bit exciting. So there's some kind of like niche stuff in it. Yeah, that was definitely one of the better heal offs. One game to go. Queasy currently in 26th. Yeah, actually. Let's look at the I mean, they're going to look at the leaderboard as well, but we'll take a look at it ourselves now. All right, so remember, bottom 25 are going to drop out, chat. So teams like Queasy, Cringe, Predage, Art Skill. We got some big teams down here, bro. Della, Ariane, Older. We got Noah, Riley, and Aqua in 47. So basically a win or nothing for them right now. CZB and Nathan. Wait, what? CZB and Nathan went from being the best performing team yesterday who didn't get a win to dead last on 0 points. Very rough day 2 for CZB and Nathan. What's up, 900? I guess that just shows how much of a difference being con versus uncon at Grand Glacier is. Thank you, Squawk, with the Prime for 41. Thank you, dude. It's a long-ass time, man. Thank you, Vertex. Batter Up, is it? Comet, Vey, Ishigami, Slinkers, Vass, Mookie. Thanks for subs, guys. Appreciate y'all. How's Queasy looking overall outside of today? He hasn't had the best season. He's already called to the land, so it's not as much at stake for Queasy and Thomas, but hasn't been their best season. Oh, sorry, that's right. Vico and Flixie had the most points. Sorry, I think CZB and Nathan are in second. Sorry. Aqua's here. Aqua is here, bro. Aqua is here. Again, we've dropped this stat a few times today, but Aqua was the highest damage dealer of any player in lower bracket yesterday, so Aqua's very much back. He has chose to contest one of the best teams on the region that's already qualified for LAN, which isn't proving to be the smartest decision, but... What are you going to do during the break? Not sure yet, G. I don't know if I'm going to stay live or I'm going to try and get a 1 or 2 hour power nap in. It'll be better for viewership if I stay live, but I think worse for the overall content and vibes. So I'm trying to let that lead me to want to end and come back. Holding on to the viewership from EU is always nice, but I think, honestly, if I can get even an hour power nap in, the content I'm going to make during NA will be so much better. I'm running on literally 3 hours sleep right now. Like, I'm not exaggerating. Like, pretty sure less. Because I got woken up by Charlotte as well. So 3 hours of broken sleep is what I'm dealing with right now. Yeah, cool. Thanks to Prime for 11. I will get a full sleep for tomorrow, though. Either way, I will be fully, like, I'll be good to go tomorrow. I've got nothing on this afternoon. I've got nothing on tonight. I should be able to get a solid full 8 hours tonight, so. Take a Red Bull. Red Bull only goes so far, bro. For, like, if, like, Red Bull to suck it up for a 3-4 hour stream is easy as, bro. I can do a 3-4 hour stream on Red Bull and 0 sleep. But today's an 11 hour stream, man. It's a bit too drawn out. Maybe throw on someone's stream and disable camera mic. I don't want to do that, bro. I don't like to do that. It's all good. We chilling. You guys are all going to come back anyway. We'll see how we feel. It's also because I'm not going to lie, in this format, if we had like a chapter 5 season 1 meta, I would watch Brazil and genuinely enjoy it. But watching surge-based mid-game with players I don't know that well is definitely going to bring down the vibes.
No, I just said Polish, and the reason I said Polish was because Cami and Seti.
She's got an NFL offer.
Don't play with me.
Think I'm gonna take it.
NFL? Aren't you a little too old to be playing football?
Wait, what?
They want somebody that can run a 40, not somebody that is 40.
New customers score this great offer and a month of NFL Plus Premium.
A hearty, hefty breakfast. And when you finish, you know you had something to eat.
This is right where my dad came face to face with Frank Stone.
I'm sleepwalking through a nightmare and I just can't seem to wake up.
This is insane.
Fuck! What is that?
That is Frank Stone.
Have done what they do best,
okay, Iridium,
which is seemingly coming out of nowhere and getting a victory royale.
Hey, let's go, the boys. What is it? Polska-Gorum is in chat? Is that the thing? That's what they all say, right?
It was. I mean, Cami and Seti, you know, they've been a bit quiet at times this season, but again, when they need to most, you expect them to show up. And this endgame, the way it sort of closed out was perfect for them. You can see there they picked up the third medkit off of Werix's body. But there was so much loot on the ground there towards the end, Mini, and you can see there was a bunch of medkits there, and we were calling it out. They just need to play for the heal off now, because they got the 3 medkits. There's going to be a couple more there. We've not seen many games come down to heal off so far in the semis upper bracket, but when they have, usually it's not over 3 medkits. So as soon as I see they have 3 medkits plus more on the ground, I'm like, it has to be the win. Like, it has to be, they're good. It came close. Hydro made it close, but in the end, Seti and Cami were able to get their dub.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't concerned when Cami went down there and Seti was also just running in the storm.
Polska-Gorum, that is it, isn't it?
About got them off as well. There was a couple of moments where I thought, actually, he's even going to get these medkits off with the storm ticking.
What's it mean? I think it's like, what does Polska-Gorum mean?
From this duo. This my prediction of them actually going through tomorrow, but I'm very happy for them getting a win. They haven't really done too much today. It hasn't really
It's a patriotic slogan, often associated with sports.
They had a more consistent day.
What does it mean, though? It means Poland on top. Yeah, it makes sense. I thought it was something like that.
On their big end game, and now they're in the grass.
You have to give props as well to Hydro and Kaito as well, because they actually third-partied Noah and Aqua after Noah and Aqua took out Mursash and Malabuka at the start of the game, and obviously at the end gave us a huge highlight and a fantastic showdown, Levin. Yeah,
man, they started off this game hot, right? They swooped in, picked Noah up really quickly, and you're thinking that's the momentum they need, right? You know, they have everything in their power to now go forward and have a good game. And to be fair to them, like, they did as well as they.
I do exclamation mark format, Snubs. It's not a video, bro. It's just a nice short clip.
For somebody against someone who had like 5 medkits.
You said you go back to back grands? Yeah, maybe, man.
So, big ups to them. Again, not the result they would have wanted, though, right? Because in his head, he's probably thinking, I've done everything. I kind of popped a bunch of medkits. I even added some sort of.
It's crazy how, like, I know, poor Hydro. Look at his face, bro. He's handling it pretty well, though. He's not even that sad.
Have I not won that game? Like,
it's so cool how, like, I'll wait till they're on the leaderboard, then I'll describe it.
Well, you know what it was? Actually, Hydro went to farm a brick at the top there because they actually ran out of materials when there was that final 2v2. Cami and Seti had all the materials in the world down on low ground. Hydro went to farm a brick inside of the storm, used about 50 HP on that. I think he may have popped a medkit or even just had to pop the medkit a little bit earlier because of that as well. And of course, I reckon if they didn't have to do that, if they had 5, maybe 10 extra builds, they might have just clutched it there at the end. And that's the difference that these end games can make.
Fine margins. Fine margins.
Such fine margins, but you know what? There's a margin that is looming for Thomas.
No Thomas top 10. Yeah, it's brutal, man.
To see any more pages of the standings, but I believe that Thomas and Queasy were outside of the top 40 going into that game, and they are desperately fighting for the upper bracket. But this performance from Thomas, hopefully Mini Minor, will put them in better standing to make that upper bracket tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really, really good clutch from Queasy actually earlier on in this game, and it was just this moment right here you can see on the screen. He managed to get in with just 4 HP, reviving Thomas, which
Thomas is cursed. Nah, we'll see how he goes. Yeah, it's interesting how, like, the meta adapts throughout tournaments. So, like, day 1, I think think people knew there was like surge was going to be high, but anything it was going to be that high. Kind of started a bit standard. Then teams realized that, oh, all I really need is the win, so I'm going to win for high ground. So high ground became a full grief. Now all the top teams have tried high ground and got griefed and been like, fuck this, I'm not going to go for high ground anymore. And now they're all stacking med kits and playing low ground. So now there was another team who stacked more med kits on low ground. You know what I mean? Like Hydro would have won that game in any other game this weekend, but Cammy and Seti are now just playing the full med kit. It's just kind of funny how it adapts so much.
Towers being built around cactuses that we're seeing every single game of the semi-finals. I think it's something that our duos have learned to do since the qualifiers, and it's really impacting how things are going down Mini Miner.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, the lobby is turning into a whole skyscraper-filled city at the moment. There's just towers everywhere.
What? Why are we?
Exactly where those slurp cacti
why are we doing a
and
segment on this?
Bases that people are making in relation to the location of those slurp cacti. You can see there's a bit of a
it's a big fucking
here,
problem. Why
everyone wants to box up next to those slurp cacti because it just gives you unlimited HP.
If only there was some way to stop it or something we could do about this. Oh well, we're only Fortnite. There's nothing we can do.
You have players who have access to a lot of loot, right? And so they can get spare shields, and they usually will keep spare shields.
We are
located
fully leaning into it now.
so that they can go fight for surge, use your spare shields. This is even way easier than that, right? And more people.
Queasy's going through something IRL. His Twitter is all sad. I think you might just be new to checking out Queasy's Twitter, bro.
So yeah, everybody is trying to get on that because it's one of the best ways to get storm.
This is kind of just that's just Queasy's Twitter,
bro.
You're
a sitting duck though, and it does mean that if no one does come to you, then you might actually start getting hit, no matter how much you try to heal up. So I want to see more fighting. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to see people resting by their cactus. But you know what? It's not up to me. I'm not a pro player. I'm just the one whose job
the broadcast can't do anything. I mean,
one last time for day 2 of the semi-finals.
Okay, never mind.
It's game number 5 with Dakota and Jacob PR.
Time truly flies when you're having fun, Takata. The day has gone by so fast.
No, it fucking hasn't. Shut up.
Final game of the day. We talked about the big wins.
I love Jacob, but what?
25th spot on the leaderboard.
I've never heard both of these guys so bored in my entire life.
6 points. We got a big game ahead of us, so let's get right into it.
I'm loving this is straight, just lying.
You said it yourself, Jacob. The cutoff, 76 points. Going in to the previous match, it was Cammy and Seti that were on that cutoff, on that borderline. However, they have now qualified.
They've done a better job than me, honestly.
The new players close to that borderline, Vidil Reason, Thomas HD, Queasy. A lot of these top tier duos that have not only yet to have qualified, but also
Clement and Buzz finally unconned. Finally,
they don't do a good job in this last match.
I mean, they've only got 8 points. It's more just the fact that
different types of pressure.
Surely this drop was not worth contesting all day.
But the further down you are, you get pressure to get into that top 25. You get pressure to win that game, so you don't have to go to tomorrow. Because any team that
it was such a good meta, Nitro. Such a good meta.
Round 2 today, your FNCS is over.
This game is going to be exciting for sure,
a lot
yeah.
Of these teams, they got to take this extra chance knowing that they will go to tomorrow and try to run with it.
And for the players currently competing in the lower brackets, top 30, what they're looking for. We're going to focus here on the last opportunity to qualify directly to the grand finals.
Real Flair with the Prime. Thank you, Nuggets with the Prime as well. Nice subs, guys.
Jacob. It's all consistency. And we'll see if Mustache Malabuka has
he lands at Mount Olympus. He does, yeah.
This is one of those moments right here. Another contested drop right out of the gates. Noah and Aqua currently sit with 12 points. 46th place on the leaderboard. And I feel like that's why you see them just take a little bit different of approach, a little bit slower, not necessarily working their way from the top down. They want to make sure they have the loot, they have the materials as quickly as possible before they try to engage on either Malabuka Mustache or the boss. And it already looks like Malabuka Mustache are luring that boss to the high ground.
Oh, Malabuka Mustache have the advantage now. Wait, Aqua's going off. Oh, wait. Aqua's going up the crane. Wait, this is huge. Did they see him? Wait, Aqua's going to sneak up the crane and get a beam on. Wait.
Meanwhile,
oh, he jumped off, but that was going to be such a cool play.
That victory royale in this last match. So if I'm Malabuka,
that was gonna be such a cool play if it worked.
This early game engagement, no matter what, after they're done looting, taking home that boss. So we'll have to see who ends up taking it. As now they're gonna regroup.
Yeah, quickly scrambling around. Mustache has a decent chunk of shields missing, but he got himself enough time so he can start to replenish.
Oh.
And they're separated. Aqua on the other side. He gets spotted out.
Yo, the fact that Aqua and Noah are holding up this well against Malibuca Mustache is crazy.
All the way on the low ground, and that's a
like,
big
unfortunately, they're not doing too well once they win the fight,
but
but
the storm surge, the
crazy they're still holding up this well.
Weapon, and he has a line of sight onto Malibuca.
Oh boy, looks like Malibuca and Mustache are not qualifying today.
Big elimination and a chance to not let them survive. That way you don't have to worry about these juggernaut of a team later on in this game.
Oh, we did.
I don't really
Aqua and Noah winning game 5 would be big.
That's gonna be the unfortunate end.
They either go down to lower bracket or they win and make grands. There's no in between right now for Aqua and Noah.
Bracket tomorrow, so they'll have 3 matches to try and get top 25 at the start of the day, and then if they are unable to do that, another 3 matches.
Malibuca Mustache will be staying in upper bracket though.
Both qualifications through consistency.
Yeah, Malibuca's safe.
But for Noah and Aqua,
I'll make sure. I'm pretty sure,
now,
right? He was on a bunch of points, wasn't he?
Yeah, they gotta get.
Yeah, he's in 9th right now, 174. He's chilling. He'll stay top 25.
Because with 14 points, you need a high elimination game with a 2nd place if you're not going for that win. So it's all or nothing for them as Dexy and Eclipse end up in an early game exchange.
So chat, top 25 yesterday was 114. So anyone around 114 or above should already be safe.
Eclipse is still trying to attack from above. Dexy not landing the shots necessary. Doesn't even get the piece control to go on over to his side. So they're still getting back down little by little, but that 2nd angle that I was talking about really playing the difference here in this fight, but it's only going to be a trade.
Dexy now has been knocked down. Looks like the 1 versus 1.
Hippo's just trading reses.
They're going to trade, Jacob. We're going to
happily trade.
At Papa John's, we start with better. Like our fresh, never frozen dough made from 6 simple ingredients. And our dough can save you dough. Get 2 or more Papa Pairings favorites for just $6.99 each. Order now on the app from Papa John's.
It's got an NFL offer.
Don't play with me.
Think I'm gonna take it.
NFL? Aren't you a little too old to be playing football?
Wait, what?
They want somebody that can run a 40, not somebody that is 40.
New customers score this great offer and a month of NFL Plus Premium.
Look who's joining us for my favorite part of the day.
Cheerios are his love language.
Well, yeah, they can help lower cholesterol.
Okay, I love it. My love language is Portuguese. I don't understand it, but I love how it makes me feel.
Dyson's robot vacuum is the most powerful, sucking up dust right to the edge, with a panoramic 360-degree camera that systematically maps its path. The most powerful robot vacuum. Buy direct from the people who made it.
Trading reses.
Yep, revive.
What's up, Rexy? Thanks for that prime for 9, dude.
He has the med kits, making sure to pass them around.
Yeah, top 25 in upper bracket tomorrow makes grands, and top 15 in lower bracket makes grands.
They're replenishing too much HP.
That's the last 40 teams going through. So tomorrow's the big day, chat. If you watched all of semis, you know what's going on. Tomorrow's the big day. 40 of the 50 teams that make grands go through tomorrow.
So continue with the engagement though.
And we don't have uppers and lowers running at the same time tomorrow. They run back to back, so it's super exciting.
Traded the revive back up.
Tomorrow's my favorite day of semis to watch.
Now they're kind of like, huh, should we do that again? Should we fight again? Maybe we should just disengage. We've done a bit of damage. You know, we'll take our own paths and see each other later in the match.
People lowers makes grands? Yeah.
So much action.
Top 15 of lowers tomorrow.
Oh no, I know what's coming.
But teams who don't call out of uppers get to play lowers. They play both.
Didn't hear it coming. Wow. That's actually not a knock. That's not a knock. That's a full elim. And you know what that means? Vico and Flixie are out of this game.
Damn.
But just like some of our competition that we saw fall with Malibuca Mustache, they have it locked in for another upper bracket appearance.
Oh, they do.
tomorrow.
Yeah, they're in 5th. They're chilling.
They're number 1 on the leaderboard, not counting.
I'm looking at yesterday.
Victory royales by far too.
Yeah, never mind. Vico and Flixie
points versus 196.
Oh, no, they are in first.
They were dominating in terms of consistency.
Unfortunately, wait, Vico and Flixie being the most consistent team both days without a win. It's a very good showing for grands. Like, they play so consistent, they just don't get the wins. That's really big for them.
Got to be careful in these prolonged fights, especially when the zone begins to pull away.
A north zone? Oh my god, we are getting a north zone.
Have a lot of materials, and
finally, Aqua and Noah get a clean win on spawn, and then we get a north zone.
You see, it's less than 10 builds left. It's almost all or nothing for him. He's trying to change targets, catch his opponents off guard, but they're not really taking the bait. At least not taking it just yet.
And attic room seems so cool. It does seem cool, but I imagine it'd be hot as shit
yet again. He does have the crash
in the
pads
summer.
if he does want to try and disengage, but I don't think he wants to leave without at least getting the reboot card first.
Doesn't have a lot of options either, to be fair, with 2 players surrounding him and only 2 builds. You just got to hit your shots here. I'm not sure if the opponents have that much materials or anything either, though, because they're not playing entirely aggressive. Medkit being popped. Being in the edge of storm as well, you can see there's another duo on Mount Olympus with both arrows looking directly at them. They know there's a fight going down, and they're just waiting to clean it up.
Hey, surviving out today, chat. Appreciate it. Again, I'm sorry I'm not bringing as much energy as usual.
Show up. Doesn't look stressed.
The early morning start, and I had a party yesterday. But we're good. I'm probably going to end after this, end after EU, take a break, and come back to NA and bring big vibes. Tomorrow will be sick, though. I'll be live the whole day through tomorrow. I won't take a break tomorrow.
He just ended up in a box that wasn't him. You saw the other side.
And the party goes good. Yeah, the party was nice, man.
You got to be careful.
I got out of there at like 8 p.m.
You make space for yourself. You don't end up in your opponent's box.
Thomas HT Queasy now in a surge base. I like this. This is looking like a efficient 2024 surge base. You said it yourself. Block off the crash pads.
Well, there's no roof on this to block the crash pads.
Cone edits.
Cone edits.
And they're near a couple nitro rings as well, and other cactuses on the ground.
They've completely ran out of things to say, bro.
And you saw, like, during the games, they breaking down the surge bases relatively close to a lot of the cactuses. This is exactly
Layla, I know.
Just waiting for a lot of those opportunities where the teams, whether it's a south zone or not, do rotate towards the south side of the map, or at least as close to a cactus as possible. So, I mean, if you set up one of those bases in the center of all the cactuses, I feel like you're going to have the best shots at getting surged.
True. True.
Thomas and Queasy landing classy today,
yeah. The map that doesn't have cactuses, as now these players battle them out.
Part of the map that doesn't have cactuses.
3 different duos looking at this engagement right now. Kiddo Nebs, the first 3 games for this duo, they got 10th place exactly in all 3 matches.
Yeah, Kiddo got the fit on. Damn.
They fell earlier. We're not able to keep up with that consistency. Seeing that now it is the last match. Hopefully they can make something happen, but against Chapentini, it's not going to be easy.
Nah, I don't think so, Dana. I think we're too deep, bro.
A team that kind of loves to fight. Just waiting for any opportunity, whether they
the only way that the cactus gets nerfed before grands is like a huge outcry on social media and like some teams getting exposed for teaming. Like if a few high-profile teams or just a few teams in general get like exposed for teaming, like the good old Bucky Creo video.
Maybe mix
and then there's like some DMs that get leaked of like teams actually DMing each other to trade for surge and shit. That is the only way I can see Cactus getting nerfed. Like it becomes a competitive integrity issue for
you don't have to worry about too many teams.
As it currently stands, they're probably like, yeah, it's boring, but fuck it, we can't be bothered. You know what I mean? Like
Rote's gonna begin. They have the River of Sticks, so they can use those dashes to do it more efficiently. Midix and Yasin.
Always got to mention Creo. Hey, well, Creo and Bucky got banned for 60 days for doing what the entire fucking lobby is now doing. So I'm not doing it to call out Creo. I'm just using it as an example.
And we've seen Fast Strokey and Robound take a couple of fights early on in some of the games so far. Some of them working out for them, others not so much. You can kind of see the differences when you don't necessarily have the cactuses. You got to fight for your surge outright.
Showing the fucking
and they're not just trying to do that. They're trying to do 2 birds, 1 stone. They're ready to fight for their spot, fight for their surge, but they have elevated themselves so far. But the Nitrodrome, they're hoping to see as many teams rotate as possible. So I just kind of want to hope for them, give them the benefit of the doubt that their surge so far at this stage of the game is A-okay. But you've been talking about how high that Storm Surge threshold is when it actually pops off in Zone 6 and 7.
They did, Top. We're going to be watching Alex and Worthy and Uppers today. Should be excited.
It's crazy how many of the top duos have gotten eliminated so far. I mean, the two duos with the most eliminations, Mustache Malabuka, Vico Flixie, they're both out
To be fair, though, I think one change they could make, Dana, is which wouldn't piss too many people off. I mean, I guess because it's changing the meta right before Grands, which would upset people. But just making it so there's like a cap on how many times the plant respawns.
Vico went out. It was
like maybe like it only respawns like 4 or 5 times or something.
Mustache Malabuka as well just didn't come out on top in the early game engagement.
Because that affects nothing but surge trading. You know what I mean? Like that literally only affects surge trading at that point.
Especially when 76 points is the threshold as well. Like for all these
well, you just can't kill them if they're over peak physical. So when people trade surge, they only have one team member surge trading, and you can't one tap in this game right now with no snipers.
And they just didn't even see it come. And luckily, he was able to kind of create some distance while they were in the skies. Teammates there trying to alleviate some of the pressure as him and Hydro just trade off a couple shots. No confidence building moves just yet. But either way, Hydro and Kaito still got to rotate in this direction if they want to find that safety of the zone.
Nitro saved Flipmonk there.
Yeah, or make it wait longer between the respawns.
It was firing actually to not get landed on, but he might get landed on now. Hydro, great job of escaping that box before.
Harry takes down Pigeon. I think Pigeon and Henry have had a rough day.
A bit more cautious on the
very rough day.
Looking to see if he can get a bit of real estate, replace some walls without getting fully
Well, yeah,
up.
Dana, yeah. Of course you are. You'd be stupid if you weren't. Mongol playing today. Yeah, Mongol and Savage are going to be in uppers today. They are contested by Death and Edgy, though, so we'll see how that goes.
Whether they hear the noise or not. The zone is moving towards the north, maybe a little bit of a western lean on it. And that's why they're feeling the confidence to continue to try to move over on this position, take multiple angles before they finally disengage on out. It's not worth their time anymore, especially the way that team down below is playing. They're kind of turtling back in their boxes, saying, hey, if you want to fight us, you got to come to us. And that's their territory. They probably have a couple boxes, ramps, cones built. So if Haijo and Kaido were to rotate in that direction, it'd be a pretty risky situation to put yourself in.
Take a quick look.
Streams or broadcast for NA? I think I'll just still do streams for lowers and broadcast for uppers, bro.
Dangerous.
We might watch the Mongrel Savage spawn fight each game because that'll happen before the broadcast, and then switch to the broadcast is probably the vibe I'm going to go with.
Gonna make it out or not.
But yeah, as much as I love watching Mongrel Savage, Clicks, Venno and stuff, all of them having different delays makes it really hard to follow. And honestly, the broadcast just covers everything. So,
North Zone,
but I do think I want to watch the Savage spawn fight on stream though, because that'll get spoiled by chat for sure.
Do you think Storm Surge thresholds are going to be a little bit lower in this match, or still just as high, but only for certain teams that you see staggered in the south, still in the zone?
I think it's going to be lower.
Oh, and also, yeah, if Clicks does end up being contested, that'll be worth watching as well. But like I said, Carillion, literally 3 days ago in the Duo Cash Cup Finals, said he was contesting Peterbot, clickbaited, and then didn't contest it. So we'll
like
see.
50 or 100 more because people are a bit more aware of the Surge strats. We'll see. Maybe we can get an update on how it looks as the game goes on. But for now, Snazy and Podosai have secured the bunker, and they're going to continue on with their rotate.
Just the two floppers don't allow me to build confidence for them. They kind of survive. Even if they do make it towards the zone on the other end, they're going to be missing a lot of HP, and then they're obviously going to use the floppers to get it back.
Savage Mongrel made Grands? Yeah, I think they made Grands off consistency though, man. I think tomorrow they'll get, if they can stay in uppers today, that'd be massive.
And actually,
I don't think they'll get a win walk on by Death and Edgy. I hope they do, but I just don't think they will. We'll see. I'd love to be wrong. But if they can stay in uppers, then they will 100% qual tomorrow in uppers. But even if they drop down to lowers, I'm still confident they can call out a lowers tomorrow.
And you're noticing a huge
their consistency in set lobbies is really solid.
Sandy steps. They're going all around the map, but now this time around they're getting coached a little bit by Venno, who's moved on over to NA. So they're taking the spot and the game plan that you'd see Clicks and Venno.
At Papa John's, get an extra large New York style one-topping pizza for only $10.99. It's a mouth-watering, stretched thinner, made bigger, more for your money, extra large New York style one-topping pizza for only $10.99. Better get you some Papa John's.
Spectrum TV Stream Latino te trae la mejor selección de canales en español.
Obtén ViX Premium con anuncios por nuestra cuenta cuando elevas tu entretenimiento con mi plan Latino TV.
Y con Spectrum Internet súper rápido, obtienes las velocidades más rápidas del país.
Cámbiate ya.
Use, and they're trying to incorporate that here in the last and final game of the day on EU.
Yo, Adam, they survived a 6, dude.
Will it work out? Time will tell as Festroki and Raban now made it back into zone. So many players boxed up on buildings that have already been built around Reckless Railways. You can use that to refarm your brick while also getting a decent position to have line of sight of the other players in the surrounding area. Amon still in with a bit of a ways to go to make it into zone. Even with the duos who are kind of boxed up on the snowy mountain, they will be blocking them, taking shots at them, but it should be pretty doable.
There's another team located nearby. But again, with the zone continuously pulling north, a lot of these teams will have already went towards the north. So it's not in some, maybe the next zone. It continues to get more and more staggered on the south side of the zone. So timing is going to get more and more crucial. We're going to have less window to make any bit of mistakes on that push as Voltiax is still trying to stay alive. They know he's around here somewhere as Almos did get his teammate back. We saw the struggles he went through earlier on in this game. And with the Nitros, they're making it easy to move into the box. Voltiax defends himself once. He actually goes back to back. They break into the box. A ramp separates them into 2 separate 1v1s. And Voltiax, here's your crown, king.
Okay, Voltiax, I see you. I see you. Issue is now, Jacob. Look, actually, I don't see too much of an issue. 4 medkits. He could technically just play the zone here with the amount of medkits he has. I don't know if he actually has the reboot card to bring his duo back. If he hasn't done it already, I doubt he does, but what a 1v2.
Wow, first shots.
Disgusting.
2 players, and all they were able to get is 2 shots off while he fired, what, 3, 4 shots in that same exact fight. Okay, that's what really separates our players at the top level versus anybody else.
Wait, I missed an actual fight? God damn it.
Tomorrow,
of course I leave for an actual fight.
Someone got 1v2. Get his teammate back. Hey, we could see a second chance at life here.
Crosshair placement. You can see how important it is, especially with
30.
shotguns.
Thanks to Prime for 22, dude.
Those big shots.
A good one too. God damn it.
Aqua and Noah 749 above.
Unlucky timing.
We're talking about how Storm Surge might not be as significant in this match because of the North Zone and Cactus is not being put into play. That could be why, but in the meantime,
rewind. Nah,
you have players like
there you go. I watched it.
We're still 34 below.
Going back is such a pain in the ass. Look at Maris go. W Maris. Alright, watch out for this maybe. Hopefully there's an actual fight as well. Oh my god, we're box fighting, chat. Wait. Box fights. Drops back. Edits. Creates space. Taking right hand. 524 above. And Surge turned off. So now it's never mind.
Luckily for a lot of players in this situation, Storm is going to momentarily deactivate only for the next couple of seconds as the zone continues to close. Desi's still getting attacked on the other side. Him and T-Chips got to rethink that situation.
Let me see. Zone. Oh, it's Voltiax. Voltiax with the 1v2. Okay. Wait, how do we lose this? How do we lose this? We're healthy as well. Oh, pre-fire. And then we go in the box. Oh, yeah, we fully sold. Oh, my God, we fully sold. Wow. Oh, boy.
We're not able to secure the victory royale so far.
Good aim by Voltiax.
Duo that has secured a VR and made it to grand finals are returning finalists, so if that continues,
there's a replay of his POV. Oh, it's fine. I don't want to miss. This matters more now.
For the FNCS.
Thank you there, Bears.
But who knows, Jacob? Maybe some underdogs will take home the match here.
37 below for Hedger. I thought Hedger was here.
That's going to do it for Huddy and Kovacs. They're going to be on to the lower bracket.
Huddy Kovacs went from lowers to uppers and then straight back to lowers. That's
at least they still have their FNCS dreams alive. Hedger and Kerwell
feels bad, man. Feels bad.
Take advantage of anybody climbing up this mountain.
Sacred?
37 below the threshold. So even though they're not in zone, they know they have a list of things they need to do before they find their spot comfortably there. And another max pull for everybody.
There's a lot of teams we just haven't watched today here. Honestly, you know what's probably happening? We're probably watching more of the North teams who we haven't seen play this whole tournament because they're dying to surge every time. And now we get a North zone, we actually get to see them for a little bit.
Lands the first couple of shots, drops him into the box. T-Chips takes a bite out of his opponent. Edra now on the other side. He's just trying to break his way in, but they're still 6 below the threshold. He gets a shot on the knocked body, but that's going to get him above that Storm Surge. Even with 1 HP, he's just trying to survive. He has 1 bandage, and that's not going to be enough. Hedra drops him into the palm of the hands, takes him out, sends him back to the lobby. And luckily for him, Storm Surge deactivates because you saw him was still 59 below that threshold.
Broken Dad, it's pretty much like a... Sorry, Broken Dad, I missed your question the first time, bro. It's...
Look how many duos.
Drop maps are basically just... There are usually a few notable people in the community who make them. All the pros just DM them their drop, and then the map maker makes the map, and then you can like change it once you see other people are contesting you and stuff like that. There's no like... There's not a really like strict rule set. Also, pro players just know where other pros land. Like, people know that Malabuka and Mustache are going red line rig. People know that Chap and Teeny are going Nitro Dome. So like the big name teams that you want to avoid, you know where they're dropping and they don't leave. And then the rest of the teams kind of just pick their drop and it just chops and changes. Yo, Gavboy, thanks for T over 43. I mean, if you care enough, Fortnite Comp Report, he has a Twitch channel. It's just twitch.tv/Fortnite Comp Report. He makes the drop maps live on his stream a lot. So you can see like the pros come in and be like, I want to drop here, put me on the map here, I'm going to go here, and like... And then by the time Grands comes around though, the map will have changed like 9 times. At least.
Themselves danger to get these tags, and even
also again, for people who are very new to Fortnite, I feel like I need to explain this. The drop map isn't like a set enforced rule. Like once you say you're dropping somewhere, you can just not drop there if you don't want to. It just makes sense to declare where you're dropping, so you don't get randomly 8 contested teams.
9 of the 20 teams inside of the bubble are down and out of the game, which opens up a huge opportunity for any of those players that are just outside of that threshold to really rise to that occasion. Queasy and Thomas are going to be one of them.
All right, come on, Queasy. Come on, Thomas. We finally got a North Zone. We got to make it happen. Imagine they win their first North Zone. That would be so good.
Along with it, placement points are now beginning to set in. They're 141 above the damage threshold. 42 players left alive. If they fall down below Storm Surge here,
hey, you Gavboy, appreciate the tier 1 for 43. Thank you, Gavboy. And Baby Bone with a tier 1 for 50.
102 points.
Thank you. Back to back. Holy shit, those are some big subs.
And Queasy still have a ways to go. The job is not finished. They're actually just getting started.
That threshold actually moved up to around 80 points so far, give or take, maybe even a little bit more.
Nah, they never stream Cheetah.
500 plus above the threshold. We've seen him make it very,
not tournaments anyway. I think Queasy streams sometimes outside of tournaments, but
so far.
Oh, Tops gets beamed by the Frenchie. Snazy again with 5 kills. Snazy been fragging out today. If Snazy and Podesai make it off spawn, they actually pop off.
Being able to just stretch him so far into this end game means so much in this situation.
Look at this, Jacob. We talked about it earlier. Aqua and Noah, they need the Victory Royale to qualify. They want to get that ticket directly to the grand finals. If they go
Aqua,
down,
Noah, Riley on height. Imagine going...
Points, they won't even make
what did they go into this game in? They went into this game on like no points. It was very low points. They went into this game in like bottom 10 and then they could win and qual would be huge.
The only way they can even get the points is through a big win or some big elimination. Second place.
United Drift with the Prime for 12.
Noah definitely have their job.
Thank you, Brett, with the Prime. These subs, guys.
It's looking good so far.
Chat.
They've elevated themselves.
Remember, click subscribe. See if you've got a free Prime available. You might have to click the elevate your subscription tab to see it. Twitch has been hiding it. But if you sub now, you get rest of semis, grands, week-long subathon, ESL, where I'll be in Riyadh streaming it every day, and new season, all with no ads.
They don't
want to
get trapped in
it's a good fucking time to be a sub. That's all I'm saying.
Queasy have made it up the hill, but they're 32 below.
That's all in the next month.
They made is elevating themselves. It's usually when we see them go down in the earlier games, they get caught in that low ground and all of that destruction. And now they have some elevation, but they're falling.
When subathon next week, bro. Starting with day 1 of Grands. Capped at 6 days though, but it should be a fun ass time. Really excited.
But with zone moving, they don't really
have come on, game 5, last spot for Grands on the line. Oh, Cheetah, thank you.
That's the type of situation that you're in if you're Thomas and Queasy. But the flank finally comes in. A monster of a shot onto Thomas, backing him down, separating
Kaido and Haito might be able to do something here. From second place last game to winning this game, maybe. The rotating zone res is never a good spot to be in, though. Go, go, go! They're dead. He's just dead. Well, that was a mistake. We're already in uppers anyway, though. We're already staying in uppers. Come on, is Aqua still on the high ground?
Reload the weapons, use as much of the fizz as he can, because he knows the zone is on his back. But now it's go time. Trying to survive. There's a couple of teams right in front of him.
The deal's still going as well here. The deal and Rizzo might be able to pull this off. Oh, no, Riley on high ground. Shaco's and Artskill going up for it, but Noah and Aqua are holding it. Noah with the beams. Queasy gets an Elim as well, though. We might see Noah and Aqua. Oh my god, come on. Noah, Aqua making grands.
Boom! Dusty. Light work, easy money. I ate this dude's lunch. Back to the lobby. Not good. Not me. Just get good, bro. Just get good. I game like I have plus 50 toughness, but really, I'm plus 100 afraid.
Hey, life can be scary, but State Farm supports you.
I feel plus 250 relieved.
Hey, thank you. Of course, man.
Pass the ball!
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
second height.
So big. It would also mean that Malibu and Mustache would go back to being uncontested tomorrow, which is also very big.
They can take their shots at to claim this position for longer. 41 builds is what Noah has.
There's a couple teams still in this
Based
game
on the last few games with almost no one going for high ground, they might be able to hold this. 3 med kits as well. They could win the heal off. This could be massive. They got to deal with big teams like Chapantini. Oh no, Chapantini on second height are looking for it. Oh no, I think this comes down to who wins the height take. Chapantini versus Aqua Noah.
Be careful. Chari, though, gets knocked down. Guro's left alone. Just one elim on the board. 18
Cool
HP.
Aqua on me.
One tick, and he'll be at 8-2 is what he can withstand. Be careful, though. It's a 104 shot.
Isn't it crazy? Isn't it insane? We might be having both those players in Grands fucking years later. We could have a remake of the Cooler Aqua on me clip in Chapter 5, Season 3. Like, what the fuck?
But one solo for another. You're still in that tough spot, especially when
you're on the low grounds.
You don't have HP, and there's multiple duos right in front of you. But Shaco's towards the outside.
Oh, wrong regions. Fuck, you're right. Damn it. Tini goes up though. Chap goes down. Aqua Noah actually holding it from Chapantini. Maybe it land. Maybe it land. At land.
So far today.
Noah and Aqua cannot give this
up. No, Noah drops down, gets hit hard. Tini could solo win it. Wait, no one has healed. Wait, Noah had medkits. Noah can win this with medkits. I'm not kidding. Noah has 3 medkits. If he can survive, he might actually win this. Everyone looks very shambles.
Ending dreams of everybody down below. There's going to be one
4 solos. Tini, Noah, Dexy, and Slove. It's a solo FNCS. Tini gets chopped. He has the dash.
Everything comes crashing down. He still has the dash.
Tini versus Noah. Dexy goes down to Slove. It's Tini versus Noah. Noah has 5 ground with the medkits. Noah can win. Tini goes down to smite the crash pad. Noah can win. Noah has the 3 medkits. He's still got 1 left. He has to get in. 8 HP. Noah has to drop in. No, he gets free fight and Dexy wins it. Oh my god. No, it's so close. No offense to Dexy. Dexy to clips of the homies as well, but I just, man, Noah Aqua, I wanted to see it. Damn. So close.
But we know one team that did. Dexy and Eclipse.
Should have played the med kit. It's hard to know, but yeah. To be fair though, if he plays the med kit on that floor, he probably gets sprayed out by Dexy. But he could have then popped the Nitro midair. You never know though. It's so, Chad, it's so easy with hindsight to tell. Dexy could have had 3 med kits. He plays the med kit and you all call him morons for playing the med kit. You know what I mean? Like last game, someone lost with 3 med kits after zone closed. You know, like it's so hard to know.
Is left to look at. I want to see how the leaderboard affected. Did Aqua and Noah make it? They were so close, but there's only 3 people that can help us answer that question. That's it for me and Jacob today.
That was an exciting last game though. Holy crap. Thank you again, Gito, with the 10 gifted. Now 11. Thank you, Brosi. Thank you, Luca with the Prime, Zulux with the Prime, Pick with the Prime, RJ, Brett. It's the subs, guys.
Because with that victory royale, they booked their spot in Grands next weekend. And again, it's another duo that's been
top 25 stays in uppers, chat. Top 25 drops down, but it's top 25 including the wins.
Yeah, they've done it before. I mean, it's a team that have got a victory royale in this format. Leva mentioned it earlier on. They managed to clutch up. I think it was last season when they got a nice win, and Dexy actually predicted it. I don't think
he might have had Storm Sickness, maybe.
At the end, it just seemed like
a Dark with the T1 for 4.
Way up on height. Who was going to take it?
Grands is next Saturday and Sunday, correct.
That ended up doing it.
Now, we still have semi-final day 3 tomorrow, chat, and tomorrow is the most important day.
That final one from Noah. So
tomorrow is where we're going to get the final 40 of 50 teams making Grand. So tomorrow's the big day.
Look at that. He's literally 1 tick away. 1 tick would have been all it took to end that game for him. And look, I said at the start of the day, I could see a Dexy in the clip.
Did Day and Savage make it? Savage made it. I can't remember if they made it.
Potential that has just been slept on. They did it in this format last season. A bit more impressive style, right? It was a bit cooler when they did it last major, but I don't think they care about how cool it is. They're in grand finals at the end of the day, and that's what's most important.
I'm really curious to know who did make it to the upper bracket, though, as well, to have the best chance of a shot at the grand finals next weekend, because there were a few
they didn't. Damn.
Trouble going
Yo, what's up, Blake? Good luck today, my dude.
Was Thomas and Queasy.
Unfortunately, it looks like based on EU Grand Glacier Cond is not great. You ain't got Cactus, and you got to deal with a team on your head, bro. I'm not gonna lie, Blake. The world's against you right now. This is not the meta to be Cond at Grand Glacier.
Again, you leave it down to clutches once again. The Queasy won this game game, he couldn't stay alive.
We'll make it happen, respect.
The last game,
3 of the 5 teams that won today came from lowest day one. That is crazy.
It's going to be very close for them, but I think they barely are just going to be in that top 25 for upper bracket tomorrow.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. They definitely deserve to. I think they're a team that we want to see in grand finals. Maybe their performances haven't been so deserving of a grand finals place, but I think they're just one of those teams that definitely have what it takes to put on a big show in the grand finals. And yeah, overall, it hasn't been absolutely star-studded performances.
How many games left in EU? 0, bro. That was the last game, man.
To the Storm Surge aspect, because of course they have to rotate so far. That comes with its whole load of issues as well. So I'm really hoping they're in that.
Prediction winners on NA. I'll talk about that when I go live for NA later today, man.
Today's semi-finals action with a lot of momentum, it seemed like, on their side, and then they've disappeared and they've just headed down the leaderboard to the point 11 where they are in trouble as well.
I mean,
did you watch lowers? I'll be paying a lot more attention to lowers on NA. There wasn't that many streams to watch for lowers on EU here that I was really focused on.
For the most part, they've both stayed asleep for most of the weekend, it feels like, you know. When are they going to finally wake up? I think in terms of points, Reason Vidil ended just ahead of Thomas and Queasy. So if I'm saying I think Thomas and Queasy barely made it in, I think the same applies for Reason Vidil. I reckon they probably just squeezed their way in, but we have to see.
Yeah, man.
Well, why don't we see? Why don't we see right now? I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mini Miner, but I know the standings.
Here we go, chat. Who was it? Who was it?
Let's take it away, boys. And there we go.
Okay. Queasy Thomas did it, baby. Queasy Thomas still in uppers, and Vidil Rezone clutched uppers. That's big. Noah Aqua just missed out despite the second place. That's brutal. So Noah Aqua back down to lowers, which does mean Mustache Malabuka uncon tomorrow.
Grands, where we would say they belong, Mini Miner.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the job's not done for either of those teams. They still need a good performance tomorrow, but they'll be relieved that they can make it into that upper bracket because, of course, if you don't know, top 25 out of a 50-player or 50-team lobby, I should say, do qualify straight to the grand finals tomorrow in upper bracket. So 50% of the lobby will make it through. They'll want to be in that top 50%. And, of course, all these other players that are on the screen right now, they've also qualified through to the upper bracket. But I'm sure there's so many names on there like Janice and Pixie, Mustache and Malabuka. They would have been yearning for that
big
win.
Teams, yeah. Chat, Vico still popping off. Chat, bro, Vico and Flixie coming first place both days without getting a win is such a good sign for Grands. They're so consistent.
You go into lower bracket day 3, and there's this chance
at the same time, are Vico and Flixie getting to a cactus?
It's going to be intense though, because yeah, there are some very interesting dynamics that can go at.
Are they getting to a cactus? Because how are they playing this good without a cactus? I guess they're just that crazy.
It's going to get interesting.
Do you think we're going to see any upsets, Mini Miner?
I think we could. Honestly, I was expecting a lot more of the bigger names to have already qualified through. This is quite uncharacteristic for us here on EU. It seems like usually we have a lot of the smaller names, a lot of the lesser known names that are qualifying through on the final day. But this is going to be a big test for these teams because some of them might not have found themselves in this position before. So putting it all on the line for tomorrow, 3 games as well in each upper bracket and lower bracket. It's not going to be easy. So there's a chance there's an opportunity for slip-ups.
11.
Of course we're gonna see some upsets, man. That's what it's all about. Like, I think when you look at how
Vico and Flixie playing so well,
it's been, you know, clearly a changing of the guard. It feels like at times. So I'm sure we'll see some upsets. Yeah.
Yeah, I do wonder if one of those upsets will be Queasy and Thomas, but hopefully they can take a look at their early games, sort out that surge, and put on a show tomorrow, because we know Thomas in particular is capable of it. Unfortunately, though, boys, that's all we've got time for this evening. Thank goodness we've got more Fortnite action coming your way tomorrow. And, of course, North America is coming up.
And, of course, North America later today. Woo! So and we made me get up at 1 a.m. Sorry, we made me get up midnight to watch NA. So that means NA must be starting in surely like 10 minutes. Oh, NA's still starting in 2 hours and 40 minutes from now. I just don't get it. Why are we starting EU earlier if we don't start NA that much earlier? I guess NA is still earlier, but not by like any, like the break is still the same amount of time. I don't understand. Wasn't it last season where they were making them run back to back? Or is that not happening anymore? Is that happening for Grands? What is the timing for Grands? Where is Grands? So Grand starts at 1 my time till 4:30, and then 7 again. Why? That was last season, wasn't it? They had EU and NA run like back to back, and everyone loved it, right? Or am I tripping out? I swear that was last season, and I feel like no one complained about that. No, you're tripping out. I don't think I am. I swear I'm not tripping out. I swear they ran them closer together last season. They were like really, really close. It was like a 1 hour break and it was...
When connection is needed most, Cox is there to help. When families depend on affordable internet, we support them. When students need the tools to succeed, we empower them. And when veterans need a company who serves them, they can count on Cox. Whenever and wherever it matters most, we'll be there.
Was so great. Everyone loved it. All right, so either way, so chat again. So they just ran through it then, but in case you guys missed it, the is this way. What am I looking at right now? Uppers, yeah. You missed the white. They still on 14, bro. They were close to the last season, but did they not have? Didn't they? No, they had BR last season. Merits, what do you mean? Like Brazil? They had Brazil. I don't think Blast runs the Brazil broadcast though. It's a different company, I'm pretty sure, right? Maybe it is Blast. Because, I don't know, but they do way different shots. Either way, we have Swizzy and Vanyak, so you just got hit chat. Swizzy and Vanyak won, Dexty and Eclipse, Seti, Kami, Mappy and Kiro, Dan DePuzzo and Hizix. Those 5 teams are now going through to Grands to join the 5 winners of yesterday. Then we have the other next 20 teams.